3,
Shit fire, yo.
2, 1. We are now live. Okay, let's start this bad boy up.
Let's go.
Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Pick a Side podcast. My name is Moran and I'm here with Andrew Velez, River Brown, and John Carlos. And this is now episode 136. In this episode, we'll discuss the Pacers leading towards a full rebuild, and we'll pick the best destinations for Sabonis, LeVert, and Turner. Then we will talk about if the Utah Jazz are being slept on, Grizzlies winning without Moran, Anthony Davis, and the Chicago Bulls. A quick Patreon shout out to Anthony, It's Black Ace, BJ, PJs, Mario, Langston, Jazzy Juice, Johannes, Ruben, Brian, Ricky, E, Enzo, Sean Solis, Sean, Muffins, John, Sean Triplet, Burner Hoops, Court Cousins, Ben Mac, P. George, Hikari, Mateen, Dave 2 Freedom, and Jay Aqua.
Good old Jay Aqua, baby.
We decided to do this live stream on YouTube for episode 136 because we are now at 10,000 subscribers.
Yes, sir.
So we had to do a live stream because we are at 10K now. We just hit it last night. And just to let you guys know, this episode I am going to mostly do hosting because yesterday was a pretty wild night for me and I'm still feeling the after effects.
We don't need to talk about it, but nah, it's lit.
Red wants to get me caught up.
Yeah, come on, man.
He wants to get me caught up.
You know what we're acting like right now? You know how when guys go in the studio and their man's just making a banger and they just in the background
OD.
Like, mad lit, mad excited. That's what we acting like.
I'm hyped right now, man. 10K is crazy.
Yeah,
10K is crazy.
10K. We got 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. We got almost 60,000 followers on TikTok. We almost got 3,000 on Instagram. And our downloads been jumping. They've been busting. You know what I'm saying? We going crazy.
Only thing we got to get going is that Twitter. That's it.
Exactly.
That's
Twitter. We got to get Twitter jumping from now on. But just let's tell the audience how we feel, you know, because
Okay.
I think 10K is a big milestone.
Definitely.
Riv hates these emotional moments. He hates being vulnerable.
No, he hates being uncomfortable. That's what it is.
Yeah, you can see now he's, touching his face.
His heart's racing. He's pumping.
He's like, and what he's gonna say exactly is, y'all appreciate y'all, man. Jew, appreciate him for real. So I'll start first, and I just want to say everybody that's listening or watching this live stream currently, or they're talking about it, or you're listening later. Thank you guys so much. This has been a long time coming. We have been doing this for 2 years. After 1 year, we hit 1,000. Then a year later, not even an exact year later, we're hitting 10,000. So we grew by 10 times our amount in the past year. And it's all been because of you guys. Because of you guys, we're starting to get emails for potential business opportunities that kind of suck. So thanks for that.
Hey, it's all right. You take them, though. We take them as we get them.
Yeah, so now we're getting noticed even more because of you guys. And these shows are very long. They're not 1 hour shows, and you guys ride it out with us. And it's been amazing doing this. I wake up and I love doing the show. My preparation is crazy, and it's all because I love giving you guys a great product. So thank you guys so much for listening to us, because we're hoping to be one of the best sport podcasts in the world. Not only on some like the quality stuff, but I'm talking about the numbers. Like our numbers back it up.
Come on. Numbers most important. We need that.
We gonna go crazy this next year. So
let's go.
What do you gotta say, Riv? If you don't want to talk, you could pass it along to Drew.
Nah, I just
I could backpack us. You want that, bro?
I just want to say, appreciate y'all. The same stuff, bro. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate the fans and all that. Appreciate my family, all that good stuff. So, I'm grateful. That's it.
I'll tell you what, it is pretty surreal. 10K is nuts, man. When I came here, what were we at? Almost like 2.5, 3K.
Yeah.
Here we are now, maybe 2-3 months later, and we're at 10K. It's been beautiful. I love the ride. I appreciate all the fans. I appreciate all the comments. You guys are what make it worth it, truthfully. I mean, I love talking sports, and it just comes so organic when we come together and we work. We work twice a week, and we put our efforts towards, making good content. And I love it, and I want to keep doing this, and I want to see this 10K turn to 100K, 100K turn to 1 million one time. So we could do it, 100%.
Pat McAfee just got a 4-year, $100+ million deal with FanDuel.
What is he, an NBA player?
It's all right, because that's going to be us with DraftKings.
A punter, I think. Right?
That's what his show. That's his sponsorship. For
He
the
got
next
4 years, $100 million for his show.
His show is good though. His podcast is really good.
He has like over 1 or 2 mil subscribers on YouTube.
Damn.
He does a show every day.
Bro just got a
His shows be
superstar
good,
deal.
though.
Bro said, I'm done being a punter. I'm about to secure the bag.
Right.
Yeah, he got the bag, and I'm telling you guys, I think in a year we can do that. And
No doubt.
in a year from now, all of
100 mil?
We could be
Nah,
we could be at
make
a
100
few
million.
hundred K
that's like-
subscribers, bro.
Nah, that's
yeah,
for
probably
sure,
not.
that's for sure.
I thought you said the 100 mil deal.
just
Ooh.
for everybody watching and listening, you guys right now are at a very special moment in Pick a Side history. This is 10K. You know, next year we're gonna be at like maybe 50K, and y'all that are watching now are gonna be like, yo, we knew them when they weren't big.
Word.
This is
Look at that. We're already getting some of that in the chat. Here before 100K, here before 10K. It's like we had some riders.
this is before Friday. This is Friday Night Lights. Last year was the warm up.
That's
So
a fact.
you know,
That's a
next
fact.
one gonna be the sideline
fact.
story.
Talk about J. Cole.
So I don't know. You know, Riv said his piece, something that I predicted spot on.
Appreciate y'all.
Drew said his piece. I don't know if you want to say anything, JC. The floor is yours.
I'll say a couple of things. I mean, obviously, I was here when the show first started, so I was here from the beginning, but then I took a little break. Life hit me or whatever. I was still a fan from afar from these three guys, you know, putting out great product week in, week out. You know, whenever I wanted to be up to date with football or basketball or, you know, just casually watch three guys who know the game talk about it, I would always tune in, comment. And, you know, the fact that they received me in open arms to come back to the show meant a lot. I mean, this 10K is more so for them. I want to be part of me. I want to be part of the next milestone that we hit. It would make me feel more like just, you know, that I was a part of it more. I'm not saying I don't feel that way, but, you know, I can't wait till we get to the next milestone so that, you know, I could really feel like I was there with you guys from the beginning. But other than that, you know, these guys put in a lot of work. I was a fan from afar. Now I'm back. I'm thankful for 10K. Thankful for the fans who welcomed me back because I see a couple comments saying they like having the fourth guy in. So, you know, I appreciate that. And, you know, hopefully it keeps going up from here. But these guys did a great job.
Yeah, that's for sure, man. Today is going to be a great show. Like I said, I'm going to be hosting because my mind's a little bit drugged up right now. I'm not going to lie.
Wait,
So I'm going to be hosting. And this past week in the NBA, the biggest headline was that the Pacers are heading towards a full-on rebuild. And the president, Kevin Pritchard, he's been opposed to this idea because he always wants to give Indiana and Pacers fans a quality product on the floor despite their first-round eliminations. But he's finally gotten on board with this full-on rebuild. Players they're shopping, LeVert, Sabonis, Turner. What do you think about this? I'll start with you, Riff.
I think it's about time. You know, I think, you know, Indiana, it's not even to say just this year, but I think Indiana has been stuck in mediocrity for a very long time. You know, just been a team where, you know, you can expect they'll probably make the playoffs, but after that, you don't expect much else. Even with the players they have, you know, they have a bunch of good players, good to, you know, solid mid type of players. You know, Malcolm Brogdon's a good player. Sabonis is a good player. Miles Turner's a good player. LeVert, when he's healthy, you know, on the court, he's a good player. TJ Warren, he's a good player. But they just don't have that superstar, high-level all-star that really can just take them over the top. You know, even like a Jimmy Butler who can at least get them to a second round or something like that. They just don't have that, and I don't think they've had that since Paul George. You know, Indiana isn't a place people want to go play. You know, even back in the day, Reggie Miller kind of saved this franchise because a lot of the times this franchise couldn't make much moves. So I think Kevin Pritchard, he finally has understood that he has to build through the draft, and I think they have a perfect position right now because Miles Turner – in the league right now, Miles Turner, he can be used on a lot of teams. You can get a lot for him. Sabonis, you could probably get a lot for him. Karis LeVert, you could probably still get some things for him. His potential is still high. TJ Warren, you could probably get some stuff for him. So I think with having those players, you know, their contracts are a little big, but I think at this moment you can still get something for them.
I don't know if I'm all in on a rebuild. Listen, prior to the season, we know I was high on Indiana. I was pretty high on them. That being said, listen, they're still only 2-3 games out of being a playoff play-in team. So am I all in on a rebuild? I don't think so. I feel like you still look at the talent that they have on the roster. You mentioned it. You got LeVert, you got Sabonis, Brogdon, Miles Turner, TJ Warren if he ever comes back. Duarte has been playing solid for his rookie year. I just struggled to see the way that they're using Miles Turner. He's averaging 50% from the field. He's averaging about 40% from three, leads the league in blocks, total blocks. And he only has 8 attempts a game. That's where I struggle, especially with the fact that Carlisle has been on record saying that Miles Turner is the future at the center position. And we're not seeing him utilized in the way that we, or at least I had projected coming into the year at least.
Maybe he said that, but he just didn't mean for Indiana.
But now he's the head coach. I don't understand you know what I'm trying to say there? It's like, I understand Sabonis is talent-wise the best player on the squad, but you look at the way Brogdon's been playing, you could argue that Brogdon's their best player right now. We've seen a three-headed monster coexist, and I feel like Brogdon, Sabonis, and Miles Turner can be that. You can't have Miles Turner, who has these shooting efficiencies the way that they are, as high as they are, and only have him having 8 attempts. So do I think a rebuild's a smart idea? I guess in the grand scheme of things, you're Indiana, you're not going to attract much free agent talent, sure. But you already have a good group of guys right now. So I don't think that rebuilding's necessarily the way that I would go about it. I just feel like you need to try something new. What you're doing right now is not consistently having success.
I was gonna say, Indiana's it's a weird team because on paper I was really high on them. I thought that they could actually finish 5th or 6th in the Eastern Conference if everybody was healthy. Obviously, T.J. Warren's not coming back for the year. He's been gone for a while. Karis LeVert has been injured. He has been in and out of the lineup, but that's been the story of his career. Even coming from a Nets fan, I know how that is. But in the grand scheme of things, I look at teams like Milwaukee, Brooklyn, even the Chicago Bulls, and a bunch of other teams. They're just flat out better than the Indiana Pacers. And I don't think the franchise should be content with what's been happening. First round exit, second round at best. I think it's time for a full-on rebuild. And the GM talks about how he wants to put good product on the floor, but in attendance ranking, the Indiana Pacers are last in the NBA. So not anybody even comes to go watch that team, to be honest with you. And we could all agree that, I mean, like we said, the Pacers aren't a bad team. They have like a collection of good players, but they don't have that superstar. I think it's time to blow it up. I don't think this team can win a championship. I mean, you're relying on Karis LeVert, whatever, to be your third, second options on some nights. He's injury prone. Sabonis, I can't ever see him being the best player on the championship team. Miles Turner has already stated that he's unhappy with his role on the team. And then T.J. Warren, who knows when he's going to come back, how he's going to come back. I mean, this team is just it's filled with good players, but a lot of holes. So, I think in the grand scheme of things, this team should blow it up. I mean, they have a bunch of good players that can get something back for Sabonis. They can get something back for Miles Turner, LeVert. They can get something back for even Malcolm Brogdon if he becomes available on the trade block. So I think it's time for them to move on. I don't think they're going to really do much with this team.
Let me see something real quick, though. Did anyone here see LeVert dropping 5 points in average from last season to this season? 5 points? From going to 20 to 15, listen, I know you and I weren't as high on LeVert as maybe Joel and JC over here, which is, listen, I get it. He's shown in the past that he could be a baller. He's shown he could be a baller. I'm not disrespecting y'all.
He's a good player.
What he's doing this season is shocking to me. I mean, he's a little bit more efficient with his opportunities, but he's only taking 1 less shot per game.
I noticed that too, actually.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's 5 less points, especially with
You're too high on Indiana.
I am.
You're way too high on Indiana.
But it's not like they're a bad group of talent, though.
Yes, but you have to look at when Indiana were making back-to-back ECFs, right? Hibbert was drafted. PG was drafted. George Hill was not drafted, but in trade.
Outside of PG, I mean, there's more talent on this squad than that one.
But you can say that, but they had their superstar, and then a bunch of good players around them.
Even with Danny Granger.
Yeah, with this team,
but Danny Granger wasn't even a part of that ride.
Is
you know
that
what
a fact,
I mean?
though?
I personally think
is this Miles Turner better than that Roy Hibbert?
I don't think so.
No. I think that at that time, Roy Hibbert. I think so.
He has all the intangibles.
They had David West too.
In my opinion, Roy Hibbert was a defensive.
I forgot. David West was good too.
That's a fact.
West was tough, bro.
They had David West.
Are you taking that David West or Sabonis right now?
Sabonis, but
Sabonis is more talented.
And like you got Brogdon,
Sabonis is better.
That's what I'm saying.
No, yes. Sabonis, but it's like for that team, I want David West.
I understand what you're saying because he was a great hard-nosed type player, really good defensively.
Made ECS with those teams, right?
He
Not
was.
to mention, bro, you got a bunch of guys who get injured.
Lance Stevenson, another one, same way that they just
LeVert.
committed to defense. This team is too one-sided right now.
But I don't know why you're so like stuck on the let's keep this team together thing. This team, like,
if they weren't talented, that's the only thing.
But you're putting a cap on, because even if they stayed healthy for the year, you don't think this team can go to the Eastern Conference Finals. You don't think this team can ever win a chip. You barely see this team going to the second round just off the strength.
But how many teams in the East right now do you genuinely believe can go to the Eastern Conference?
I think Milwaukee can. I think Miami can.
Yep.
I think the Nets can, and I think Chicago can.
Yeah.
That's 4 teams. I don't think Indiana could beat none of those teams. Not just the 4 top teams.
Listen, bro,
I think Atlanta can beat them. I think Charlotte in a series could maybe beat them. The Wizards maybe. Like, there's a lot of teams in the East that can still beat them in a series. Like, there's so much talent. Everybody's getting better. You know, the Cavs are getting better with their youth. The Heat just got better. The Bulls got better. The Nets still have their 2 guys. Milwaukee still has Giannis. You know what I'm saying? Charlotte's going to get better with their youth. Indiana's not going to get better with their youth because Malcolm Brogdon's 28. Miles Turner.
29.
29. Miles Turner, they haven't let him unleash his potential. Sabonis, he can get better, but I think he's probably going to be this type of player for a long time. Chris Duarte's already he was 24 when he walked in, so it's like
LeVert's 28.
LeVert, he's always hurt, so he can't get better because he's always hurt.
He's played 20 games this season.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like you want this team to be better, but yet I don't think they just fit. I think you have to look at these next couple drafts and think we got to hit. You know what I'm saying? We got to go out and we got to go make moves and we got to hit in this draft. It's Indiana. Nobody's coming to play for Indiana. Nobody's saying, yo, this is a great destination.
Fans aren't even watching the game.
Yeah, so we got to look at the draft.
That's a lot of teams right now. And I feel like a lot of teams wish they had Indiana's talent right now. That are in there.
You think Charlotte wishes they had Indiana's talent or their drafts? Honestly.
Say that one more time. Charlotte. Well, Charlotte right now is in a great position.
You think Cleveland wish they had Indiana's talent or their draft picks?
But I think I understand what you're saying. I just feel like they have better youth right now than what the Pacers have. But in terms of a collective,
even Detroit is not wishing for Indiana's talent right now. I think they're fine with their draft picks.
I feel like OKC. I can't even talk.
How about the Raptors?
Indiana's roster right now, they're like a great value version of the 2010 Atlanta Hawks.
Pretty much.
With Paul
but they were the
Millsap
number 1 seed. Or excuse me,
no, not that one.
I know what you're talking.
Yeah. Team, right?
Talking about the Joe Johnson with Josh Smith.
It's a good team. No, that team.
See, but why can't
even that team was better?
Hear me? That team was better.
That team just lost.
That's why I said the Pacers are a great value version.
They are the Al Horford,
Yes.
DeMar Carroll,
Yes.
Kyle Korver,
Yes.
Jeff Teague boys.
Yes.
This is them right here.
Are they really though? Because they're not gonna have anywhere near the record that they had like at all.
It's just a bunch of. I got lucky. I don't know what happened that year, but
They
they're
won,
just
like,
a bunch of
60
good
games that
players.
year.
Like they're good, but they're not.
The last time the Pacers had a top 8 pick in the draft was in 1989.
They refused to really
Reggie?
commit to the.
No, it was George McLeod.
Okay.
But the year before, in 1988, they had the second overall pick. They drafted Rick Smits.
That's a good pick.
What number was Reggie? Do you guys
He was
know
the
off top of
11th
your
pick
head?
in the draft. I think he
Yeah,
was
it's tough
drafted.
for
He
me,
might have been
man.
drafted in 90 or no. I think it might have been like 87.
Pacers are the definition of mid.
Really, they
At
When
this
we
point
think
in
of
time,
mid,
yeah.
we think of their roster.
Yeah.
But like I said, even with them being quote unquote mid right now, they're still 2-3 games out of being a playoff team. All it takes is a few spurts of games.
Do you
want to
win
right
a championship?
Of course, you know me. I'm the guy who says if you don't win a championship, the season's a failure.
Oh, so that's perfect. I'm glad you said that. So why do you want this team to?
Because again, I do believe in the talent on this squad. I just think what you're saying makes sense. Do they have the pieces that fit together? Yes, I don't think so.
So you must think Sabonis can be a superstar.
No, I think Miles Turner. I think Miles Turner
Can be what?
Can take not superstars pretty strong, but I think that if you give Miles Turner more opportunity, we'll see the Pacers actually do something of quality on offense. Only 8 attempts with 50% and 40% from 3 is interesting.
It is interesting. I think in order for
defensively, he's one of the best.
Miles Turner has to walk into Embiid like categories to propel this team to where you think they can be.
You think so?
No, I know.
I mean,
so.
but you got Sabonis, you got Brogdon, and you have LeVert. He doesn't necessarily have to be Embiid. He needs to be at least putting up 13, 14 attempts a game, in my opinion, though.
I mean, yeah, I guess. It's tricky because it's like.
Because listen, Sabonis can pass the ball pretty well for being a point forward.
He can.
Brogdon, another one, can pass the ball pretty well and shoot the ball very well as well. LeVert can
pass. He can pass too.
So I'm not understanding the reason why they're having such issues or with chemistry.
All right, Drew. If everybody on the Pacers plays to their potential, all those guys you just named, what's the maximum ceiling for Indiana?
I guess as of this point in time, the maximum right now, I guess, would be 6-7 seed.
No, I'm saying like based off of how good you think they can be.
And they're
like
all
if
healthy.
Do you think they can make the
all
second
click.
round of the playoffs?
Let's see. It's like right now, Cavaliers are playing really good basketball. And the 76ers are the 7th seed right now.
The Cavs best and Indiana's best, Indiana's better?
At their best?
Yes, at their best.
That's so tough because talent-wise, I'm taking the Pacers.
Well, I want you to answer this question in a way where, you know, when we did our Eastern Conference
Of
previews
course,
and we gave
the way that I spoke about them before the season, I at least thought they would be a 6 seed. It's just you look at the higher ups of the East right now, it makes it difficult for me to really say someone can make an ECF that's not Milwaukee, that's not the Nets, the Heat, or the Bulls right now.
I agree with that. But based on that, you don't think that rebuilding is the smartest thing to do because those teams that you're naming aren't going anywhere.
The Bucks aren't.
But it's like I would not give up automatically just because.
Even if they're going anywhere, the Pacers aren't the next up to take their spot. If we're being like honest,
I agree.
The Pacers
Cleveland
I agree.
could.
No. There's a few teams
like
yes,
the Pacers
yes.
aren't the next team to take their spot. So it's like you got to pick your poison at this point.
It's so tough though.
Are the Pacers even better than the Raptors in your opinion? Because I feel like that's the tier that they're in.
They're really evenly matched.
That is.
And that's what I'm
You can
saying.
go tomato with those two.
Yeah.
I feel like they're on the same
I
boat
like
as the
Toronto
Raptors because
better.
none of us here would pick Toronto to do anything in the playoffs.
Again, they
No,
need a 5, and that's
not at all.
Are we going to talk about our
Definitely.
destination?
Definitely.
Okay, all right.
So
Let him do his
just to
job.
recap what everybody said, Riv, you think this is great that they're rebuilding. JC, you think the same.
Yeah.
Drew, you think they should keep fighting.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, talent-wise,
They should keep fighting.
I think
They
so.
should keep
Like I
fighting.
said, the East is so close right now that you just win a few games in a row, you throw yourself right back in the mix. And to be thinking about a rebuild 20, 25 games into the season, I'm not with that.
The players that the Pacers are shopping are Karis LeVert, Miles Turner, and DeMontis Sabonis. I want each of you guys to give me a team for each player that you want to see them go to. If you have a trade package along with it, that's great. If you don't, that's fine. Just name the destination.
All right.
Let me start with you, JC. What do you got?
Oh, I got two teams. I kind of split in the middle, but I feel like my number one team I'm going to start with Karis LeVert. I think Karis LeVert would fit well with Cleveland Cavaliers. Being that Colin Sexton went down, was averaging 16 points per game, went down. I feel like they could use a boost in scoring another person who could score the basketball. Him and Jared Allen have chemistry. Darius Garland's been playing really well. I think like if Karis LeVert can be added to that mix to provide a scoring spark, because when he's healthy, I think he can give you 16 to 19 points per game, and that's not far out of the realm that he can do that for the Cleveland Cavaliers. I think the Cavs would be great, just because of the fact that he's a scorer, and you know on some nights they need that scoring, and I think he can fill in that void that Colin Sexton has, put the team in. And right now they're 15-12. I think with an addition to Karis LeVert, they can cement themselves as like a actual playoff team and not be around the cusps of like the play-in and not being in the plan. So I would like to see Karis LeVert on Cleveland.
All right, so if we're going to just go one by one, that's fine with me. I had LeVert going to the Nuggets. I feel like you lose MPJ. You don't have Jamal Murray until probably January, February. You need a boost right now. And LeVert, where he has been struggling this season, maybe it's because there's too much going on. There's too much personnel that needs the ball in their hands to be successful. And you bring him to the Nuggets. He's their second option immediately. Maybe we'll start to see the Karis LeVert that we saw last year or Karis LeVert when he was on the Brooklyn Nets. It's a good fit in the sense of he's only getting paid $17.5 million a season. You have him until 2023. Let's say Michael Porter Jr., unfortunately, his back injury is going to continue to linger, which would be very unfortunate for them given the fact that they're about to start paying him the max deal for a rookie. I think he's gonna be making around like $35 million next season. And then Jamal, you don't know how he's gonna come back from this ACL injury. You need guard play desperately, and LeVert would be that perfect fill-in for them. Right now, they're the 8th seed, and this is basically with Joker just backpacking by himself. You bring in a guy like LeVert, you relieve some pressure off Jokic, and now you get yourself a solid number 2 option. I feel like for the cost, $17.5 million, you eat that right now. You have a top 5 player in Jokic on your squad. You're not trying to waste him in his prime. And God forbid that he gets the idea to leave. I think that is the absolute dead last thing that any Denver fan wants. So you try to cater to his needs, and I feel like LeVert is a good fill-in option for that.
So, LeVert's a funny player. LeVert has all the talent in the world, all the talent. Been watching him since Michigan. he just is always hurt. You know, there's always something wrong with him. He gets hurt, then he comes back, he's shitty. Then he does the cycle again. I think like, it's really weird. He does the same cycle every year.
He does it every year.
But I think Cleveland, for me, Cleveland was a good spot for him. I think Cleveland, with Colin Sexton going down with that injury, I think they need that second guy. And it was two spots for me. It was Cleveland, I think Washington. I think Karis LeVert needs a place to where he can be unleashed. And I think Washington is allowing their players to play. And I think that's somewhere where Karis LeVert can get his groove back. I think that's like a place where he can go and he can just be free and be the type of player. Cleveland also is another, they kind of play a little loose style. I think LeVert can fill in, not perfectly, but right now he can come in and play that role. He can play that on-guard, off-guard role for Colin Sexton while he's out. I think those are two spots for me because I think I think LeVert still can be a good player. He just has to maintain the consistency, and I know injuries suck, and I know it messes up your consistency, but if it continues the consistency, he can definitely contribute to a playoff team.
If Colin Sexton has to be involved in the deal for LeVert, are you trading Sexton?
Yeah. I would.
Are you trading Sexton to get LeVert if you're Cleveland?
I would.
I guess because it would be cheaper. Maybe I would do it, especially because you have until 2023.
I mean, they've already expressed that they aren't really fond of having Colin Sexton on the team to begin with. So,
but it's like, is it because you're getting a player of Karis LeVert's caliber that you're not getting much else with LeVert? Are you just getting LeVert and that's it?
I believe you
Straight
can
up.
get. I believe if LeVert is healthy, you can get about the same production. Maybe not scoring wise, but you can get a defense. You can get better playmaking. You can get another rebound and more size. So I think if LeVert can stay healthy, then that's a good trade.
Okay, you guys told me your destinations for Karis LeVert.
Let me get a quick question in because the chat doesn't think this seem that we're interacting with them enough. They have a question for you, Joel.
Okay.
RJ or LeVert right now?
oh my God.
RJ Barrett.
Easy?
They're about to, let's keep it a step. They're about the same
They
right
are
now.
about this. At least right now, I think that's pretty
They're about
facts.
the same.
I feel like in year 3, I guess I would take the upside of RJ.
I would take RJ right now. I'm just gonna let the chat know right now. If you're in the chat currently, at the end of this recording, we are going to be answering all your questions and stay for like an hour or so and answer all your questions. So don't think that we're not gonna make you guys feel special.
No, we see you.
This special day. We
fact,
definitely
man.
are.
Here we go.
You guys mentioned LeVert and where he should go. Now I want to hear where you guys think Sabonis and Miles Turner can go. And this time, instead of just naming one player, name me both and give me the destinations.
Okay. For me, I would like to see Sabonis try to find a way on Charlotte, and then for Miles Turner, I would like to see him come to the Brooklyn Nets because I'm fond of his game. I am.
That would be pretty cheese, but like, what would
help us
what
so
would
much.
you guys give? Like, I'm trying to even think off the top of my head. LaMarcus is not like that's not.
I actually think Miles Turner would be
so
better
too.
on Charlotte.
I have a deal.
Ooh,
They need
they
a
need a
I
center.
have a trade
For the Nets?
for Charlotte.
Oh.
I actually made one.
Okay, let me hear
What's
it.
your trade?
Let me hear it.
What's your trade?
Mason Plumlee, PJ Washington, and James Bucknight for Miles Turner.
Absolutely no.
Say that one more time.
PJ Washington, James Bucknight, and Mason Plumlee for Miles Turner.
Take James Bucknight out the deal, and it's a deal.
So it's just that you would give up those two?
Yep.
I don't know. I feel like I would need Buck Knight.
I would probably take PJ out and take Bucknight. If I'm Indiana, I would ask for Bucknight, take out.
If that's the price, I
If
would
I'm
want
Charlotte,
Buck
Bucknight's untouchable. He's untradeable.
Right now, you think so?
Well, in that deal.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Miles Turner, I don't. Yeah.
I think Charlotte, for me, me personally, Charlotte or the Trailblazers. I really want to see
For who?
Miles Turner. I really want to see him in a new environment. I think Charlotte, in terms of like, because they need a center bad.
Why not
like,
Brooklyn?
Because you got. I don't want. No. I think
He would
Charlotte
help us so much.
He would, but I think Charlotte is a
Aldridge
place.
has been doing his thing for y'all.
Yeah, but he's a defensive liability to the
That's true.
extreme.
I want to
very
see
true.
Turner get unlocked.
To the
I
extreme.
want to see Turner's potential get unlocked. I don't want to see him
I could not
go
agree
be
more.
just a guy. I want to see him go be unlocked, and I feel like Charlotte and Portland are two places where he can finally unleash his game and unload his potential. For Sabonis, now Sabonis is a tricky player, but I think Dallas would be a good spot.
Perfect.
Me and Drew was just talking
Yep.
about it. I think that type of player can definitely fit in Dallas. Another playmaker, another guy that can pass out the post. Him and Luka pick and roll would be
give up?
OD.
Do you want an all-European team?
That's
literally just talking about
exactly
that.
what I was
That
saying
would be-
to him.
That'd be
Forget
sick.
about like the actual talent of the squad. In terms of like attracting fans to watching the game, that could be their whole shtick. They're the Europeans. and they could 100% run with that. And as funny as it is, it's crazy. You would have Luka, you would have Sabonis, and you would have KP. I feel like the only one that would really struggle in that scenario would be probably KP.
No, he's not in the paint.
No, yeah, he's been getting more post-ups this year.
What would you give up? What would you give up for Sabonis though?
Oh,
you don't think
I don't want to get into the
Porzingis?
give up because I don't really want to give
It'd
it.
probably be picks.
It would have
be
it would
picks.
have to be like Maxi Kleber.
Reggie
And-
Bullock.
Ew.
No, not Reggie Bullock. Like they would have
You
to
think
give
Brunson would have to go, or do you think you can't move him at this point?
up. I don't think he'd have to go. And he's not getting paid too much to where
He's good.
they need that contract can fulfill Sabonis.
I know what you mean.
Sabonis isn't getting paid too much though. I know Maxi Kleber would be in a deal like probably a Dwight Powell. They'd have to like put in some picks because nobody's accepting that deal straight up.
Now, question: do you think that obviously you bring in Sabonis? Like I said, he's like a point forward type player. Do you think that Luka would be capable of playing off ball where you can actually have Sabonis have the ball at the top of the key and actually run a type of offense where you have KP who either you have him on the block or you have him outside? Where I think KP doesn't like to be outside, especially with last season the way that they were using him. He likes to have his back to the basket or just try and do anything to just not be a consistent corner shooter. Do you think that he could benefit, that Luka would benefit from that? Or do you think Luka's game is so ball dominant that it wouldn't allow the offense to run smoothly?
Sabonis has to fit Luka.
That's exactly what I'm asking. Do you think that Sabonis could, do you think that Sabonis could, his play could fit with Luka is essentially what I'm asking.
This is why Sabonis is such a confusing player to me. I don't know the perfect.
He's a poor man's Jokic though, so what's the, like, I don't understand.
It's easier to just plug in on most teams than Sabonis because you could just plug in a defensive big, he can shoot the three ball. And if he wants more touches, you can get more touches. But I think Sabonis' game is so tricky because it's hard to, like I've seen people keep saying, I've seen Golden State in the idea for Sabonis. I personally don't like it. I don't think he should go to Golden State, but I don't know. Like Sabonis is such a weird player. I don't really know.
Why wouldn't you like? I'll tell you what.
Sabonis,
Miles Turner. No,
what?
Miles Turner goes to Golden State.
I didn't say that.
I thought
don't
you
like
said
Sabonis.
Miles Turner.
I don't like
Okay.
Sabonis for Golden State. That's
What about
I
Miles
said.
Turner to Golden
Miles
State?
Turner.
That'd be.
But what
that
you
would be
giving up?
dirty.
Wiseman.
I feel like but
gotta
that's a
fit a
lot.
contract.
That's a lot.
Okay. See, like, I thought we weren't doing that, but
What you think we could just gradually?
I mean, you said that you were straying away from the financial.
That's why I'm not adding. I'm not saying no names.
Wait, why don't you guys, or why don't you think Charlotte's a good destination for Sabonis?
guess-
He's 25 years old. He fits their timeline. They lack
I
rebounding.
think they need a defensive big more than anything.
Yeah, they do.
I feel like with PJ there and Miles Bridges there, who plays the four.
But you'd have to give one of them up realistically.
I don't think we
trade
should give up
back.
Miles Bridges. I ain't gonna lie.
Just give a PJ.
Oh, yeah, no, not Miles Bridges. PJ. Yeah, give
Miles
up
right
PJ.
now is untouchable.
How about
I don't,
PJ
I don't, I don't think
Plumlee?
Sabonis fits what they need.
I think Miles Turner is the perfect guy for
Charlotte is one of the worst defensive teams in the world.
See, but
Like the world.
What I'm surprised about is that we haven't spoken about Miles Turner to Toronto at all. A team that really
So talk about it.
a team that really does need a center. Obviously, I do think Pascal Siakam's a good ball player. He's not a center.
Wait, you telling me you trade Siakam?
No, I'm saying that Siakam needs to be a 4.
Look
He's
at their
not a
lineup.
5.
Look at their lineup though. I think me personally, this is just what I think. I think they want to run one guard or two guards and three wings. I think Toronto. I think that's how they like to play and that's how they want to run.
So who would you'd have Fred, you'd have OG, you'd have
You have Fred,
Barnes.
you have Trent, and then you have
Trent,
OG,
But
Scotty.
Trent
and
could be that
Siakam.
6-man easy. He could be that 6-man
could.
easily. OG could run the 2. You have Barnes run the 3, Pascal run the 4, and there's Miles Turner at the 5.
That'd be a great
Miles Turner,
defensive team.
and that team is desperately needing a center.
You know
And
what?
Not one that only
That's
gives.
not a bad team.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
All right.
And
not
not
a
only
bad
does he
team.
offer you shot blocking, that they refuse to give Boucher minutes, but he's not a 5 either. And he's one of the few on their squad who actually is a good shot blocker. You bring in Miles Turner who can actually shot block on top of shoot the basketball, space the floor. Maybe Siakam actually could get some work down low and start to see this offense really flowing. Miles Turner,
For all those reasons, that's why I would want him on the Nets.
oh,
for all
of course.
those
I mean,
reasons.
Miles Turner really gives you
How much
everything
more
you could
do you
want in a
guys
center.
need?
Exactly.
I
I'm
just
done
want
with
a
that.
center.
I'm done with that.
I
I'm
just
done
want a
with
center. I
that.
just want a center. What's
But-
wrong with that?
but-
guys
all
be
right,
damn.
Wait,
Yeah.
talking about, but Kyrie Irving, if he doesn't come back, why can't I get Miles Turner though?
Okay, but give
He'll
me
help
all right,
us.
so let me live in this dream scenario for you. Give me something that you genuinely think the Nets can move that you could get Miles Turner.
I think we could give up probably a Joe Harris and a Nicholas Claxton
Ooh,
for him.
okay.
I really do. Like, I
And
don't
all your
think,
picks.
At least
I don't have
probably
anything left.
probably 1 or 2. You probably could give 1 or 2 picks
I
away.
guess. I mean, whatever picks I know we gave up a lot of them for
For
James
Harden,
Harden.
yeah.
But I think a Joe Harris, Nicholas Claxton for him, I don't think that's like that bad of a deal.
I got
be
these
honest with you.
scenarios for Sabonis and Turner. You guys mentioned the Hornets and the Mavericks as potential destinations for Miles Turner.
I said.
I'm not sure if you guys said the Mavericks. Actually, I think I just brought
Miles
that up.
Turner?
I said
For Miles
Hornets
Turner.
and the
Really,
Blazers.
even with KP.
I'll tell you why in a bit. For Miles Turner, you guys talked about the Hornets fit. You guys talked about the Nets fit as well. I think these three teams, you talked about the Blazers briefly. What about the Knicks?
You giving up?
So
Mitch?
you're done with
on
Mitch.
Yes,
I
I'm
told him to
done
give
with
up on
Mitch.
Here years
Goes,
ago.
Man, before the season, he was Defensive Player of the Year. So what's going? Like, what's the
I like
difference,
Knicks.
Bro,
now?
he posted on his
Yeah,
story
Knicks
the
He's
other
done with
day
y'all?
that he had a positive plus minus, therefore he had a positive impact on the court.
Oh,
Oh
It's
God,
hilarious, bro.
Yeah, I think Miles Turner would fit the Knicks better.
Yeah.
But I want to give you guys this hypothetical trade. As you guys were talking about Sabonis, I love the Mavericks thing because I want to see 3 Europeans on one team. I think the optics of it just look pretty
definitely.
cool. Memphis Grizzlies. Should the Grizzlies go after Domantas Sabonis? If I'm Memphis and I offer you a trade and I say, I'll give you Kyle Anderson and Dylan Brooks, give me Sabonis.
nope.
I can't trade Dylan Brooks right now. He's their best
I'm
defender.
gonna tell you
Nah,
why.
hell no. I wouldn't do that.
I play in the Western Conference. I have to see Paul George and Kawhi 4 times a year. I have to see LeBron 4 times a year. I have to see guys like Devin Booker 3-4 times a year. Donovan Mitchell 3-4 times a year. I need Dylan Brooks. I need it. Perimeter defense is very important in the West.
He's
I
been
need it.
very crucial for this run that they've
And
been
we are
going on.
already one of the worst defensive teams in the league. I need it. For no, I ain't doing that. You got anybody
It's
else?
like Jaren Jackson too. It's like you
You'd play
bring
the
in some-
5.
He can play the 5.
Yeah, he
Okay,
can.
all right. How tall is Jaren Jackson?
6'11".
He grew.
Really?
He grew. He came in the
He
league
just doesn't
6'9".
move like a 6'11". He's weird.
He's been balling these last couple of games though.
He's nice.
Can't do it though.
Sabonis is 6'11" too.
And they move different. You see how just a different variation of big men? Nah, I can't do it, bro. Dylan Brooks is crazy.
So what if Memphis just offers some of the young players they have, like I don't know, like maybe like a Tyus Jones or somebody,
Yeah.
Like that.
I feel like
and some
Jaren,
picks?
I feel like Jaren Jackson Jr., Dylan Brooks, and John Morant for a Sabonis. I feel like I wouldn't want to do it. Everybody else though is up for game. Maybe not Desmond Bain either because he offers the spacing.
No, you can't trade
What's-
He's
Desmond.
a
out
league
of
What's-
that.
at shooting.
What's the most a team would be willing to give up for Sabonis? I don't think there's that much.
I
Any
feel like
team
draft
wants to give up.
capital players is tough though.
Is it or just him?
What do you mean by that?
I don't think trading for a player is tough. I just think certain players.
No, I mean
are
like
tough.
exactly what I'm saying. Like giving up players for Sabonis is
Yeah.
like if I'm
No,
the
definitely.
Pacers,
I
especially
just be looking at him. I was just like, damn.
I know that isn't his most flattering pick by any means.
I
That
feel
being
bad,
said,
man.
it's tough, especially if you're saying that you think Indiana should rebuild in the draft. Excuse me.
He's
What-
only
what-
25. He's
No,
not
he's
even
still a
old.
young ball player.
Which is hilarious. We're talking about him like he's old.
I know he's only 25. Bro.
Am I wrong to say he's a poor man's Jokic? Like,
Yeah.
I didn't acknowledge it.
but do you understand the sentiment behind that? Poor
Nope.
man's Jokic.
No.
Can you
Really,
explain it?
okay.
I didn't.
Jokic can pass the ball very well, rebound very
Elite.
well, can score pretty well. Now Sabonis can basically do all those things except not as great as Jokic. Poor man Jokic.
Jokic is a way better jump shooter too.
We letting that go.
That's exactly what it means, though.
I don't know. I don't know. Like,
I feel like a poor man's Jokic is disrespectful to Jokic. I feel like he's so much lower than
no.
Jokic. I
A
feel like you
poor
gotta
man
say
So
that.
who does he
Jokic
play
is
like
legit.
to
Sabonis,
Yeah.
his father.
Arvidas?
Yeah,
I'll tell you what. Basically, exactly what I said is pretty spot on. I'm complimenting Jokic for being superior in everything except Sabonis does what Jokic does at not
At a lower
near-
level.
Exactly.
Wow.
somebody said Sabonis to Washington.
I did see that also, and they said Miles Turner should replace Steven Adams in Memphis.
That'd be
That
good.
would be
Yeah,
tough.
that is
That'd be
very.
very nice.
he doesn't offer the passing Steven Adams offers.
No, and
bro.
I agree with that. That's actually one of the things that I said for my assessment with the Memphis.
Are you willing?
Grizzlies.
But with passing defense, are you like?
Steven Adams is a great screener too.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, but yeah, that's tough, man. But Miles can offer you the defense, the shooting, just not the passing.
Somebody said
And he's younger.
somebody said Sabonis is a more offensive Thad Young. That was funny. That made me laugh.
Low key though.
Low key though. Low key though.
Damn. I don't know. Sabonis is a tricky player. Indiana's in a tough spot, but I think they'll be able to figure it out, you know, because they have players that they can give up. I feel like Miles Turner is going to be easy to move.
When they've had top
Easy.
picks in the draft, at least in the lottery, they've usually hit on those players.
Mm-hmm.
Roy Hibbert, Paul George. Yeah, they've hit on those players before.
PG was what pick? 13, 14? 10th.
Mm-hmm.
Lotto.
That's firm. That's so
Fresno.
firm.
Fresno State boy.
We're starting a new segment for basketball episodes called This Week in the NBA. Since we do one basketball show a week, there are a lot of stuff that goes on in the NBA, and sometimes they're not all on the topic list, but maybe you guys notice something that you want to talk about that's not on the list. So this week in the NBA, Drew, what did you see?
Listen, man, it's pretty obvious. Me and Riv, this is his boy, 100%. Go ahead.
Sorry, before you, Isaiah Thomas has just signed with the league in the G League, so he's in the G League now.
With what team?
I didn't really want to read it. I didn't care that much, but I just wanted to let you know because I know you're an Isaiah guy. So.
Yeah, man, happy for him, man.
For real. Yo, Steph Curry is going to break Ray Allen's three-point record. If not tonight, most definitely next game. He's 10 threes behind Ray Allen. Ray Allen had 1,300 games for him to get to. Let me check this out really quick. 2,973 threes. In 786 games, Steph has hit 2,964 threes. Now, my ultimate question is, do we think that this three-point record that Steph Curry will inevitably have and will end up having for years to come, do you think this is going to be the most unbreakable record in NBA history?
No. I think with the volume, the volume increasing, and I think guys like, Trae Young could probably break it, not because he's a better three-point shooter, just because of the volume of threes he make. I think when Steph did it, he kind of did it a little bit late in his career. Like, he started to up the volume of threes he takes towards late in his career. So I think now with guys coming in, there's definitely a chance where it can be. I don't think it's going to be one of the most I think, honestly, the one that might be the record that might not be unbreakable is probably like when LeBron breaks the scoring record. Yeah, I think that would be the one before the three-point. I think somebody else could definitely do it.
It's like here, I'm trying to look at the 3 points made right now. You have Harden right now at 25.09. I'm going off active players that I'm seeing off the top of my head. All right, 25.09 with Harden in 903 games. So that's about 120 more than Steph Curry. You have Damian Lillard, who has like 80 games less than Steph Curry, and he has him clean by 800 threes. I feel like when it's all said and done, Curry has, and would you guys say you have probably 3 years of Curry in his prime, being the best Curry he can be? 3 years.
He could push it 4.
He'll still be an all-star caliber player until he's like 37.
So I'm trying to. What is his average 3-pointers made in a season? Is it around 300?
Yeah.
As of lately? Yeah.
At least.
So let's say we multiply 3 times 3 seasons. So that's what? 900 threes.
Mm-hmm.
So he would be at about 3,800. Then let's say he could be a Ray Allen type player towards the end of his career. Yep. Let's add on an extra
250.
Probably 200.
No, I was saying like the okay. I was gonna say like the 150 to 200. So let's give it. How many years after that do we think he'll stick around? I mean, if he's a corner type specialist,
Steph has said he doesn't want to play that.
He doesn't want to, really.
Curry has made 3.8 threes per game for his entire career.
All right, let's do this math really quick. All right,
you're gonna get the number he's currently
3.8 times 82. Let's say 311. That would be around his average of a season. 311.
You don't think at 20 years old, if Trae Young does this for 15, 16 more seasons, he can't break it?
I don't think Trae Young's as efficient that he can't be Steph Curry.
He doesn't have to be efficient.
He just has to have the volume.
Personally, I don't think so. I don't think it's possible.
I think he could because if Steph wasn't...
How many threes is Trae Young hitting?
I'll tell you in a bit.
Okay, go ahead.
I think Steph, his MVP years when we started to see the threes take it to a different level. So I think Trae started that early in his career. So I think, you know what I'm saying? I think he could
Trae's
probably
at 2.5 a game.
So
and
if we round both of them 3 to 4. Yeah, 3 to 4
4.
basically. So I think Trae, he's probably going to do this longer because obviously he started earlier. So I think he can do that, honestly.
So that's what you saw. Drew, what did you see, Riv?
Oh, for me, this is easy. All the Zion pictures. You know, I'm very confused. Everybody's showing pictures of Zion being fat.
He's not even.
Zion being overweight. And then I see this random picture the other day of Zion being mad skinny, but really mainly just Zion's injury setting him back, you know, him being shut down. I think this is insane. I think Zion's career is taking a big hit, these injuries. And I feel like walking into the draft. You know, I feel like these. No, I'm not gonna say
Here
what I was
he
gonna say.
goes,
I'm not gonna say what I was gonna
bro.
say.
He was talking crazy before. If you're about to say the same thing,
I'm not gonna say the same thing. Why would
say
I
it
say
then.
that
Keep
on
the same
live?
energy. Keep the same energy though,
But
because that's how you feel.
Okay, we were in the car, and I said before the draft, I would have took Ja at number 1. That's what I said. I've said that before. This is not a mystery. They know that I've said that before. I would have took Ja at number 1. Now, in hindsight, you look at it. One guy is always injured. The other guy has the Grizzlies competitive. So I feel like the Grizzlies are fine with their pick, but nonetheless, you know what I'm saying? Zion was on a historic pace in his career, and now you look at it, and he's missed more games now than he's played. So I think, you know, that's something that definitely needs to be taken. Like the Pelicans, not only does Zion, I don't even think he wants to be there, but he's not even healthy enough to play. So that's going to hurt him down the line because he's still really young.
Something that I saw that was kind of disrespectful this week in the NBA was, I don't know if you guys caught LeVar Ball's comments on LaMelo Ball asking Michael Jordan for any advice. LeVar Ball basically went on a rant saying that, man, Michael Jordan played in the 90s. He can't tell my son anything about today's game. He's one of the worst executives in the NBA. He's starting to get traction because of my boy. And it's like, I don't know whether, like, I feel like LeVar made some valid points, but in terms of being a basketball player, I don't know how you can ask someone who's universally regarded as a top 2 basketball player of all time, how you can't pick his brain, how you can't pick his mind. And just a statement like that, another thing to piggyback off this is, I have doubts of LaMelo Ball really staying long-term with the Charlotte Hornets. I think his brand and what he is and his fandom, I think is just much bigger than the Charlotte Hornets organization. And with those comments being said about Michael Jordan from his father, who has a lot of hot takes, I question the longevity of LaMelo Ball staying with this franchise. So I don't know how you guys feel about that. I think that's an outlandish statement, and I think that could ruffle some feathers in the organization, especially coming from Michael Jordan's camp.
I think when you look at Jordan pre-LaMelo, he sucked.
Terrible.
But I think
That's where he was right.
I think as of lately, though, even with the Gordon Hayward signing, when people thought it wasn't a good move, I think
Kemba was bad?
Terry Rozier.
Thank you.
Kemba wasn't bad.
He was a good pick, right?
Yeah, MJ, I don't think he made that pick, if I'm not mistaken. But I could be wrong. But I'm saying as of lately, Gordon Hayward, I think, was a good signing in hindsight. Terry Rozier, I think, was a good signing in hindsight. Kelly Oubre,
Bridges.
right now, as it looked like it was an okay signing. Bridges was a good pick. PJ Washington was a good pick. So I think as of lately, he's been getting like he's learning.
He's been getting better.
It's been a learning curve for him. You know, he started young, not young, but he was fresh to this, and he's a billionaire. So whatever LeVar is saying doesn't really make sense because he's a billionaire.
And then how do you feel about the comments about him not being able to pick the mind of probably the greatest
people
basketball
in
player
today's
ever played the
game still pick MJ's brain
That's
and
what
try
I'm
to.
saying.
So he's a weirdo. He averaged like 2 points. I don't know what he's talking
People are
about.
trying to say they're starting a promotion for a new Baller brand shoe. What do you think?
It's gonna be
People
overpriced.
still wear those.
It makes sense. It's a great marketing tactic. It makes a lot of sense.
I'll tell you what though. Thinking about what you said about you don't think that LaMelo will stay long term.
Well, not that I don't think I have fears that of him committing long term.
I'm just gonna comment on that. I feel like Charlotte culture is underrated in the grand scheme of things. You have obviously J. Cole, that type of that presence that he brings
And
to
DaBaby.
Charlotte. The baby is unfortunately they canceled.
He be at all the games.
He had a lot of traction before that, but the culture in Charlotte is a lot different than how we perceive it in New York because obviously we're in the grandest stage and the biggest media market in the world.
Who's more lit?
New York.
Okay, before you continue,
media.
let's break this up a little bit.
Wait, New York's not more lit than NC?
No, wait. You're not more lit. The Knicks are more lit. The Nets are not.
Bro, we're talking about the lifestyle. We're talking about the teams, bro. We're not talking about
Brooklyn. Stop.
Wait.
Manhattan. Yes.
Brooklyn is one of the best boroughs in New York.
But that's not the Mecca.
But it's not the Mecca though.
But you try to say that the lifestyle is better.
Definitely up there.
The Manhattan, lifestyle is amazing. It's
How about
beautiful.
a team like Miami, like a high market team?
Oh
That's
yeah,
what
beautiful. Now
I'm
you're
getting
getting
at.
into, but you try
But
to
it's
say
like,
we.
What do you mean? I'm saying we, like, because we live around the area. I'm not talking about the franchises.
Yeah, we live around New York.
Yeah,
we live
that's what
around
I'm
the
saying.
Knicks. Yeah,
I guess, yeah.
You don't live around Brooklyn,
you
bro.
trying to spark some controversy. Whatever.
He
though.
is.
I don't like how you try to
his
take
team
that
start
credit.
winning a couple games. You know, it's all
I
good.
don't like how you try to take some
So
credit.
good.
You know what I'm
Bro,
saying?
Barclays is the same distance from
Basically.
from here than MSG is.
Yeah, you trying to
Low-key,
violate right now.
low-key.
I mean, we
Actually,
look as a Nets fan, we all know it's the Knicks.
Barclays a little deeper.
Barclays is deep.
from
It's
where we're at
25
right now.
minutes from there.
Barclays is deep.
It's 25 minutes from MSG,
Yeah, it's not
bro.
far.
I'm just
You can
saying.
take a bus, you
MSG
can
is
take a
what I'm
train.
saying. From
I'm just
us,
saying,
though,
like,
Brooklyn's farther.
don't make this a Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying?
But I'm not.
Because
that's where
Brooklyn
you-
ain't the
That's
Mecca.
where you completely like you're making it out to be
understand.
something that has nothing to do with teams. I'm talking about the lifestyle, everything
it's
in
just
higher
right.
market organ.
Yeah.
I feel like he belongs. I feel like I could see him there. You going into the teams?
I mean, JC, you know how Riv is, man.
I like that.
And
Jumping
this
the gun.
and this gonna get into this week in the NBA. Shout out to Brandon Boston, 27 against Boston. He was picked in the second round, was projected to be a top 10 pick, but then slipped because he didn't have a great season at Kentucky. Now with the Clippers, I mean, he's looking really damn good. Trae Young also needs some love. I feel like we can start having that debate of whether or not Trae Young is better than
You're
Luka.
crazy. No, me stop.
You can have that debate.
For what?
Trey being better than Luka.
Oh.
you
I just said
It's-
somebody else.
I think whoever you go with is close, and that's
So
one
you're
of the
taking
more
Trae
fair
clean
trades.
over
So you're
Dame?
basically telling us that Trey is becoming a top 7-8 player in the NBA. That's what you're
Absolutely.
saying. Okay.
Absolutely,
He's a beast.
his shot creation and playmaking ability. Trae Young has led his team to the Eastern Conference Finals. Like,
Oh, now you're
Yo,
that's
what's
a
going
big
on right
thing.
now?
I don't know.
What's going on right
He
now?
called it a fluke. I was confused.
Wait, but I do have a question too. You're taking Trey clean over Dame.
Yes, right now, yes.
Fair to
Dame's
say.
been
Yeah, right now I'm
Fair to
taking
say,
Trae
fair to
over
say, fair
Dame.
to say.
Well, just even if I think it's a fluke, it doesn't mean it didn't happen. That still
Oh,
happened.
okay.
So I have to
There you go.
acknowledge what happened. The Zion weight reports, you mentioned it. I think Ben Simmons, these trade talks are heating up. And in our Indiana segment, we didn't even name a trade for Ben Simmons. Maybe Ben Simmons goes to Indiana
It would've-
and
it
they
would've
get back
messed up.
somebody.
It would have messed up what I'm going to say later when you ask what's the trade that you want to happen, so I can't say it.
I'll tell you what, Sabonis for Ben would be interesting.
I was thinking more like Levert or something.
I say Sabonis is
Package
interesting
around him.
because you know what? That's basically obviously Ben gives way better defense. He's more athletic than Sabonis, but Sabonis' facilitating would be what I feel like if I'm Philly, I want to try and replace that if anything. Like clearly we have pretty solid defenders. Maxey has taken a huge step in his game in terms of guard play. You bring back basically the same size, and now you bring in a point forward who can facilitate on top of at least extend outside of the paint. Excuse me.
It's also been reported that the Warriors view James Wiseman as a star, and they're probably not going to trade him.
They need to think like that because they passed up on LaMelo.
I think Wiseman's going to be huge for them
I think so too.
once he gets healthy.
I'm wrong.
They passed up on LaMelo, but in hindsight, they're fine. They're so fine.
I think, yes, they are obviously fine because the number 1 seed or number 2, whatever they are right now. But regardless of that, you pass up on LaMelo, who Anthony Edwards is great. I'm still taking LaMelo.
This week in the NBA also, the Rockets lost, but they continued their win streak. It got up to what, 6 or 7 games? 7 games?
7-1.
Yeah.
And you, Riv, you had a lot of
Uh-oh.
you had a lot of mean stuff to say about Garrison Matthews.
There's no, I take everything to the chin.
Oh, and that's what I respect.
Garrison Matthews during that win streak was averaging 16 points per game,
I seen
shooting
it.
like about
I actually
45%
I
from
got
three.
added by this enemy of mine on Twitter. Yeah, I got added. So
Are you gonna expose them or no? Who's that?
nah. He knows who he is. He knows who he is. I got
Okay.
added. But yeah, Garrison Matthews did his thing. I apologize. I can admit that on the live. I apologize. You know what I'm saying? I'm a man of my word.
Use them in 2K.
No.
I dropped 30 with him in 2K.
Did you really?
Yeah, I did.
30.
He took like 40 shots for them though. Because the shot creation sucks in that game.
Bro, I took OD shots of Garrison Matthews. But that was this past week in the NBA. Those are the things that we thought stood out to us the most.
I like
And
that segment, to be honest with you. We should do that like every single week.
The NBA there's a lot of stuff that goes on week to week. So
Sure.
it's a great
Definitely.
idea to
Beautiful
highlight
world.
things that probably don't deserve an entire segment, but still deserve
Really
to be
quick,
talked
yeah.
about. Rudy Gobert, it's been feeling like he's been public enemy number one. I'm not quite sure what started it all. Joe Ingles talked about it, and he thinks it's because of the COVID thing, and everybody thinks he's the one that, was the reason why these leagues shut down. Rudy Gobert is quietly a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year. He quietly has all of these accolades, yet he gets treated like he's just another guy in the NBA when he's been a huge part to the Utah Jazz's success. Now, I want to ask you, do you think Rudy Gobert gets way too much disrespect? Where do you see him amongst the top players in the NBA? And yeah, what are your thoughts on Rudy?
I think Rudy falls in the line with analytics versus hoopers. I think he falls into that battle, but because I think analytics back him up so much, and I think hoopers don't respect him. Even with Pat Bev comments, he doesn't guard the best players. So I don't think, bro, shut up. It's not just it's not just about guarding the best players. Kawhi doesn't always guard the best players. Draymond doesn't always guard the best players because perimeter defense is important, but it's not the most important thing. Defense is an everything thing. It's about you're like a safety on the court. It's about controlling your team defenses. I think it's more impactful than perimeter defense because that's just a solo thing. You can have perimeter defenders, but I think a guy who can control his whole team on defense, like a Draymond, like a Rudy Gobert, I think those guys really impact teams because they make. You see the team when Rudy Gobert's off the floor. They're one of the worst defensive teams in the league. But when he's on the floor, they're historically, beautifully, magically great on defense. So I think, like I said, this falls into the line of analytics versus hoopers. You know what I'm saying? You think Rudy Gobert, he averages, 12 points? People think, oh, he shouldn't be this. He shouldn't be that. I think people just forget there's a whole other side of the game. It's not just offense and putting the ball in the hoop. There's defense. Defense matters. Defense is why some of these teams don't win. It's because, especially these young teams, they don't play defense. Rudy Gobert, like you said, quietly has won 3-time Defensive Player of the Year. You know who did stuff like that? Dwight Howard. And Dwight Howard was viewed as a top 5 player in the league. He didn't score that much, but he was viewed as a top 5 player in the league. He went to the finals. He changed the game. And Rudy Gobert may not be as good as Dwight, but he nonetheless has changed the game for his team. And he's put his team in comfortable positions every year to make the playoffs, to make deep runs. Now, you can say what you want last year about him being a liability against the Clippers. Okay, but you can also say Utah hasn't built good enough defenders around him so that he can stop doing everybody's job for them, which he's elite at, by the way. So I think, guys like that just hate on Rudy Gobert for no reason. I view him as a top 20 player in the NBA. I think he's in that discussion. He has to be. His defense is just so much better than a lot. We put guys who are in the top 10, top 15 with no defense. For example, I'm not saying he's better, but Trae Young, no defense, but his offensive game is so much great that we put him in that discussion. So I think Rudy Gobert, his defense matches a lot of guys' offensive game. So I think he should definitely be at least a top 20 player in the NBA.
So the initial question, are people mad or holding like a vendetta against Rudy Gobert? I don't know if I would go out and say that people are mad at Rudy Gobert still.
Why do you think people don't give Rudy Gobert the credit that he deserves?
100%. Listen, ultimately what I think it comes down to, and me personally, obviously someone who watches the game, who appreciates the game, can appreciate a guy who is very technical and very meticulous at what he does best. And that Rudy Gobert, in terms of rebounding, he's arguably the best rebounder in basketball right now. Shot blocking, arguably the best blocker in basketball. Arguably the best defender. Right now, he has the second highest defensive rating. But I think what it comes down to, he's not the most exciting to watch. And it does not help that he plays in Utah. Say what you want about Utah. Listen, we love Utah. Utah has done a great job in supporting us. Public media, or mainstream media, does not find Utah appealing. And in terms of them translating that into broadcasting Gobert's game or even Donovan Mitchell's game, they refuse to. As great as Gobert has been, I think his player efficiency rating ranks 9th right now in the NBA. He's been spectacular. But because he's not the most exciting, people aren't paying attention to him. And I feel it's unfair because you look at back in the day and people's game were so much more refined, but they didn't necessarily have to be the most flashy. All they cared about was winning. Nowadays, if you're not showing something flashy on Instagram, if you're not getting a highlight dunk, people really don't care about what you're doing. Look at a Steph Curry. Look at a Jimmy Butler. Steph Curry has changed the way that people watch basketball, had changed the way that people play basketball. He's a 6'3" dude that could shoot the lights out of a basketball. He's entertaining to watch. Jimmy Butler, he's entertaining to watch, but more so, he has a personality that you can just gravitate towards. Gobert isn't winning a popularity contest. What he cares about is playing basketball at the highest level that he can. And ultimately, that's what it takes a toll on how people perceive him or how people want to judge who he is as a basketball player. It's not more so about his skill, but how so you can relate to him to a degree. And I feel like that's where I feel a disconnect towards mainstream media and actually caring about what a player does on a basketball court.
I think the cycle of disrespect towards Rudy Gobert stems from his contemporaries first and foremost. We saw on All-Star Weekend or All-Star break last year when LeBron James and Kevin Durant, or I think it was LeBron James, made a controversial statement saying, like, bro, nobody uses the Jazz in 2K. Like, who uses the Jazz? And I felt like LeBron saying that with how much impact he has kind of negatively painted Rudy Gobert in, like, this type of, or the Jazz in general, in, like, a wrong light. Rudy Gobert is not the most flashy player. He does average 12 points. He doesn't really have a post game. He can't really shoot. But like he said in his interview, he doesn't really care what anybody thinks. He knows what he's on the court for. And when he's on the court, and I'm one of them. I was a person that up until last year, I'll say it, I thought, this is going to sound crazy, but there was a time where I was debating who was better between Sabonis and Rudy Gobert. That's how much disrespect I had towards Rudy Gobert. I was wild. No, I know. I take it. I was wilding. That's how much disrespect I had. But when I started to check the statistics and the awards and his impact on defense, it's just like I've seen people have Rudy Gobert as a top 10 player solely because of his defense, how game-changing his defense is. I think in basketball, I'm pretty sure, I think they had him as a top 15 player in the NBA just solely based off defense. That's a great channel to watch if you want to, like, get in tune with basketball. But other than that, I mean, Rudy Gobert's style of play, like these guys said, I mean, it's not the most flashy, but his defense gets the job done. And to Rivers' point, I mean, Utah doesn't really have the collection of that good defenders. Like, you have Royce O'Neal, who is probably guarding your best wing. He's undersized. They're going to get to the paint on him.
I'm keeping it on. He gets cooked a lot.
He gets cooked a lot. And that's a guy that's like when I watch,
premier defender.
He's an above average defender.
Yeah, it's sad to say because he's an above average defender and he's undersized. So I think, I kind of get Giannis vibes from this because not a lot of players started respecting Giannis. I think for Rudy Gobert to reach that type of level, I think Rudy Gobert would have to win a championship because up until last year, nobody in the NBA was really respecting Giannis in his game. At least pure hoopers weren't.
I hate, and we have to, this new NBA, right? These new guys, we have to stop getting mad at centers because they can't guard the perimeter. Like that's one of the things that boggles my mind. We get upset when centers can't guard perimeter players, and it's like that's not really a knock on them. They're a center. You know what I'm saying? They're not really supposed. Not everybody can be a Bam. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody can be an Anthony Davis,
Facts.
but not everybody can be a Rudy Gobert. You know what I'm saying? There's just different levels. He may not be, this offensive machine, but in terms of rim protecting, help defense, he's one of the best all time.
Defensive rebounding,
all time. Not many guys can say that. Like he's up there with the Hakeems in terms of numbers. He's up there with the Hakeems and the Dwight Howards in terms of statistics, in terms of elite rim protection and help side defense, shot alterations. Like he is like that for real. So I don't get it. Even in this comment section, trade Cat for Rudy Gobert. Aiden for Rudy Gobert. Dude, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Aiden for
in
Rudy
terms
Gobert,
of just the regular season,
crazy.
The Utah Jazz wouldn't be as good without Rudy Gobert. You can say in certain playoff situations he wouldn't be playable. That's understandable. That's some bigs. I understand that. But in terms of playing up, like in terms of regular season and how they've been consistently great, you can't knock them. It's no way you can.
Gobert means more to the Jazz than Donovan Mitchell. I'm asking.
Oh, I thought you were saying.
Defensively, absolutely. 100%.
I mean, that's without a doubt. In terms of you take everything into account, who means more?
I think you have to go Donovan.
Really? And there's no strings attached to that. That's purely what you believe.
I think you have to go Donovan just because it's basically when he walked in, they instantly became
True.
They went to the
a
second
dangerous
round.
team.
True.
And his scoring, as of right, like his scoring is so dynamic and D-Wade.
Agreed.
Like you have to, say he's just I don't think it's like a.
I agree.
It ain't
No, I
like
agree.
that.
I agree.
But I think it's just a little bit. I would go probably a little bit Donovan just because his scoring in the playoff time. You need that guy who can go get a bucket. I think Donovan is that type of guy.
I just think they complement each other well.
For sure.
Rudy Gobert, part of the reason why I think he gets disrespected is because NBA fans, they don't value rebounding and defense. If I told you somebody averages 23 and 5 and somebody else averages 15 and 15, you'd probably think the 23 and 5 guy is better just because we value scoring to that level. And you made an excellent point. You have these players who are pure scorers, and I'll mention one, Bradley Beal. Last year, he averaged 30. because he averaged 30, although he was one of the league's worst graded defenders, people would automatically put Beal over Gobert strictly because of offense. But when we talk about defense, it doesn't matter what chart you look at. Any single advanced analytic stat or even basic stat, when you look at these defensive stats and charts, Rudy Gobert is the most impactful and the most effective, and it's not even close. Yep. So for a guy that's a top 2, top 3 defender in the NBA, his offense might not be a top tier. He's not a top tier offensive guy, he's not. But people have to realize that there's more to offense than just scoring. And just because he averages like 15 points doesn't mean he doesn't create opportunities for others, because in his rim runs, he creates a lot of open 3-point shots.
And it's funny because it makes you wonder, what would guys say to players like Ben Wallace, Dennis Rodman, if they played right now? Like guys who had no offensive ability, but defensively they were masterpieces. You know what I'm saying? Like
someone like Mark Eaton.
Yeah, what would they say to these guys that just had no offense and just were strictly defensive players? Like, what would this NBA with all the Twitter and Instagram and the jokes and the giggles? Dennis Rodman, I think, averaged at one point like 3 points. But he had like a 20-board game. You 25. Know what I'm saying? Yeah, like he was ridiculous. Ben Wallace, he didn't offer any. He
never scored double digit in his career.
Yeah, and it's crazy to me how people just, like you said, view scoring as the end all be all. And I think that's
it's more entertaining.
The Hooper versus analytics thing. And I think it in large part is to guys on Twitter who just run up and, oh yeah, he has the bag. He's different because he can put the ball in the back. Mm-hmm. Bro, it's like a whole other side of the game that we just forget about. And I think that's what's missing in the NBA.
And we talked about this last year when Beal was averaging 30. He's only doing that because he's on a bad team. Now that the Wizards are competitive, he's averaging 23?
Yeah, he's back to
game.
Him.
Are we not going to give Russell Westbrook a little bit of credit for that?
No, because he did it the year before.
He did it after.
Did he average 30 the year before,
too? He did it twice. He did it with him and then without him.
Okay. All right.
So stop it.
All right, I will apologize.
He says, so stop it.
Yeah,
Lakers fans love to mention
here
Westbrook.
you go.
No. Lakers fans like to defend Westbrook because everyone else likes to slander him. And
you
he's
guys
been
defend
beasting.
anybody that's on your team until he leaves.
Nah, listen. I was
you guys
giving
were
Russ a
defending
hard time.
Kuz, and then Kuz left, and now you hate him. Not you. I said you guys. I'm speaking for in general.
Thank you.
In general.
Thank you. Because I was about to get tight.
Rudy Gobert had 17 points and 21 boards against Embiid, and held Embiid to 19-9, 8 for 18 shooting.
19-9.
I just did. I just named you the stat.
Talk about it. So another guy, Embiid, just choked it up last year.
Are you taking Gobert and Embiid?
Stop.
Answer the question.
Stop.
Embiid.
Why are you asking me that?
Bro.
Not even close. But in one-on-one, we see what he can do to him.
I don't care about no.
Bro,
why
Embiid's way better than him.
Why are you asking me that? Come on.
He's better than obviously because his offensive game is just so much.
He's the lead on
He's
defense.
the lead on defense too.
I agree.
What's wrong with this guy?
But Gobert can take
trying to violate Embiid.
But Gobert can take him out of a game.
Bro, that's like comparing Hakeem to Mark Eaton. I swear to God, that's just like
It's
that.
just
bro.
one game, though.
Eaton,
It's one
come
game.
on
It's
now.
one game, bro.
Come on, bro. That's really what you just did.
Yeah, it's not close.
It is one game, so fair enough.
Yeah. Oh, he's probably had other games where he's done his thing too, but in a series, I think Embiid would do his thing again.
I think he'll be fine. I don't think he'll be like taking up.
Remember you said Rudy could lock up Jokic?
I can't.
How did that go?
Yeah, that was crazy. I ain't gonna lie. He did it to me.
Crazy.
Rudy could lock up Jokic.
Now he said Jokic was easy to take out the game, that he had no problem seeing
he
Rudy take him out.
It's like he heard me and then he just
was
went out there and
wilding
started
on him.
bugging.
I think there's something with you and certain players that you're just super biased towards. And
Oh my God,
sometimes
yes.
I think we all are.
Yeah.
No, we all definitely are.
We can make that fair
For you,
assessment.
it's the Rockets though. Garrison Matthews,
He going back to
this guy Alperen Şengün, he wasn't high on him. He's looking like baby Jokic right now.
Apparently Embiid got taken out of that game with injury. That's why.
Okay.
I just hate the Rockets, and I think that's a credit to you
Oh, why do you hate the Rockets?
because of James Harden, Chris Paul. Even before that, just ongoing battles with Steph that just made me hate him, and I hate Rockets fans and PJ Tucker fans. So
Come on, bro. What's wrong with PJ Tucker fans? It's like, who cares? It's PJ
He's the
Tucker.
only one I know.
It's literally PJ Tucker.
you know what it is, bro. You wasn't on the show in
That's
the beginning,
facts.
so
That's
it's like you didn't
facts.
hear the nonsense he would
Or all the years what we didn't have
like
the show.
the rant about just the constant nonsense.
That's his
so,
boy, though.
respectable.
Or the constant sending audio messages screaming Tucker.
Yeah,
like I'm
like,
thinking it's unimportant. I hear Tucker. I'm like, come on, bro. Like that's crazy.
It's cool though, you know.
But you been watching Şengün though do his thing?
We just texted, yo, what's wrong with you? We just texted
Yo,
about it the other day.
he's baby Hakeem.
What?
What?
Baby
Maybe a
Jokic?
kid.
What the hell is wrong? See, this is why I get mad. This is
Oh
exactly
my
what it is,
God.
bro.
Bro, I'm
He's
just, you didn't see that
Nah,
that
he's
clip
tough.
of
He's
him?
tough. He's tough,
Facts.
though.
Come on.
I'm not gonna. I don't know about All Star. We're gonna wait and see. Let's give more
He said
minutes.
All-Star.
But he's been.
You know,
he's
it's
been good.
funny in the offseason when we did these draft analysis things. I was like,
Here we go.
he won Turkish League MVP, and Riv's like, I don't care. I don't care.
I still don't care, but he's doing his thing. He's doing his thing.
He's like, it's not going to translate. It's
We
not
got to
gonna
see.
translate.
It's been all right.
He's a rookie still.
Yeah,
Like,
so that's what-
give
we
him his
gotta wait and
credit.
see,
Fact.
because
No,
we've
but I'm saying, like, to be a rookie and to still.
We've seen rookies flame off.
True.
Michael Carter Williams.
I was
Tyreek
just about
Evans.
to say him. Oh my God, him too.
Tyreek Evans.
Yeah, we've seen Johnny Flynn.
Michael
Yeah.
Carter. You said Michael Carter Williams
Bro,
already?
bro won the
MCW.
whole rookie of the year and then flamed
We
out.
all thought he was gonna be nice.
Pat Will.
Don't do that.
Oh, no.
RJ Barrett.
He wasn't good his rookie season.
He was better his sophomore.
And now he stinks. So what are we doing here?
He does kind of. Nah, I
Well,
wouldn't say he stinks. I'm not going to say he
He
stinks.
stinks.
He's inconsistent. That's what he
Stinks.
is.
Today's
Stink.
show is sponsored by you guys. 10K
Ooh,
subscribers.
Okay, that's for y'all.
Yeah, but we have this because of them.
That's a fact. Most importantly, because of them.
And that's why we have to be super honest. You know, this is what gets the bills paid. DraftKings right here. You guys heard about DraftKings. They are one of the leaders in sports betting. And this month they have some great promos. New customers who can just bet $1 on any team to score can win $100 in free bets. It's that simple. And if Sportsbook isn't available in your state yet, you can still get it on NFL action by using DraftKings Daily Fantasy Sports for a chance to win huge cash prizes. DraftKings is giving all new customers a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes with their first deposit. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code TBPN. Bet $1 on any team to score and win $100 in free bets. If they score, you score with promo code TBPN this week at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. I didn't know you use DraftKings as heavily as you do.
Oh yeah, man! I'll tell you what. We went to the Seton Hall basketball game, and all my boys were talking about betting because the Minnesota Vikings were playing the Steelers, and we spoke a little bit about having a little bit of segment of bets. So, what I like to do personally, sometimes the spreads are intriguing to me if I really think that a team's gonna win, but mostly where I immediately go are to the player props. I do one bet every weekend that if I'm gonna bet, I'm gonna bet a decent amount of money, but I'm only gonna take one that I really feel for sure on. Usually, look, and I'm giving away my tips for you guys. Running back, wide receiver props. You go right to the rush attempts. More often than not, that's where the money is. Because early in the season, they had guys like Najee Harris, 14 attempts. Joe Mixon, 14 attempts. You could just find the ones that are just so glaringly obvious to you that you can hit on. What sucks is that in Jersey, for college sports, there was just a bill that was an attempt to get passed that just got shut down, like not even close. It was like 10% to 90%, like they wanted no parts of it, where you could bet on college games in your state, Seton Hall, Rutgers. Now, we would have made some decent money had we been allowed to do that, because that day, both Rutgers and Seton Hall won.
You wasn't taking Rutgers.
No way.
wasn't
No
taking
way.
Rutgers.
But Seton Hall...
You would have took Seton Hall, but you
way.
was
No way.
not taking
Seton
Rutgers.
Hall plays different in Prudential.
But I know for a fact you
No,
wouldn't have
no
took
way.
Rutgers.
No way, because that was one of the luckiest shots.
Hell,
It-
you wouldn't have taken it
everything.
even before the like. You
But
just,
that's what I'm saying. It's just because... Another thing, when it comes to sports betting, DraftKings loses a lot of money on the Yankees. Why? Because it's area dictated. A lot of fans, or a lot of where sports betting is allowed, is New York. In New York, fans go crazy for the Yankees. They lose a lot of money on the Yankees. People would just automatically just bet money on Rutgers to beat Purdue just because they're homers. You know what I'm saying? That's just the type of thing that could happen. So just to get back to the player props, I feel like player props are safer. You can judge a player more so than you can judge an entire team. You know when a Jonathan Taylor is going to play against a bum team that he's going to go off for over 100. It's just you got to be mindful of the matchups. That's really all that it is. But we've been using DraftKings for years now. I turned 21. Of course, you download FanDuel, you download DraftKings right away, but you quickly learn that FanDuel is the app to lose money.
I got to get my DraftKings username
gotta talk to them.
and login.
We gotta talk to
I gotta
them
get
for
it
you,
back
bro.
up, bro. I don't have it up right now. I used to use it when I was underage, and now they locked my account.
I mean,
So I need to get it back.
listen, man, we promote them every single time we do an episode. We got to get you back in their good graces. But DraftKings is the app. That really is the go-to app. Every single one of my boys.
That
uses
Seton Hall
DraftKings.
game that we went to was my first time going to a college basketball game.
You went to one of the better ones,
And
too.
I feel like the energy in there, it feels different.
Because college kids are just crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's just that type of energy you only get from kids.
I literally looked at my son for 2 hours. I was so mad. Because I was supposed to be at the game. And I had to watch. I was so
Facts.
angry. I'm just watching the game and just looking at him like, bro,
Yo.
you just got me so mad.
I needed one night off from you, bro. You couldn't give me that. That's funny.
Yo, you think if we did a poll, right, and we asked all our fans whose side are we on, who do you think would win? Like, who's the most likable on here?
Let's ask the chat right now.
Say that one more time. What's the
Like,
question?
we did a poll and we asked who's the most likable on the pod. Who do you think would win?
That's such a weird question to say. I
Because
don't
you would
know.
lose. That's why you asked that.
No.
No, I think Drew would win.
I was going to
Probably
say, I'm
would.
pretty personable.
Yeah. It's crazy.
I think Drew goes first, I go second, you go third, and JC goes last.
Yo, that's messed up.
Nah, I'd probably go last.
Just kidding. Nah, low key.
Yeah, I'd probably go
Because
last.
you have that I don't care attitude, which is fine. You know what I mean? That's not a bad thing. That's just you.
Gangster.
But me, I mean, I try to.
You're always smiling and liking
Hey,
everybody.
hey.
Weirdo.
Nothing wrong with that. I try to be friends with everyone.
Before we go on to the next segment, we're going to answer some questions from you guys in the chat.
Okay.
So drop in some questions in the chat right now, in the live stream chat on YouTube. We are going to answer a couple, then move on to the very next segment. But yeah, it was my first time at a college basketball
fire?
game, and it felt very energetic. It felt like something that I needed to experience.
All right. Someone asked, "Are you taking Vucevic or Gobert?" Like, this should be pretty universal. We're taking Gobert.
What was the question?
Vucevic or Gobert?
You know, I'm taking.
Gobert.
Yo, you-
Bias,
come
all
on, bro.
included. I'm taking
on, bro.
Vooch. Big Vooch, man. That's my boy.
Come on.
Nah, Drew doesn't have a son. That's Riv. Riv has a son.
What the hell?
Somebody said
Somebody thought you
somebody
had a son.
said Drew's the most likable because
Aw,
his smile is cute.
thanks. Who said that?
You can find
Got
it's
excited.
Smile is
Finlay.
no, but that's smile is cute. I haven't seen it. Drew for his amazing laugh. Yo, shout out. I won best laugh in high school.
Okay, we
On a
got some.
technicality, though.
We got some questions here. So this is from Benny the Bully. Re-rank your top 5 shooting guards. I have Levine at 3, but I want to know if I'm biased for that take.
Well, your name is Benny the Bully, so you're a Bulls fan. So automatically we're going to assume that is biased. But I think Zach is still in the same place as he was, if I'm not mistaken. You got Hard. I still consider Harden a 2.
I'm wilding for taking Levine over Mitchell.
Do you think Levine's better than Booker?
That's close.
Then yes,
man.
you are wild.
All right, yes. All right, I do think that So who's one? Are we saying Harden's a 2 or are we saying that Harden's a
Probably
1?
say he's a 1 now. So Kyrie would be 2, but he hasn't played. So throw Kyrie. So I think Donovan is the best shooting guard in the league.
All right, then I'd probably put Levine 2.
I got Donovan, Levine, Booker.
Top 5 though. You need top 5.
The top 5, these bums. Oh,
Shea, Jaylen Brown,
it's Donovan.
Jaylen Brown got to be in there
for
for
me,
me.
Donovan, Levine, Booker,
Beal.
Beal,
Ooh,
Brown.
can't disrespect him.
Beal, Brown. No, Brown, Beal. Pardon me, Brown, Beal.
Are we saying DeMar DeRozan is a 3
He's
now?
not a 2.
He's a 3.
Okay, that's what I'm asking. All right, I think that's pretty fair, honestly. I'd probably go Mitchell. I'd probably go Levine, then Booker. Then probably Beal. Who was your 5th?
I had Brown and Beal. SGA is knocking at the door.
Ooh,
I think Brown is better
I
than
probably
Beal.
would take Beal over Brown, though, even though Brown has been pretty great offensively this year, and his defense obviously is still solid. Ooh, man, that's close, actually.
I think they're interchangeable, honestly.
Word, I'm going to say tied at 4, both Beal and Brown.
And for you,
I
JC?
would probably say I'll say D Mitch 1. I'll say Devin Booker 2, Levine 3, Beal 4, and then it's kind of hard for me to decide between Jaylen Brown and SGA, but I would say Jaylen Brown slightly.
This one is. I agree with your guys' list, by the way. The order might be a little bit the same, a
Those are
little
the
bit
5,
different,
though.
but I think those are the 5. This question from Nas the Toad: should the Cavs insist on keeping Sexton? If they get LeVert, I don't think they should. I think the best thing for the Cavs to do is to get a guard that fits with Garland better. And I'm looking at size, like a 6'5", 6'6" guard. If you're lucky, a 6'7" one. But that's who I think they need to fit around Sexton, a wing defender also at that two-guard
I agree.
position.
I think if LeVert, you can bank on LeVert and get LeVert, then I think that's probably the next best move and just keep waiting on that Garland improvement year by year. I think Colin, you can kind of walk away from Colin. If not, though, obviously you keep him because I think they were fine with him at this point. They were still going to make the playoffs. But I think LeVert is probably a better fit next to Garland. Or maybe they can find somebody else that's a better fit. Mm-hmm. But I think if you can find a better fit, then you go and let Sexton walk. But if not, keep Sexton.
I'll tell you what, man, Garland has had some games recently where he just blacks out. So it's not like you necessarily need Sexton for his offensive output, even though when healthy, I do think that Sexton's probably their best scoring option. But Garland has shown that he could be that number one option when he has the opportunity and the ball in his hand, and he's a solid facilitator as well. So for the money that Sexton's going to want, listen, I have been a huge advocate of keeping Sexton, but this was before seeing Darius Garland be the guy and actually seize the moment. He has some moments where he has some hiccups, but that's any young player. But if he's showing me early on that he could score 30 in back-to-back nights and continue to be a strong facilitator and get that offense going, you don't necessarily need Sexton for his offensive output, especially for his size, not providing as much as you would like on defense, especially for a two-guard, for his physique and what he's limited in doing. For the money that he's going to want, I think that it's all right to move on.
I mean, coming off the injury and, even last year, I felt like Colin Sexton was the odd man out of Cleveland if anybody was going to leave. So I believe that, if they can get Karis LeVert, then I would be fine with Colin Sexton walking. I mean, this is the same guy who put up 25 points per game and nobody batted an eye about it. But when he started playing with talent around him, his averages dropped to 16 points per game, 17 around there. I think Karis LeVert could fill that void. He's taller. Karis LeVert's a better playmaker, a better rebounder. And I think he's a better fit just because Colin Sexton sometimes to me is proven to be too ball dominant and not have the IQ per se to read the next play. And I think Karis LeVert has all those qualities that Sexton doesn't have.
So this next question is from Gregory Castillo. Will Joel apologize to Spurs Twitter if the Knicks finish with a worse record? The Knicks might not make the playoffs, but there's no way in hell the Spurs finish with a better record than the Knicks. I won't have to apologize for that.
But
Joel,
if they do.
Joel, do you still think I still will not apologize?
No.
Not if somebody calls me out on it, I'm like, okay, man, I apologize. Sorry, I was wrong. This is from Wild Hot M. Joel, do you still think James Harden is better than Steph Curry? No,
I hope you're off that plane at this point.
No, he's not. There was a point he was though. Yeah,
I didn't believe
Ship
so.
kind of sailed.
Ship sailed a long time
the
ago.
ship
for
sailed
me.
doesn't mean that what he wasn't at one point.
When was he better than Steph?
Harden's younger than Steph, correct?
About a
They're
year.
probably like about the same
Harden's
age.
32.
Okay. All right.
Steph's 33.
Yeah, so about a year. When was
Because
he better
we've
than
seen
Steph?
Steph just get better.
When
with
was he better
time.
than Steph? Hold on. When was he better than Steph?
He's going to say
2018.
2018.
2018. Oh, okay.
That's the only year you could say.
When Steph played
2015.
5 games?
But that's
And
what do you
2015.
mean 5 games? 20? No, that was
They made the Western Conference Finals, bro.
yeah.
Talking about that year.
Oh, when he played with
They
KD.
won the championship
Talking
that
about when
year.
Harden won MVP.
You talking about when Steph played with KD, right? That was the
Yes.
KD year.
Yes.
Oh, when Steph averaged the most points on the team with KD and Clay. And
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. You can have that year. You can have it. You said 2019 too?
Listen, those are throwaway years for me personally. I don't even.
How about the year
remember
he
those
averaged
years.
36?
Yeah.
You can have that year. You can definitely
sure.
have
In
that year.
2015, I felt like he should have beat Curry out in the MVP race.
Oh, well, he didn't.
That's my
I
opinion.
He
understand.
should have,
Wait,
though.
He should have.
wait,
No,
wait,
it was-
wait,
it was-
Which
it
one
was
was
cra-
the unanimous MVP?
2016. 2016
I
we're
hate,
off that.
I
He
hate,
was,
the,
Curry was
I
way
hate
better.
that you should have because it didn't happen. So since it didn't happen, Steph was better. And who won the ring? Guess who got beat out in the WCF that year? That deaded all that MVP stuff. Harden. And Steph played way better than him. So
Yeah, Steph did.
Whatever.
Steph played an injury.
Thoughts
played.
on the Knicks
Pat Bev was the
struggles
only injury. Come on,
and
fellas.
Julius
Pat Bev.
Randle.
Cavs
This is
hurt.
from Click 2
That's
AM.
fair.
Well, I think the Knicks right now are struggling to find an identity. If I said it last pod, I think everything that could have went wrong went wrong. We paid Julius Randle. Thankfully, it wasn't a max deal. We paid him around what you would pay, an above-average starter in the NBA. I like that we gave Randle a contract that is team-friendly, but R.J. Barrett hasn't been looking too good. He had that 1 30-point performance, and since then hasn't had a game that great since then, and he's been shooting not too well. Man, I've lost morale on the Knicks. You know, I don't think the season is over. We can still make a big time trade, but as of right now, I'm not really too confident in our direction. Now we're gonna answer 2 more questions. Are you taking Evan Mobley or Scotty Barnes for Rookie of the Year? I know you feel very passionate about this, Riv.
Why do you think that?
Because I think you think Mobley is the one.
I think Mobley is number 1 just because of the simple fact that his team is in the playoffs right now, and that in large part is he's one of the main reasons for that. But I think Scotty's a close 2, but I think Cade is on his way.
OD.
I think
He's
Cade
been
is
bugging.
creeping,
He's been
and
bugging.
he is on his way. If his team wasn't, his team really does suck. But if
They're
his team,
trash.
because I think Scotty and Evan Mobley, they're contributing to winning teams. And even though Toronto isn't as isn't a playoff lock, they're creeping in the playoffs in the play-in. So I think that's going to keep. But Cade, like I told people, he didn't have a preseason, he didn't have a training camp. Give him time. He's got the time. Now he's starting to figure it out, and the points are starting to come, and he's starting to get. They're not playing him as a spot up. They're giving him the ball now. So, but Evan is clear 1 for me.
Only thing I want to see from Cade is his efficiency go up. Right now, he's at 38% from the field.
It was
38.
because you know the beginning.
Yes.
He
Listen, you're
stinked.
100% right. That being said, he right now is leading rookies in points per game. He did miss a few games, but even still, I'm giving him his credit for that. He is, I think, second right now in assists per game, and he gets a bunch of rebounds a game. So right now, I guess you have to give it to Mobley because he's been playing the entire season. The Cavs are in the playoffs, or right now in that playoff picture. But ultimately, I do think Cade Cunningham wins Rookie of the Year. Scotty Barnes has been great, but I think Cade really has just shown us what we expected finally over these last 2-3 weeks, and Cade is going to continue to only cook.
I'm sticking with my Rookie of the Year pick. My Rookie of the Year pick was Evan Mobley. I saw a stat the other day. The Cavaliers' defense when Evan Mobley's on the floor is ridiculously good, and the games that he doesn't play, they tail off. Evan Mobley's been a beast, shot blocking wise. He's a center who's like really unique. He's one of the few centers where you could ask to go on a switch and guard somebody. I saw a game where he was guarding Damian Lillard on a switch, held him to 1 for 4, held his own. He's been playing winning basketball. He's been huge for Cleveland, and I mean, I have him as my Rookie of the Year. I don't think it's going to change. I think Cade could pass up Scotty Barnes, though, if he keeps this up. But I think right now, Evan Mobley's the guy running away with it.
And now the last question we're going to answer, who's going to meet in the Eastern Conference Finals this year? This is from Glenn, who's a Utah Jazz fan, avid Utah Jazz fan.
Who's gonna meet in the Eastern Conference Finals? Bulls and Bucks. I got the Bulls and Bucks meeting in the Eastern Conference Finals. I think we take out Miami in round 2. Bucks beat the scrubs over there, the Nets in round 2, and we got to see the Bucks. We got to see the Bucks in the Eastern Conference Finals.
This is tough, man. But I do think the Bulls actually make the ECF, and I just cannot.
2-0.
I cannot
No
be
way.
on
Regular
camera
season.
saying that the Nets are going to have
good.
success personally.
All good.
That
You
being
can't say
said,
that.
It's whatever.
You can't say that because you were talking crazy before the game.
You be talking crazy, so I'm
you
going to
can't
talk
say
crazy
that.
back.
all right. My only issue with taking the Heat is that
doesn't play.
they've been plagued with injuries early. We don't know how when is Bam coming back? Do we know? Is there a timetable?
It's going to be like
indefinitely.
3 to 4 weeks.
Okay, so I mean, he's going to be in shape by the time playoffs roll around, and Jimmy Butler, he needs to get healthy by then. But Jimmy Butler, I feel like, I don't want to say he tires easily because I feel like he's always on go. His motor is just one of the highest in the NBA, but he has to do a lot, and we're seeing it take a toll.
About KD, right?
No, I'm talking about Jimmy Butler.
Oh.
But KD, I guess similarly, but I feel like you can. I guess you can't say specifically you can rely on KD because he has the injury issues, but
You hate talking about KD.
I mean, what do you want me to say? He's been amazing this year when he plays, for sure. He's been spectacular
He's
when
played
he
like
plays.
in every game.
Yeah,
He's missed 2 games, but they were just off rest. though.
Okay, all right. I'm just saying, last season, obviously, he missed some time, but come playoff time, he was there, and it's like he
he's
didn't
not an
miss a beat.
injury-prone player. It was just that
Really?
one.
You wouldn't say injury-prone?
I wouldn't call KD
The torn
injury-prone.
Achilles when
That's
he missed
it.
the whole season when he broke his foot.
And then it was like the last injury
broke his
before that
foot.
was like a while ago. When
he broke his foot.
Yeah, so it's like I don't think he has these freak acts.
He has some bad injuries. That foot
Yeah,
injury
he
is
just
one
has
of
when he has an injury, it's bad.
Yeah.
But he doesn't usually
the hamstring injury last season.
Hamstring took him out, like kept him out a couple. Like
For the
a month
most part,
or
I think
two.
he's been fine though.
Listen, ultimately, yes, KD has been spectacular, but it's the
And he's
rest of the
shown
guys.
that even if he gets hurt, he's gonna come back and play the same.
So
exact
who do you
way.
have in ECF?
I think the Bulls are my team that I do think are going to go. It comes down to the Bucks and Heat because, one, I just don't think the Nets are as good defensively as these two teams. And with that, I'm going Bucks too. I think Riv's pretty spot on with this. I'm going
Wow.
Bulls and Bucks.
My ACF is going to be the Nets and the Heat. I think the Heat beat the Bucks, and I think if in a world if the Nets and the Bulls meet in the second round, I think we beat you in maybe 6 to 7 games. I'm not going to violate the Bulls. The Bulls are a really good young team.
Remember
I
when
have
you laughed
Kevin Durant.
you laughed at me when I said the Bulls were contenders?
Yeah, to win a champ. You said did he say contenders to win a championship?
I said they're contenders.
Okay,
for
I thought you said win a championship. Contenders. I
What's
mean,
the
if they
joke here? If we come out the East, if we go to
Y'all
ECF, we can come out the East. What the hell? What are you saying?
No, I thought my thinking was that he said win a championship, and I was like,
beat
whoa.
y'all, we can go to the finals.
That's a fact.
I thought you said the Nets suck.
you
Y'all
you
can't
think,
beat the Bucks in the
but
7
wait,
games.
but y'all
wait,
not beating
the
the
Bucks
Bucks
wait,
or
wait,
Miami,
wait,
though.
You think y'all are contenders? So if we beat y'all and y'all
I
are
think we
contenders,
can beat you.
we can beat y'all too,
guys.
though.
No, you can't.
Why you
We gonna
say
see.
that?
We gonna see.
Wait,
But
why
like-
you say
but like
that?
I said,
wait,
my-
but why you say
Because
that?
come playoff time, the
Come
Nets
playoff
are gonna
time
play.
what?
Kevin Durant is different. Nobody on your team stopping him. Like
don't-
I'm telling
okay,
you,
but
we
wait,
saw
wait,
what
wait,
Kevin
wait.
Durant did last year. We
Lost.
saw the work
We saw
he
him
did.
lose. We saw him lose.
You ain't
We saw him
talking
lose.
about you saw him lose, but he ain't put in work.
But
He ain't put in work,
wait,
though.
wait, but you
He
said,
ain't
wait,
put in
but
work,
you said Kevin Durant can't be stopped. We know that's
The
a fact.
Bucks are
That's a
but I'm
known
saying the
fact.
Bucks are a more formidable opponent than y'all was last year and this year. I'm more scared of the Bucks than I am of the
Crazy.
Bulls.
Crazy.
Ain't no world I'm gonna be scared of the Bulls in the playoffs.
Crazy.
No
Crazy.
world.
You know why you crazy?
No world.
You know why you crazy?
Because you're a Bulls fan.
We're,
and
no,
that's your
we're,
team.
We're a better.
Oh, y'all 2-0 against
no,
us in the regular season.
No, we're a better offensive team than that Bucks team was. Clearly, like, it's
You're not
clear.
a better defensive team, though.
No, we're not.
Hell no.
But we're a better offense. Like the same way how you.
I feel like y'all
the
in
same
this.
way
I
how
feel like
we-
y'all in the same tier.
You're done.
I really
The
do.
same way how-
Because
As
Giannis
who?
averages 29 points per
See,
game. Chris
you're
Middleton
looking
give
at
you
it. We're
20.
talking about-
but
Drew
what's the-
Holiday could
what's
give
the
you
question?
18. Like
we're
you
a-
acting
I
like
said we're a better
the Bucks is
offensive team than the
bums.
Bucks. What? No, I'm saying the
So
same
wait,
way.
so
wait,
what? So what
the
the
same way
Bucks?
how
So
you
what the
could-
Bucks on
the
offense
same way
last
how
night?
you-
They might be better
same way-
offensively than the
Wait,
Bucks.
the
Fine,
same
that's
way
fine,
how
that's
you
fine. So what
couldn't
were the
stop.
Bucks?
Wait, the
So-
same way how we can't stop KD. You can't stop DeMar or Zach. You have nothing.
Time out.
You told me Brenbury, I laughed.
No,
and then he showed you.
DeMar
I showed- he
DeRozan
showed
and
you
Zach
why I
LaVine
laughed.
are easier
He
to
showed
stop than
you.
Giannis. We don't have the personnel to no.
What?
All right, easy.
You
Yo, you
serious?
remember-
No, wait,
Are you
why
serious?
I didn't
serious,
no,
bro?
you try to be disrespectful
Are you
at the
serious?
same
Nah,
time.
it's
I'm not being disrespectful.
Wait,
I'm not
I didn't
being-
like that.
I'm not
I didn't like
being-
that. Hold
I'm
on.
saying-
Hold on.
I'm
Stop.
saying for the
Stop
Nets,
everything.
for the
Wait,
Nets,
wait, wait, wait,
Giannis
wait.
is
Stop,
time out,
stop,
bro.
stop.
Can
No,
y'all
wait,
like he let
'cause
somebody
you-
talk?
No,
Bro, you
let him
stay
talk,
talking.
let him talk, let him
Damn,
talk,
yo,
let
he
him
always
talk, bro.
talking. Like we let y'all talk.
Is he being disrespectful?
We give you
It's
the
Giannis.
courtesy all
A
the time to
combined
talk.
55 points is
Yes.
easier to stop than 29. That doesn't even make
I know,
sense.
same, no, I
That
think
doesn't
he's
make
being,
sense.
He's
No,
saying
it's not even
individually.
that, but
He's
you're-
saying you
you're-
could stop one
That
or
doesn't
the
make
other.
sense.
But
He's
he's
saying you could
underrating
stop one
the
or other.
contributions of Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday could
You
give
didn't
you
say
20.
them. You said
Can you let me
Giannis.
talk? I was gonna
Exactly.
say
Let him
them.
talk.
You let me
Let him talk.
talk.
Let him talk.
Let
I'm
him
saying
talk.
Giannis is unstoppable in the paint. You have Chris Middleton who gives you 21 a game. You have Drew
Cool.
Holiday. They're just as formidable as you guys on offensively. Defensively, they're a level. They're levels above you guys.
Okay.
They have an MVP. Somebody that you said wasn't an elite
They're
offensive
champions.
player in
Okay,
Giannis.
okay,
So
okay.
they're definitely
First of
formidable
all,
on offense.
okay.
You could be better. You could be better. You could be slightly better, but y'all not way better than the Bulls on offense. I mean, than the Bucks on
Yeah,
offense.
okay,
And
you
then
done?
defensively, it's OD.
You done? Are you done?
Nah, I'm not entertaining this conversation now because you nah. Screw all that.
I just let you talk,
Screw all that because you're not. Because you're not listening. Nah. So I ain't listening. I ain't listening.
You said Giannis is
Word.
unstoppable. You said Chris and Drew Holiday are just as formidable. No, they're not. Zach,
I didn't say just as formidable. No, I didn't. I said they are formidable on offense. Those two guys.
We're a better.
Yo, you gotta listen sometimes, bro.
Hold on. Chris Middleton, you said averages 21 points a game, right?
No, I said 2022. Last
20
playoff run, he averaged
Yes,
25.
he averaged 2022. 2022.
I'm hearing
Zach,
now, 'cause I'm about to
Zach
defend
and DeMar are 26 points per game scorers.
Can I see
bro.
them in the playoffs first? Please?
yeah, you
DeMar in the
Please?
playoffs is mid, bro.
Please? Can I see him in the postseason
you
first?
can-
But DeMar's been
Please.
different this season.
And
But
it's-
Chris Middleton was garbage
Time
before
out,
that
but you,
run.
but you said
That's
Chris, you
fact.
said
That's
up until
fact.
this year, Chris
Garbage-
Middleton was
garbage
better
is
than
strong.
Zach LaVine.
But Chris Middleton in the
You
playoffs
told
was
me that.
garbage, though. Chris
This
Middleton
year?
was, no, I said
Easy,
before last year.
easy,
Before
because
last year.
listen, bro.
And
Chris
what's
Mid-
DeMar DeRozan been?
Go back to
all right.
go back to the bubble when he
been
was
all
by
right.
himself and he beat the Heat.
They won one game.
But regardless, he did it by himself. He's not been the best in the playoffs. I
I'm
agree.
just saying the same way how he said we don't have the personnel to stop KD. They have no personnel
I
to
feel
stop
like it's
anybody.
I feel like it's
They don't.
easier to stop. Yeah,
How you don't
I
have
feel like
the
Wait, you're
person-
saying the
because
Bucks
Giannis-
or you're saying the Nets
No, I'm
don't
talking
have
about
it?
the
Giannis is more of a
Listen, I agree.
handful.
I agree. Defensively, y'all
Time
are
out.
mid.
We
The Nets are
defensively-
top 5 in
defensively, we
defense.
can stop
The
them
Nets are
quicker than
top
they can
5.
stop
The Nets
us,
are
and
top
that's a
5 on
fact.
defense.
That's
The
a
Nets are
fact.
top 5
The
on
Nets are
defense.
top 5 of defense. You heard that?
They are. They dead dead are.
I'm
I'm talking about in the
They
playoff
dead
series
are.
defensively. If you look at our roster and you look at their roster, we are more prone to stop them than they are to stop us. They have guys like Bruce freaking Brown
And listen,
and
but
DeAndre
you
Bembry.
you
bro.
also
We
They're
actually
good
have
defenders,
you
though.
need
You
to
act
actually
like they're
have
whack on
lockdown
defense.
defenders,
defense.
bro.
You act like
Let me
they're
ask you
whack
this
on
question.
We
defense.
actually have lockdown defenders on our team, bro.
Riv, let me
We
ask
actually
you a
have those.
question.
Talk to me.
Which duo was better, Giannis and Middleton or Levine and DeMar?
Obviously, Giannis and Middleton. But which duo is better, Levine and DeMar or Holiday and Chris Middleton?
I'll tell you what. Hold
But
on.
that's not
hold
their
on.
duo. You're excluding the best player on their team, bro.
I'm not
No,
trying
I'm
to
not.
overlook
It's
that.
a duo.
Giannis and
Their
Middleton.
duo is Chris
DeMar
Middleton and
Levine.
Giannis, bro.
DeMar and Levine have been bugging this season. A combined 53 or whatever it is crazy. Giannis is the best player by far, but then it's Levine, DeMar, and then Middleton. And that's no disrespect to Middleton.
Yo, yeah.
Bro,
Yeah,
DeMar and Levine have been great this
They've
year.
been good.
I agree.
I'm not-
I think a team
Come
would
playoff time, though.
I think a
That's what I'm
team
worried
in
about.
the playoffs would much rather want to face Levine and DeMar than
Duh.
face
Of
Giannis.
course.
I agree. I agree.
That's fair.
Without a doubt.
That's fair.
And the
That's
fact,
fair.
listen,
That's what I'm alluding
all
to.
I'm saying is-
I even gave the
all-
Bulls 6 to 7 games. I said they would be a good opponent. You acting like I flat out said we was
But
going
all
to
I'm
sweep
saying,
y'all.
he's trying. All I'm saying is from a person, from just if we look at the Bucks, we put their roster, we put the Nets roster, we put our roster. There's no way you can sit there and say, okay, the Bulls roster can't match up with the Bucks. We have guys that
What's
can
the
stop.
tier, though?
We have guys that can stop Middleton the same way they have guys that can stop us. We have guys that
Okay,
can
I
match
agree.
up with
I
Middleton.
get what you're saying.
But your team, you have nobody,
Nah, I
and I
can't
mean
disagree.
absolutely
Yo, that's
nobody
crazy,
that
bro.
can
We gonna
stop
see come
Giannis.
Yo,
or that
we
can
gonna
stop
see.
our
We
team.
gonna see come playoff time.
What you
I
gonna do,
can't
bro?
wait come
I agree.
playoff
What you gonna
time.
throw Bruce Brown on him for the whole game?
I hope we play out, bro. Because you
you-
better hope DeMar
Well,
DeRozan
I
don't
think-
freeze in the playoffs, bro. I'm
I
telling
think
you
what
right
JC
now.
freeze, I'm sick.
telling you
I
right
think
now.
what JC is saying is that, look, the Nets, that's his team. He's saying, look, KD by himself with an injured Harden took the Bucks to 7.
That's fair.
You
A
telling me?
tight
You telling
Milwaukee,
me?
though.
So JC saying you telling
what?
me with
tight
KD and a
Milwaukee
healthy
as in like
Harden this
a
time, we're not
nervous-
being
And this is
Chicago?
my
I
rebuttal
don't
to that.
know.
This
Milwaukee was
is
nice.
this
They
is
had
my
their
rebuttal to
victory.
that. The same way how he said KD with an injured team took the Bucks to 7, which I agree. He performed admirably. But you have told me, you have alluded
Wait,
to.
KD's one of the best
No,
postseason
listen,
performers of all
I'm
time,
not-
too.
See, we know
Oh,
KD's
I
amazing. We
bet.
know KD's amazing.
What's
But-
DeMar and Zach's track record in the playoffs, though?
You just said,
Wait,
can I-
no, but what's
can
their
I-
track
can I
record,
talk?
though?
Can I talk?
But what's
Can I-
their track
can I talk? Can I
record,
talk?
though?
I'll tell you what, I
What's their
agree,
track record?
I agree with that, though. You got to rely on Harden. KD
talk?
can't do it by himself.
Oh, that's fine. Harden's
The
going to
same
give
way-
you
the same
22,
way-
21
the
a
same way
game.
how you just said
But
KD
damn.
did his thing.
Stamps.
The Bucks
Stamps is gonna give you
offensively,
that.
and we know the Bucks offensively in the playoffs weren't that great. They weren't an elite offensive team. I think we can be an elite offensive team because we have those type of guys. That's what I'm saying. So the same way how they said we have no answer for KD, nobody does. But you guys didn't have an answer for Giannis, and you guys don't have an answer for our team anyways.
The Heat
I think
low-key
we got.
don't.
I
The Heat
think.
low-key are the only ones that have the
I think
answer.
for this,
You don't have an answer for nobody on our
this,
team.
I think we have to wait till the trade deadline to see the moves and everything made and see a
That's
final
fair.
team
That's fair.
come up.
That's
Like
fair.
right
I mean,
now, we're two.
that's
Like
fair.
y'all,
That's
we're
fair.
0-2 against you guys.
I
That's
mean, if you
fine.
get Kyrie, it's over.
I think it's a completely different game in the playoffs. And I just DeMar DeRozan, his
But if we-
playoff
if we go
struggles.
off last year-
Zach LaVine has Zach LaVine ever made the playoffs?
Nah, he hasn't. He hasn't.
It's gonna be a new environment for a lot of guys, and it's
get
like
it. I
playoff
mean,
basketball is different, bro.
Nah, I definitely get it, but
And
you
we got
can't-
somebody who you think's the
can't-
best
listen,
player. And
you
yo,
can't-
don't you think James Harden's better than Zach and DeMar?
Does James Harden?
Alright,
But
bro.
you just
We
said
gonna see.
but you just
We
said
gonna
playoff atmosphere. Joe Harris sucks in the
We gonna
playoffs.
see.
We just saw
He might
last
not be
year.
on a team.
Joe
He
Harris
might not be
was
on a team
Hold
come
Joe
playoff
Harris was
time.
garbage
He might
last
not
year.
be in a team come playoff time.
Harden was
though.
on a
He could be
hamstring. We
traded.
know Harden was on a hamstring. We know, but he wasn't good in that Bucks series when he played. But
He was hurt.
He was hurt. We agree.
He was
But he doesn't
OD
look good right now. So
He was
stop
OD.
talking that
What are you talking about? He's averaging
And then we-
22 and 10. Like he's not
He's-
looking
but
like
he's been
James
good,
Harden, but he's not whack.
So if he's not
an
looking like-
all-star.
Let me ask you a question.
He's
Answer
an all-star.
this with no bias, and you can answer this too. Who's been better this year? Just this year, DeMar DeRozan or James Harden? Answer
DeMar.
that. Answer
DeMar.
that right now.
I'm gonna use
And
your
don't lie.
argument. It's been 25
answer
games.
That,
Fine.
Answer
Yeah,
that.
DeMar,
You answer
DeMar.
that too.
I'll be
Come on,
honest,
man.
it's pretty even.
Oh yeah, I'm out.
Even I don't know.
DeMar's
You
having
wanna
a
know-
better
you
year.
wanna know
DeMar's
why-
having a
you wanna
better
know
year.
why it's-
You're forgetting
you
the
wanna know why
assist
it's
factors
even?
and everything. That James Harden faces the most double teams in NBA.
Bro, it's
James Harden's
even.
about to lead the league
But
in
how is he
assists.
getting double team when KD's
Bro,
on the
look at the
court?
stats.
No,
You
no,
have
no,
the
no.
computer right there.
When
He's
K-
facing
when-
the
when Harden's on the court without
Even.
KD, the
Okay,
spacing
yes,
is
of course,
atrocious.
of course.
Bro, this is why.
I'm just saying you could have said the same. We said the same thing about D Book not making the playoffs or not doing anything, and then we seen it. That's what I'm saying. I was one of those advocates. I was one of those advocates. No, you said you just
I
said
wanna see it.
You just
If
said
he-
playoffs
if-
to get shaky. We've seen
I
those
wanna
type of
see
guys,
it.
and then they just
I think
show
Devin
up.
Booker's better than Zach. That was on my. That
Which
was.
one?
I had him second on the shooting
you had
guard.
Levine right behind
I had
him.
Donovan.
Zach is so efficient though. I don't know how. Like
I had
The reason
Donovan
why I
and-
think
and
Harden and
Book.
DeMar are right now are playing at the same level is because let me just say this. We know DeMar is higher on the MVP voting list or the ladder, the MVP ladder. That's because DeMar is playing so much better than he usually played that we're like, wow, DeMar's having this crazy season.
Done this before.
If Harden has a season DeMar's having right now, it's
Regular.
normal for Harden. Right now, Harden isn't playing up to his standards,
Houston Harden.
but he's still averaging 22 and 10. He's been one of the better
Basically almost averaging a
facilitators
triple-double.
and shot creators playmakers
Whoa.
in the entire NBA.
DeMar has been one of the best scorers in the league. He's been one of the best
Bro,
fourth quarter scorers in the league.
we've
He's been
seen
one of
this.
the-
He's been the best.
He's been the
He's
best
been the
We've
fourth
best.
seen
quarter
this
scorer in the league.
before, though. We've seen this from DeMar. DeMar gave you
But the
27
thing
and
is,
melted
come
in the
on, it's
playoffs. We've
different right
seen
now,
it.
bro.
Playing
But we've
LeBron,
seen it, though.
we're talking
But
about
he's going to be playing Kevin Durant.
Okay, but
But
He's going to be playing Kevin Durant.
but have we seen
offensively,
but have we
playing
seen-
KD.
but have we seen this type of Harden?
I still think you got to wait to the end of the season to see how Harden plays, bro.
But answer that. Have we seen this type of Harden?
A double Harden, yeah.
No. I know what you know.
22 and
Have we
10
seen
type
this type?
Harden.
You know what I'm saying, bro. Have we seen this type of Harden, bro? You first of all, you've tweeted, you've texted me and said Harden is trash. You texted me and
I
said
say he's playing like trash.
Yeah,
He's playing like trash.
but you just said he's been playing fine.
I mean, that game he went 5 for 21.
Joel,
What
you
do you
looking at
want me to
Harden's
say?
numbers right now?
What do you want
He's
me to
shooting
say?
right now. Harden's shooting 40% from the field and 34% from three.
That's just not
They're
Harden.
just even. Like
That's
come
just
on,
not
I mean,
Harden.
I ain't say that. I said DeMar's been better this year.
Harden's averaging 21, 8, and 9. Well, 21, 8, and 10 basically.
DeMar's putting up a smooth 26, 6, and 5.
It's because
That's
the volume
We
that
gonna see, bro.
Harden's
We gonna
allowed
see come
to
playoff time.
use to get these
Can't
points.
wait.
Harden's really not been shooting much, bro.
What's his attempts?
I'm not sure what his attempts are, but he hasn't been shooting much. His games are like 7 for 14 games now. He's not taking 25.
I mean, last night
shots
he
a
had
game.
20 points, 8 rebounds, 11 assists. Got the job done. I feel like the scoring will get there. If you watch James Harden, he doesn't look like how he looked in the beginning of the season. He looks more spry. He looks better. I think it's just
couple days
I
ago
just
said
think-
He's averaging
trash.
15 attempts.
That's
Yeah,
nothing
that's
for
nothing.
Harden.
that's low
That's
for
nothing.
Harden. Yeah, so we'll
Yeah,
see.
he's,
I mean,
he's
2 days ago,
around
he was
19,
playing bad.
20.
Well, last season he was at 16. The season before that he was at 16.
Yeah, but you
17.
gotta look
Kyrie
at
was
it.
there.
You gotta look at his numbers without Kyrie. Without Kyrie, his field goal attempts jump up to 21 per
You know what?
game.
All right, I'll go to 2019. He was at basically 22. So yeah, it's a significant drop.
Yeah, he's not taking the same shots he's taking.
But this efficiency, man, is poop. It's bad.
Earlier in the show, Riv, you said that if you were redrafting the 2019 NBA draft, you would have taken Ja Morant 1 over Zion Williamson. Okay. The Memphis Grizzlies right now are winning without Ja Morant. They are 6-1. They went on a 5-game winning streak without Ja. And with Ja, they are 9-10 on the season. Desmond Bane's averaging 18, 5, and 2 when Morant doesn't play. Jaren Jackson's averaging 21, 5 with 2 blocks when Morant doesn't play. And Tyus Jones is up in his value, 9.7
OD.
assists per game, playing amazing defense. Do you think the Grizzlies playing this well is because Ja Morant has been out?
Just wanted to quickly say this. DeMar's at 19 field goals attempts a game. So
Okay.
whoopsie-doo.
Uh-huh.
And he's averaging
26.
4
What's
more
his
points,
efficiency
bro.
though?
It was clean. I should have.
I'll look. Okay, I got you.
I got it right here.
All right.
49, 33, 88.
He's shooting 5%. 88 from the free throw?
Yes, clean. Anyways,
It's Harden's free throw rate.
All right, talk to me about the Grizzlies.
I think fans in total like to do this when a team goes on a little streak. They like to make it seem like the team is much better without their player. I think Desmond Bane's little streak, I think it's been nice. You know, they needed him to step up at this moment without Ja Morant. Same thing for Jaren Jackson Jr. I don't think Ja Morant holds these guys back. I think they play better with Ja Morant. I just think when your best player goes out, your other guys have to step up. You know, we've seen it with the Clippers when Kawhi goes out, Reggie Jackson, Marcus Morris, Zubac, Luke Kennard, they have to step up. We've seen it when Harden goes out, Pat Bev, and KD goes out, Kyrie goes out, Pat Bev or Joe Harris. These boys got to step up.
Professionals are
It's
professionals.
just you have to step up at that moment to, uplift your team. You still got to win games. The NBA don't stop for nobody. Now, do I think Jaren Jackson needs to continue this pace when Ja Morant comes back? Yes. I feel like when Ja Morant is there, he's not as aggressive. I think they rely a lot on Ja Morant serving up the plate for these boys, and then they just eat. I think they need to start serving up their own plates. I think Jaren Jackson needs to get in his own bag. But I think a lot of it is he's been hurt a lot, and I think the consistency hasn't been there. I think he hasn't really fully become consistent with his role. Now, with his role being more fulfilled, I think he could come back because I think me and Joel probably was on the same page. We expect Jaren Jackson to be that number 2 guy, like him and Ja to be those superstar type players, especially defensively for Jaren Jackson. We think he can be that guy. And for Desmond Bane, to uplift his scoring, I think that's just you got to keep doing. Yeah, you got to keep doing that because I think when a guy goes out, you got to play like that. But I think Ja Morant, him being out was the best case for them because I think now these guys have gained more confidence. Like, yo, we can still play like this with Ja coming back. We can do this. But now with Ja coming back, everybody's going to play better. And I think that just makes this team better.
Desmond Bane's been having more ball handling responsibility on this win streak.
I think that's going to credit him for more. So now when Ja's there, he doesn't have to always have the ball.
You told me he couldn't dribble.
Yeah, we
that was my source.
We was just talking about it. Yeah.
I said, hey, someone told me that you said Desmond Bane can't handle the ball. I'm not going to reveal my source.
Nah, ball handling was very, very suspect. Very suspect. But,
In the summer league, I saw he improved on that.
A little bit. Summer league is just fraud. Playing a bunch of college players.
I'm basically around the same lines as Riv. But more so not just them being professionals and them having to step up when their number's called, but more so as if this is a young squad. And Jaren Jackson, he had I wouldn't say his development hindered, but to a degree, obviously, injuries hindered his development. But then Ja Morant came to the scene, and there goes a couple of touches. And by a couple, I mean a good amount of touches from Jaren Jackson's game. Because obviously, Ja Morant is the prime ball handler, the prime scorer of the squad. He's the best player on the team. Now we're seeing Ja go down, and we're seeing these younger guys get more opportunities and gain confidence. They're playing at a very high level. Right now, they have the highest defensive rating since Ja's been out. Now, these boys are just playing very together right now, and they're playing at a very high level because now they have this opportunity, and now they're starting to feel themselves. Now they're getting comfortable. And I wouldn't say that Ja brings them down. I would say that it's the opportunity's not there. And now that Ja's not there, now he sees that, I can trust Desmond Bane more than what I'm already trusting him to. Jaren Jackson can have the ball in his hand. I don't necessarily need to have it all the time. Dylan Brooks has just been consistently one of the best defenders, if not the best defender on their team, and he's still being consistent around that 15 to 17 points per game. Tyus Jones, I'm sorry. I know. I got Thaddeus Young's name in my head for some reason. But Tyus Jones, facilitating the basketball. I think he's averaging 7.3 since Ja has gone down. He's had to take more of a role in those games, We're seeing a lot of these guys get opportunity. Desmond Bane has been fantastic. Over these last 4, he's averaging 21, 5.5 rebounds a game, around 2 steals a game, shooting 47% from the field, 46% from 3, 100% from the line over these last 4. And on the season, he's shooting over 40% from 3, which is better than Levine, Mitchell, Tyler Hero, Trae Young, Buddy Hield, Jason Tatum, PG, Luka, Harden, and Dame. He's a sniper. And now I think once Ja comes back, he can utilize it in 2 ways. It's one, like I mentioned, he can trust these guys a little bit more. Or 2, Ja's one of the most athletic guards in the game. Let's see if he could start to become a more off-ball offensive player. See it open up a whole different variation of what we already know Ja can be. We'll see him cut to the basket a little bit more. Maybe play outside the perimeter and start running around, getting a little bit more open opportunities. There's guys that can handle the ball that are not Ja Morant and do it at a high level. So we're seeing this we've given the Grizzlies a bunch of credit for being one of the best drafters, one of the best player development teams there are in the league right now. We're seeing it in effect while their best player is out right now. So this is just a credit to the Grizzlies organization, and I think that Ja is going to greatly benefit from this when he comes back.
I'll tell you what, I believe that they can work together. Ja Morant's rookie season, Jaren Jackson Jr. averaged 18 and 5. I mean, he was having good production. But the thing is, he played 60 games that year. Last year, he only played 11 games. I think that him being out and that lack of chemistry being built last year with the new acquisitions on their team via the draft and free agency, I think that hindered them. I mean, if Jaren Jackson Jr. came for 11 games and then was expected to play high-intensity basketball with Ja Morant when they didn't have that chemistry all year, 11 games is not enough to gear up from an injury into the playoffs. So I think it's just them building chemistry. As far as Desmond Bane, I mean, he is what he is. He's an elite shooter. Last year, he shot 43% from the 3-point line as well. I don't think Ja Morant's absence has really changed his game. I just think he's hitting more. He's attempting more threes because of his absence. But I think this is what Desmond Bane is: a catch and shoot player, elite shooter. Like you said, all those players that you listed that that he's shooting better than right now. Desmond Bane is a sniper, but with Ja Morant's injury, obviously has came more opportunity. Jaren Jackson Jr.'s, I mean, these are like the last couple games he's played. He's had 25 points, 27 points, 26 points, 25. Since Ja Morant's injury, he's averaging 23 points per game with 2 blocks a game, shooting 41% from 3 and 51% from the field. My only thing is, I think that this season, once John Moran comes back from his injury, I think that this season has to be focused on the chemistry. We have to see Jaren Jackson play around this level so that this team can be taken seriously as a young contender in the Western Conference. I think if everybody's playing up to par, if Jaren Jackson Jr., John Moran can build that chemistry, that 1-2 punch, I think this is a team that we could see in the Western Conference maybe sneak into the second round. But it all depends on the chemistry. Last year they had 11 games. This year John Moran's hurt. They have to build that chemistry. And Jaren Jackson Jr., like we all said, he has to find a way to play with John Moran and complement his game because this is John Moran's team.
When you look at the games that the Grizzlies have been in since John Moran went out and the wins they have accumulated, it's not surprising. They face Sacramento, Toronto, OKC, Dallas, Miami, Dallas again, and the Lakers. Those are winnable games even for the Grizzlies without John Moran because Sacramento, we know what they are. They're trying to find themselves. Toronto was rebuilding. OKC, I mean, that was the worst game that's ever been played in basketball history. Dallas, they have not been too great of a team. Miami's dealing with a bunch of injuries, and the Lakers,
They suck.
Easy,
Those a lot of
easy.
that whole lineup was a lot of your teams. Kings, Lakers.
Talking about
You were high on the Kings. You like the Lakers, 65 wins and all that. Crazy.
65 wins. That's going to die real quick.
Ah, man.
They're already about to
Sorry.
be at 17 losses.
Damn.
I
That means it might be.
done, right? It's about to be.
Nah, I'm not at 17 losses right now. But I think the Grizzlies are going to
Being
be
smart
much
is
better
not
when
quiet.
John Morant comes back. Memphis has one of the deepest rosters in the entire NBA. Desmond Bane is a top 3 shooter in the NBA, I think, currently. If he's not top 3, he's definitely a top 5 shooter in the NBA. Dylan Brooks, that's what's making him expendable to an extent. Because of Desmond Bane's emergence, maybe Kyle Anderson goes. Because really, if you're going to play Desmond Bane at the 2 and Dylan Brooks at the 3, there's really nowhere for Anderson to fit if it's not on the bench. I said this to Riv before. Memphis is a Jaren Jackson Jr. breakout away from being a legit threat in the Western Conference. They have the depth. They have the pieces. They have the franchise point guard in Ja, who's playing at an insane level. If Jaren Jackson can be consistent, 20 and 5 every night, because rebounding numbers for him aren't going to be great because he's around the perimeter all the time. But that DPOY candidacy for him, if he can emerge to that type of player, the Memphis Grizzlies can be a legit threat in the Western Conference. Like, they're up there with Denver for me in terms of top young cores and futures in the West.
What's their ceiling? What we saying their ceiling is this year? We talking about
I
ceiling.
think second round is reasonable.
I
Second
think they
round?
can get second round, yeah.
Second round.
Yeah, Eastern.
Is there a chance they can sneak to the third?
I don't.
Western
You
Conference,
got to
that'd
beat
be
the
crazy.
Warriors or Suns or
Jazz.
Jazz.
I don't think they're there yet.
Or even the Lakers. I don't think they beat the Lakers.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, they don't beat the Lakers.
I wasn't even acknowledging you guys.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Lakers would beat Chicago.
We would beat y'all. Easy.
Easy.
Nah, I'm capping, but we would beat y'all.
How wouldn't you guys beat them? They have DeMar DeRozan. LeBron owns him.
His daddy.
That is very true.
Mm-hmm.
How
You
about
guys
you?
would get scraped.
What about Atlanta? You think you'd beat Atlanta?
Yeah, we beat
Or
them.
Trae Young owned you guys?
No, we beat them.
Oh.
We could beat them.
You got to get in. You got to get
wow.
in.
He said you got to get
Gotta get in, you know?
Wow.
Do you think Hawks can make ACF or no way, no how?
No.
I'm not going to say no
I
way,
saw
no
Miracle,
how.
yeah.
I agree.
Matchups.
Yeah. Matchups, true.
You know what I'm saying? Matchups.
If they face the Bulls, they can definitely get in.
Oh, okay.
Oh, my God.
Eh.
Why are you hitting on
I got the
all
Bulls.
of
I
a
think the
sudden?
Bulls are
Stop
better.
worrying about the guy who's trying to get in. Like, he's
Hey, that's
struggling.
me
to-
right now. That's me right now. So I got
Well, you have
Nah,
LeBron,
we'll be
so
all right.
you
We're going to
can-
be. Yo,
you can say
when
things
the
like
big
that.
three play, we're nice. When the
What's
big
your
three.
record?
What's the next
I
segment?
think we've only lost twice when the big three play.
That's cap.
I mean, LeBron's missed hella games.
We lost the Warriors.
We actually did lose to
Suns.
the,
Lost to the
Grizzlies.
Clippers.
To the
Suns.
Grizzlies.
That's 3 losses. No, you beat the Grizzlies.
No, we lost to the Grizzlies when the big
You
three
lost to
played.
the Clippers, too, and you lost to the Suns.
I actually wonder if we lost to OKC with the big three.
No, LeBron did not play. Tried to cap 2 losses.
I said 3 actually.
You got like 4.
Might be at 4. I think we might be at 4.
What do you think Memphis' ceiling is?
It really, it depends. Everything's like, because what if Memphis goes on a Atlanta run? You know what I'm saying? And just, I know we're saying there's
In
no
the
way.
West?
Yeah, I know they're saying there's no, we think, I know we're probably all going to say there's no way they could be Phoenix, Golden State, Utah or
They
the
can't.
Lakers. Yeah, and that's what I said. I know what we're gonna say, but I feel like we said that about Atlanta. There's no way they beat Philly. There's no way
They shouldn't
you know
have beat Philly.
Yeah, like and there's
Yeah,
that's
Philly
what. So I was
was
like,
rough.
what if they go on a magical run and make to WCF? You know what I'm saying? Money's not looking their way, but you know it can happen. But I think their ceiling probably is the second round. They could get lucky though.
I need to see them play great teams during this stretch of games that they're on right now. The way that they're playing right now, I want to see this against solid teams in the Western Conference before I could say that they could, by some miracle, make it to the Western Conference Finals. They have to see the Suns. They have to beat them. They have to see a team like Golden State, and they have to beat
They're
them.
not going to beat none of those teams, bro.
Or the Jazz.
The Jazz
not
are just
beating
one of the best regular season teams
the
there
Jazz
are.
just scraped them,
Yeah.
and they got better.
The game
I
they
don't know,
won,
bro.
It would be
Donovan didn't
so
even
tough
play.
for it to happen.
What if Jaren Jackson he comes crazy
Against Gobert.
Gobert got to come out there, man. I don't know. Jaren Jackson on the perimeter, man. You know, I don't
Come on,
know.
man, stop playing.
You
man.
being too nice right now,
Stop
bro.
playing.
I'm just saying. We said the same thing about Atlanta. I'm just saying it happens.
But do you think Atlanta's going back to the ECF?
It's not about going back. It's just
No,
about having that
no,
one.
no. We're not
So
talking about
question,
that
would
one.
you-
You think they're going back though?
You're saying Atlanta?
No.
I don't think so.
Fair.
But to stay on the Grizzlies, would you sit Steven Adams if you play the Jazz so they're forced to play a small ball? Because I feel like if you have Steven Adams out there, that's where Gobert is fine to play down low. You don't necessarily need him to play the perimeter against Jaren Jackson. Do you feel like you keep Steven Adams off the court so that way he's forced to come out?
And guard Jaren Jackson?
Yes.
Well, it depends on who's at the four.
Because then you have Dylan. I don't know if Dylan
if
Brooks
Kyle
is big
is
enough
playing
to
the
play.
four, I think they're fine with Gobert sitting.
How tall is Dylan Brooks?
6'7".
6'7". I don't know if he.
I
might
mean,
be
Ja
able
was
play
getting to the paint
four.
at will, so it didn't really matter.
Yeah.
He's going
Yeah,
crazy.
he's getting to the paint at will, so I don't think that really affects him. I don't know. Like Utah's, the top four teams are a problem for him. Like, what if there's a scenario where it's 1-8 and then 4-5 is like the Lakers or Utah? So now you might only have to see Phoenix, and maybe they can sneak one out. You know what I'm saying? They get to the second round, maybe they can sneak one against Phoenix. You know, it's like so many scenarios where they may only have to see one of those top heavy teams, and maybe they could pull out a win. I'm just saying anything is definitely possible for this team. You know?
Another team that's been on a hot streak in the Western Conference have been the Sacramento Kings. They have not been as great as Memphis, but since firing Luke Walton, they are 5-4. They're currently 11-15 in the West, the 10th seed, tie for 9th. Alvin Gentry is their interim head coach. So since firing Luke Walton, what do you think has been the change within Sacramento?
You need to go first. I really want to hear what you have to say, Mr. Kings.
It's all right. This is tough.
What did he say about the Kings that was so bad?
I just
I don't
said-
remember.
Yeah, no,
They're
I
gonna
just
be
said that.
his
they'd
No, we
be
were
a-
just. It was never like nothing bad. We were just
Sleeper.
on
They were a
opposite. Yeah, we were
sleeper
just
team.
on opposite ends of the spectrum with the
My
Kings.
two sleeper teams have just not been good.
Yeah.
So that's all that
The
comes
super
down
teams
to.
were the Kings and who
Kings and
else?
Pacers.
Oh.
Yeah. That being said, I feel like a little bit of difference that we're seeing De'Aaron Fox wake up. He kind of was cold to start the season, and now over these last couple of games, we're seeing him get into his bag, not average, but touch games where that he has 30 points, a couple of games in this stretch where he's played very well. But I feel like I'm not ready to say that they're really different yet. I feel like 5-4 is a modest record. Sure, it's better than the 6-11 start, but 5-4, like they went from being bad to average to slightly above. You know what I'm saying? At best. They have really good wins. Sometimes, they look very good, like against my Lakers and winning that game in triple overtime where they should have had no business even being in that game at all. They go from having no business to being in the game to winning. Then you have games like back-to-back nights against the Clippers. You mentioned, obviously, PG didn't play one of those games, but PG played one of those games, and the Clippers are a team that if PG plays, they should at least get one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
On back-to-back nights, those are very good W's, but then you have some tough ones. Last night, De'Aaron Fox has a chance to either send the game into overtime or to seal it on his own. Now, De'Aaron isn't the greatest free throw shooter. I think he's a career 72% free throw shooter, but this year he's up to 75. And if you want to get the respect of being that prime time up-and-coming, well, he's already up-and-coming, but if you want that respect of being a prime time ball player, you need to hit your free throws in the big moments.
I feel like as a guard, you should be able to hit free throws.
I feel like as
at
a
an
guard, you need to
efficient-
be at 80.
I think you should be at 85 and up. Like
Fair
as
enough.
a guard, you should definitely.
enough.
That should be like one of the main elite parts of your game, honestly.
And it's like you have this really bad loss to Charlotte where obviously, like I spoke, they could have easily won the game or at minimum gone to overtime, and then you lose to Memphis. Memphis, sure, they've been on a very hot streak recently, but you caught them at one of their earliest runs where Moran was not playing. That's a winnable game. I do like the fact that Marvin Bagley's starting to get a little bit more involved. We're seeing slowly but surely his minutes start to creep up. I think last game he touched over 25 minutes, and that was in a regulation time period. He had over 25 against the Lakers, but that's because they played 3 overtimes. So now we're starting to see him get incorporated a little bit more. I just think that we need to see more consistent play from not just De'Aaron Fox, because obviously De'Aaron Fox is what makes them go. We need to see Rashawn Holmes continue to keep it up. We need to see Buddy Hield's 3-point percentage creep back up. This team just needs to be more or just find something to orient themselves around. Either let it be offense where you're amazing at, or let it be defense. We know defensively it's not it. So you need to give in to one side or the other, because if not, you're going to continue to border around mediocrity.
So you touched on Marvin Bagley. When he plays 20 minutes, for the most part, he gets 10 points. You know, he had a double-double against the Hornets. He had a double-double against the Clippers. Like you said, against that Lakers game, he 5 for 5. He didn't miss. You know what I'm saying? Even in the overtime game, he played good. I think he hit some key shots in overtimes in the clutch. You know, so he's been getting – Luke Walton's gone. He's been getting some burn. He's been doing all right in the grand scheme of things in his presence. Luke Walton was a horrible coach. We know it. He sucked. It wasn't that good. Like you said, De'Aaron Fox woke up. And when De'Aaron Fox finally woke up, you could tell this team just started to play much, much better on the defensive end, on the offensive end. They just played with a little bit more energy. Davion Mitchell has been what he's been all year. He's been as advertised. He's that defensive lockdown. His scoring has looked a little better than what it was in college. I think with this Kings team, you just see a little bit more spark. You know what I'm saying? Like, Luke Walton is gone. It's like now we feel free. And when a young team like that feels free and they feel loose and you feel like we can go out there and we can make mistakes and we cannot get penalized for it, I think they just play so much better. And I think with the Kings, a new coach was needed. A new coach was very much advertised because people around the world think this team has talent. And you have De'Aaron Fox, you have Tyrese Halliburton, Marvin Bagley is he's still a good player. Buddy Hield is there, Davion Mitchell, Harrison Barnes. So now, like, what can this team do? You know, they're tied for 9th right now with Minnesota and the Trailblazers. So this team has a chance to make the play-in. And I feel like a play-in is a step in their direction of finally being a competent team. It's just, can they be consistent? You know, there's been times when they go in these streaks where they lose about 10, 12 straight games in a row, but then they go in these streaks where they win about 8, 9 in a row. So it's about the consistency. Alvin Gentry, I don't think he's a bad coach.
He's solid.
You know, he's like all right.
I think he was preemptively fired from New Orleans. I think that wasn't.
They built it. They just let it tear down and then blame Gentry. I think Gentry is an all right coach, but I think this team just plays with way more energy. And like you said, Fox waking up was the main key to that.
The things that I've noticed from the Kings, offensively, since Luke Walton's been gone, they've obviously gotten a lot better. They have posted games where they had 125 points, 141, albeit that was an overtime game, 124, 142, 123 points. You know, offensively, they are potent. They're number 4 in points per game, like I said, number 4 in paint points as well. So it's a team that likes to drive. And I have to see more from Sacramento, because this is still one of the worst defensive teams, and they're 5-4. It's not like, I mean, it's a step in the right direction, but it's not like they're like 8-2 since he's been fired. They're 5-4. We're what 25% of the season in? About to say, like, per se, right?
No, that's pretty close.
Like 25% of the season in, they're 5-4. For me to be a believer in them getting better, I would have to see more sustained success. 5-4, it's a good record. They're playing Cleveland right now. Last I checked, they were losing that game. I think they're gonna lose that game. I don't think they're better than Cleveland, but you know, I think it's just too much of a small sample size. I feel like they're having the same problems when Luke Walton was there with Alvin Gentry. I mean, they are scoring more points. They are a potent offense. They're a team that scores a lot of points, but they're a team that's horrible on defense. Number 29 in points allowed a game. Number 24 in opponent margin per points. They're terrible in the paint. They are the worst team at stopping the drive in the NBA. They allow 52 points in the paint. And then on top of that, they're 28th in rebounds. They're one of the worst rebounding teams as well. So this is the team that I have to see, I have to see more sustained success. 5-4 is good. They're 9th seed right now. Hopefully they can make the play-in tournament right now. But I mean, 5-4 is not enough to have me as a believer in the Sacramento Kings. I have to see more sustained success.
You want to say something, Joel? Or, just a quick note, actually.
How you gonna ask him in this?
No.
Nah, 'cause it looked like he wanted to say something.
Word. That is why. What's unfortunate to me is that my boy Rashawn Holmes has been really, really good this season.
He's not Jared Allen. though.
That is exactly what I was gonna say. Jared Allen has been listen. Rashawn Holmes has been dogging. I mean, his PR.
But
is
I'm saying,
23.
are you saying now it's not like
No, what I'm saying is unfortunate is that as Rashawn Holmes has been steady increasing as well, Jared Allen, same thing. They're just both on a upward trend, and I would have liked to see some kind of variation between the two.
You want to know what's the thing? Because if you guys don't know, me and Drew had an argument over who's better between Rashawn Holmes and Jared Allen. If you look at the numbers before this season, Holmes versus Allen, Holmes looks like he has better numbers. But when you actually watch Jared Allen play versus Rashawn Holmes,
easy. I don't like that.
You can see easily that Allen is better.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Rashawn Holmes has been arguably their best player. In terms of you take everything
over
into
Harrison
account.
Barnes.
Harrison Barnes,
Over De'Aaron Fox.
Fox.
You take everything into account.
Yeah,
This
come
guy
on,
defensively, offensively, again,
Come
he
on.
leads
Bro,
their team in PER.
He's not an elite offensive player. Defensive
I
player. I mean, he's not.
We're really
I
about
wouldn't-
to.
He's not. Not to the level of Jared Allen.
No, of course. That's what I'm
Or
saying. That's
Gobert.
where.
Chill. What the hell?
Obviously,
Like,
come on.
come
No,
on.
one- no
Jared
one's mentioning
Allen
him.
not even go.
No one's mentioning him.
Word.
But 14 points per game, almost 10 rebounds a game,
That's solid.
almost 1.5 blocks a game. Again, his PER is, I think,
You're telling me he's Martian Gortat?
I remember Martian.
He was actually good. He was good.
He's Nene.
Yeah, he was good for a time.
Nah,
There's nothing wrong with those.
Nene's good.
Yeah, it was nothing.
They was good, though.
There's nothing wrong with those guys.
no, I know.
Oh, because you're about to.
No,
I
I'm
feel
just
like you're
thinking.
about to.
No,
like,
I'm thinking about it.
He's definitely Marcin Gortat.
What was Andrew Bogut's averages?
He's
at
not
his
Andrew
best?
Bogut.
No, you think Andrew Bogut's better than him?
Defensively,
Offensively, he's better. Defensively, he's
saying.
not
Defensively,
close.
Okay.
Bogut was amazing.
Yeah, defensively he does have
He
it.
carried Curry to the championship.
Oh my gosh.
When he
Here
got
we
hurt,
go.
that did change everything, though.
Yeah, but come on, they wanted shit.
I know.
God.
I'm just saying. Like, I'm just.
This guy.
Jared Allen's been going crazy.
He has
bro.
been. He has been.
He's
He has
I
been.
told you he was good a while ago.
No one's
Jared
doubted that he
Allen's
was
good.
nice.
He's
I
a good
definitely
center.
knew Jared Allen was nice, but Rashawn Holmes is mad good, in my opinion.
Mad good.
I
Huh?
feel like
do-
I feel like
Let me
Rashawn
have it.
Holmes.
I got
is,
you.
Thank you.
I feel like Rashawn Holmes is like a whatever player. Like I don't really. Like
Whatever player. Are you serious?
I just think he's like.
If you had Rashawn Holmes on your team,
Oh my
I don't
God.
want thanking the good Lord.
I would want other center. I'm not saying he's whack. He's a good player, but he's like a whatever. He's like a guy
He's
that like
not
I
whatever.
don't like.
Give me another whatever player so I understand what you're
Who would
saying.
you want? Who would you want? Rashawn Holmes or JaVale McGee?
I feel like honestly,
I was gonna say JaVale.
You saw JaVale McGee last night. He was bugging
I was
last
gonna say
night. He was
JaVale.
hitting threes.
For
getting
my
to
team,
the rim.
for my team, I would want JaVale.
Defensively,
For my team.
just defensively,
team.
yeah, I would take JaVale.
Y'all are coming crazy right now.
But nah, Rashawn
Dude is
Holmes.
6'9".
Rashawn Holmes is not whack though. He's just like a
It
player.
was a
that's like
6'9"
whatever.
big.
JaVale McGee.
JaVale tough.
I mean, I already told you JaVale's numbers compared to Aiton's.
I'll take Valanciunas over him
Easily.
easily, bro. Why you just
Easily.
doing this?
No, I'm saying like.
Easily.
So that's, yeah.
Nah, but
You think the Kings should trade De'Aaron Fox and let Tyrese run the one? Because I know that's a debate out there.
Depends
And
on where.
The Knicks are one of the destinations, trading RJ to
I feel
Sacramento.
like them saying Sabonis is a whatever player is way more disrespectful than me
That's
saying
actually-
Rashawn
no,
Holmes
for
is
sure.
a
That's
whatever
actually a
player.
good deal.
For sure.
Fox for
Maybe why.
RJ, and then RJ goes to the Kings. You gotta give up some picks though.
Wait, Fox where?
Fox to go to the Knicks.
You want
For RJ?
Fox?
They
Fox
need.
is nice.
They need Fox.
Are you off that Fox is better than John Morant? Because I
You have
am.
to be.
I
I'm
never said Fox is better than Ja.
You sure?
Nah.
You sure?
Are you sure?
Are you positive?
I
you
remember
bro.
vividly.
I was the only person that said Ja,
I
bro.
agreed with him though, because I thought
Yeah,
Fox
I was the only
last
person
year,
that
I
said
thought
Ja.
I
Fox was
I
better.
might have said Fox was better, but I think what I really said
Uh-huh.
was that you told me that Ja and Fox weren't on the same tier.
last
They're not.
year.
And you
last year.
told me that Fox couldn't do what Ja did with Memphis.
I believed it. I
Last
still
year.
I
believe
do
it.
agree that. I do agree with that.
I believed it. Whether it was like I believe it, and I still believe it. Like it was
Fox put up 25 last year, right?
It's like when you look at, like you said, when you look at both of them play,
Yo, Fox
there's
is
no
nice,
way
though.
you
No,
think
Fox
Fox,
can score.
Fox
is
is
on
Fox
level with
can
Ja. I think
score.
Ja's on a different tier, and now he's just blooving me
He's
right.
taking- He's
He's just-
blown
Fox
it.
is averaging 24 still.
That's
Is he
cool.
No, he's averaging 21.
Let me see.
He's averaging 21. I was just looking. He's averaging 21.
Sorry, over the streak.
Yeah.
Over without
That's what I'm
without
saying.
Walton.
Yes, correct.
Without
No,
Walton.
like I said, he's been turning it on, and that's one of the main reasons why the Kings have been playing better. He was cold. Harrison Barnes was their leading scorer for a good portion of the season.
He was mid.
You said he was one of the most overrated players in the league. You're wild.
I believe so. I believe
Fox is overrated.
I believe we put him on this pedestal and he ain't really do shit.
Bro, he's in year
What pedestal?
4? What is he in 4?
Wait, what
like that.
pedestal?
Yeah, year 4.
I've never heard anybody say he's top 5 anything.
I feel like we put him on this all-star type pedestal.
He's on that
That he could
trajectory.
be an all-star?
No, like he is, and it's
Like
like
stamped all-star?
yeah.
I mean, not in the West,
Listen, I'm
though.
not saying he's Devin Booker, but I'm saying you felt the exact same way about Devin Booker. How about we give him time?
That's fair.
He's kind of going through the same thing D-Book was going through, too. Playing on you.
I mean, not
people
bad,
love to say that.
Damn, bro.
But
Drew
you
just
can't.
laid the law.
But you can't tell me they're talented and they can make the playoffs and then they don't make the playoffs and you tell me they're not good. You can't do that.
I didn't say they're not
They're in
good.
the plan.
No, I'm
right
saying,
now.
Jen, you just told me we have to wait and see and give it time. Devin Booker, at least with his situation, the team sucked.
Fair.
You have told me
I
that
do
the Kings
think they
are
have
good
good
enough.
talent.
So you
I do
can't
think
keep
they have
telling
good
me that.
talent. Okay.
And
Yeah,
then
they-
Fox is
they-
supposed
yeah,
to be
the
that
Suns-
guy.
the Suns were
and they're
worse.
not, you know what I'm saying? You can't
All
keep
right.
telling me that.
Fair enough.
Eventually something's got
Fair
to
enough.
give.
But at least he still has his team in contention to be in the
They're
playoffs.
ninth
The
right
Suns
now.
weren't even in the playoffs. They're still in
tied for
contention,
ninth.
though. But I'm just saying they're still in contention.
We'll see at the end of the year because they don't make it, and you told me they can. What we doing
All
here?
right, fine.
This next topic we're about to talk about is really intriguing for me. I want to actually
Oh, boy.
hear what you guys are gonna say. Anthony Davis hasn't gotten off to the best start this season. Many people are speculating over why he's been struggling so much, even though he's still averaging great numbers, 24 and 10. But people are still nitpicking at things. He doesn't look the same, all this and all that. And the numbers do compare the eye test because a lot of his defensive numbers are down. And Anthony Davis said he has nothing left to prove. Drew, you sent it in the chat. I don't know when did Davis say that? How recent
It was an
was
article. It was I want to say it was like a couple days ago, 3-4 days ago.
that? He has nothing left to prove. Riv, you're not a big fan of Anthony Davis.
That's actually
Is he?
Nah, you're not a big
Oh
No,
my
look,
God,
look,
You
man.
used to be a big
Yeah, that's what I
fan.
was about to say. I used to
then
actually
he
be.
went to the
Remember,
Lakers.
I used to like Giannis. You
I used
like
to be
AD.
a like real AD stan guy. Like
Yeah, he
Okay,
used
but
to
you're
love
not
AD.
right now.
no, and this is why.
Does Anthony Davis still have a lot left to prove?
I'm surprised I'm
Yeah.
not going first, but
No,
go
you
ahead.
shouldn't go first. But this is
Even
why
though
I'm
he's my
not. This is
guy.
this is why I'm not a fan because of stuff like this. Anthony Davis, you screamed out the numbers. You felt like he's been playing at a great level. I feel like the eye test don't match the numbers. I feel like when you watch AD play, we put superstars at this level, and from you have both told me that Anthony Davis, you have screamed on this air live and said Anthony Davis is the top 2 player in the NBA. You said that after you won the chip.
After the 2020
Yeah,
season,
look,
yes,
you said,
I
I'm
did.
gonna add
After the one
context to everything.
championship,
You're
I'm
acting
yes.
gonna,
like
wait,
that's
wait,
not
wait.
fair.
I'm gonna context everything. Trust me.
All
I'm
right,
gonna make
all
sure
right,
I
all
give
right.
all you guys context. You said after he won the chip, he had his amazing run in the bubble. You said
hate
that AD is a top 2 player in the NBA after LeBron James. Okay, so you put him on that pedestal. He comes into the next year, plays like garbage. To Anthony's standards, he plays like garbage.
21 was
Yeah, to another guy that's probably elite numbers, to Anthony Davis, because now you put him on
It's
this
mid.
pedestal
Yeah.
that he's a top 2 player. I believe he was a top 7 player in the NBA. I believe that at that moment he was a top 7 player in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
He plays like garbage. They get bounced out in the first round to Phoenix.
But
You-
talk about what he did.
We know when he played, he was phenomenal when he played, but he didn't play. Now he comes into this year. He's been good to great. He has his moments. His shooting numbers hasn't been great. For all we know, Anthony Davis, the reason why he's been viewed as this elite player is because his ability to stretch out into the
Agreed.
perimeter and take you in the post. His shooting numbers haven't been good. We've put him on this pedestal with the Stephs of the world, with the LeBrons of the world, with the Kevin Durant's of the world. We've put him on this level that he should be on. I feel like there's been moments where people have said, not you guys, there's been moments where people have said, this man is better than Tim Duncan.
Yes.
People have said, this man is better than Tim Duncan.
Yes, I've heard
Okay,
it. I've seen
so
it.
if we put him on this pedestal, there shouldn't be moments, and this man has never won an MVP in his life. This man has never won a Defensive Player of the Year in his life. This man has been, Giannis and him have been neck and neck for the best power forward in the league. Giannis has year after year cemented himself and separated himself from Anthony Davis year after year, after year. MVP, DPOY, year after year. He has cemented himself. He has separated himself championship from being the best big man in the league at the power forward position. Anthony Davis has, since that championship run, felt like he's earned enough. He's felt like he doesn't have to work as hard as he should have. But I feel like you just reached your prime. You're 28 years old. You are in that ascension of those guys that should take over the league when LeBron, Harden, Steph leave, Kevin Durant leave. You are the next group of guys that should be taking over the league. And you haven't taken that crown. LeBron shouldn't be at age 37, whatever he is, leading the team in scoring. He shouldn't be. You should be the number one guy. This is supposed to be your team. LeBron said it. This is going to be Anthony Davis' team. This should have been his team last year. Granted, he got hurt. This year, this should be his team. But he just looks like he doesn't have that drive. He doesn't have that motivation like Giannis has, or even just any type of star in the league, that motivation like these top guys in the league to want to get better. There's no way you can say, I've won everything. I don't have nothing else to prove. You have a lot to prove. Yeah, you won that chip, but you still have more to prove. You still have to prove that you're one of the best guys in the game. You still have to prove that you consistently can do this on a given night. You still have to prove that you're an MVP in this league. You still have to prove that we've been hearing all about it. And I know you're an elite defensive player. Okay, go show me. Go out there and win a defensive player of the year. Giannis done it. Gobert's done it. Go show us why you're one of the best defensive players of the year. You have the ability to do it. You're versatile. You can block shots. You have the ability to do it. Go show us something. You are viewed as one of the most talented bigs in NBA history. We all view you as that. So now go out and show us why you're one of the most talented bigs. Go out and show us why we can put you over guys like Charles Barkley because of your talent, KG and them guys, why you should be in that conversation. That's why it's honestly disgusting that he can say something like that at 28 years old when you only have one ring. Like, there's so much left to prove in this NBA, especially when you're playing in a building that Shaq, Kobe, Magic, Kareem, James, like these guys, Wilt Chamberlain, Jerry West, these guys have built and these guys have put banners in that ring, and you have the nerve to say that playing in that arena. I think that's just completely disrespectful to the Lakers organization, in my opinion. Boy's weak.
All right, so before I go into my Anthony Davis tangent, let me just say the year in, year out, Giannis is proving that he's better than Anthony Davis. I completely disagree with the year in, year out, because it wasn't until last season where he was the guy and got it done and won a championship that people unanimously said that he's better than Anthony Davis. Because prior to that, in the playoffs, Giannis met a brick wall every single year. And Anthony Davis, the first time he had that chance to win a championship, he did. So that whole year in, year out, proving he's better than Anthony Davis, I backtrack on. I definitely don't agree with that sentiment. That being said, in terms of
Caught you.
In terms of
I was
him,
gonna rebuttal, but I don't want to let him.
No, but go ahead.
No,
because I haven't gotten to my main point.
Do your thing, bro. It gets to your main.
All right, here we go. In terms of him having nothing left to prove, me as a fan of his, I hate that. Because there's certain players that are allowed to say things like that. And those are ones that have gotten to a point in their career where they're towards the tail end, or, they're coming to an end. I'm cool with a guy like KD saying that. I don't want to say LeBron because that's obvious. Steph Curry, I'm okay with. Anthony Davis, like you mentioned, is just entering the prime of his career. Look at 28 years old and the history of that. Steph Curry, MVP. Russell Westbrook, MVP. James Harden, MVP. Anthony Davis, like you mentioned, is supposed to be in this top 5 class. And you're 100% right. After that 2020 season, it could have been debated he was the number 2 player in the NBA. But in terms of having something to prove, at this point in time, 8-time All-Star, 4-time All-NBA, 3-time block champ, 2020 NBA champion, 2012, 2013 All-Rookie, 4-time All-Defense, made the 75th anniversary NBA team, has an All-Star Game MVP. He has the accolades. So I understand what he means in that sense. He has nothing left to prove. Like, he's this great all-world basketball player. Yes. But I don't like it because you are a type of ball player that people look at and expect you to be among the greats of the game. You're not a regular ball player in the NBA where you're trying to scratch the surface and get your name put out there and you want people to respect your game. You're beyond that. He surpassed that years ago. I think Anthony Davis needs to understand that his name is at a higher pedestal than a bunch of other guys. And I understand that he's not doing what Anthony Davis has done in the past, but that's solely because his shooting hasn't been there. This is the lowest percentage he's had from three-point since his third year in the league, and that year he didn't even average a full attempt. So this has been probably his worst shooting year, and it's not probable. It's the most definite. This is his worst performance. I think he's at 18% from three-point percentage. You compare that to that first year in LA where he was shooting 33%, and he was taking around 3 attempts a game. It's night and day. That's the reason why we're not seeing AD or having AD praised as much as he should be, because he's averaging 24 on 18% from three. Even still, with all this, has the 8th highest PER in the league, 17th in defensive rating, and people are giving him crap for not being the same defensive player. He's still a top 20 defensive player. I understand that's not the top 5 defensive player that we're accustomed to, but he's had to take on a load much more than what he was expecting going into the season, given the fact that LeBron's been in and out of the lineup.
Okay, first of all, you talk about the load. When Anthony Davis won a ring, what was his load?
It depends. Series to series, I would say that Nuggets series was his. That he had to take the most responsibility for us to win that series to move on to the championship.
Since Giannis has reached MVP status, has his load not been bigger than Anthony Davis since Anthony Davis walked into LA?
I agree with that.
So how can you sit there and make an excuse on how his load when Giannis has consistently I don't want to say carried, but has consistently put this Bucks team on top of the league in terms of defense and offense, has consistently kept them as a number 1 or number 2 seed without a top 15 player. Like, I think we all don't think Chris Middleton's top 15. Maybe he might not even be top 20. I mean, I don't know where
he's on that cusp of 20.
Yeah, so without a top 15, top 20 fact player, he's been doing this with not a consistent superstar like LeBron James.
I understand.
So I think you're just making excuses for the fact that AD should be where Giannis is right now. Like he should be. He should be on that type of tier.
What I'll say to this is Giannis is a better athlete more physically than Anthony Davis is.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm saying. In terms of physical attributes, Giannis has that over Anthony Davis. He has the stamina over Anthony Davis. His body can withstand being that brute force down low. Anthony Davis, if he was hitting his threes, this isn't a conversation of whether Anthony Davis is regressing or not. He's just not hitting right now. This is the worst he's shot in his career. If he was hitting at 25%, he's averaging 28, his normal. So I understand, yes, his shooting is bad and his defense is down, but at this point, he is not physically who Giannis is. I agree with you. Giannis is better than Anthony Davis. I would be arrogant, ignorant to not understand that at this point in time. That being said, physically, Anthony Davis just doesn't have what it takes to be that bump and grind bruiser type ball player, and it's unfortunate.
What does that mean to me? What does that mean? He's more skilled
because
than Giannis.
If we're only comparing, he is more skilled than Giannis, and yes, but the only reason why we're not seeing that hold on, let me finish. The only reason we're not seeing that at full capacity right now is because he's not hitting. If he was hitting, this isn't a conversation.
I think this all stemmed from Drew saying he doesn't agree with your assessment that Giannis has been better than AD year in and year out. After the Lakers won the championship in the bubble, was it not universal thing thinking that AD was better than Giannis?
No.
It was pretty big amount of people saying AD is better than Giannis.
I heard it.
I heard it, but okay, you're saying when walking into the next season after that ring.
Yeah, I think that put AD over Giannis for that year.
But before that ring, people had Giannis over AD. Okay. That's where I'm going. There was only a point in Giannis's little run he had where people thought AD was better, and that was the bubble, the ring, the bubble. Then the next season happened. People put Giannis back over AD. There was never a big moment. There was never a full-length year where people thought, no, AD's better than Giannis. And during Giannis's, like, when he was at the peak of his powers.
That 2020 season, Anthony Davis was phenomenal. Averaged
yes, but there was people still
defensive
who put
player of the year
conversation.
Giannis
won it. Giannis won
I
it
understand that.
in the MVP.
I understand that.
That's what I'm
He
saying.
had a
Like
great year.
the way you're saying he was in the conversation
Because
Giannis
LeBron was
won
on
it.
his team. That's why he didn't ultimately
win
get those
DPOY?
awards. No, MVP or Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah,
Giannis
I mean, but
is the main guy. That's why he
that's
gets
why I
all the
think
love.
like the bubble was when.
But I'm saying at that time though,
at the bubble, AD was better. Everybody
That's-
considered AD,
that's
but that
it.
was it. Like after that,
but year in year out though, and that was what 2 years ago.
well, last year Giannis
He
was
got
better.
hurt, and again, we saw what AD could do when he's at full capacity.
Yeah,
back to back 34. Back to back 34. We're up 2-1. He goes out.
okay.
Series changes.
That's fair.
So you think AD has more left to prove without a doubt? That's
listen,
where you stand on as
I
well.
do think so too. I mean, listen, you're not a regular player. You're a top 75 player in the eyes of the basketball media. And all of people that think that whoever took this list into account, they said Anthony Davis is a top 75 player all time. So in terms of you wanting to be up there with the greatest ever, you have something left to prove. You're 28 years old.
And where do you stand on this, JC?
I mean, as a fan, I feel like that's kind of a disrespectful statement to make. Albeit Anthony Davis is one of the most talented players in the NBA. We're talking about a guy who before this season could stretch the floor, could hit the mid-range, had a post game, could go out and guard opposing guards, could defend the rim. He could do it all. He could basically do what Giannis is doing now, but he was more skilled than Giannis. So with that being said, I mean, there was a point in time where Rivers right. I was looking across Twitter and there was people putting him in the same breath as Tim Duncan. Once you're in the same breath, or once people think you're as good as Tim Duncan, that's when all bets are off. Yep. You can't say anything like this. Last year, albeit he was injured last year, but even in the start of the season, he was only giving you 21 a game. Clear regression from last year. And I don't want to I don't want to say he was hurt. I don't want to say it was him mentally, but I felt like it was a combination of physically and mentally. He wasn't 100%. And then after winning the championship, right after the bubble to go into another season, I kind of give him some slack for that in a way. You know, he wasn't performing that well. But then up until this year, you look at Anthony Davis. We all looked at him as a floor spacer and everything. Across the line, from 3 to 10 feet, he's at 44%, which is the worst in his career. From 10 to 16, 32%, which is the worst from his career. From 16 feet to three-point range, he's at 41%, which is one of the worst of his career. And then at the three-point line, he's at 19%, which is abysmal. It's one of the worst in the NBA for his shot attempts per game that he takes. My only question to, I guess, Anthony Davis, obviously he's not going to see, but my only question to Anthony Davis
he's watching
as a player is, like, do you really want to cement yourself as a top 5 power forward? Because right now, players like Kevin Garnett, who were all around superstar players who gave it 100%, who are there in the accumulative stats and the defensive stats and everything, they're over you. I'm not going to give Anthony Davis that praise of being top 5 just because he's talented. You're 28 years old. You're in the prime of your career. We've seen you do it in the playoffs. Anthony Davis in that bubble run averaged about 27, 29 points per game.
He was amazing.
He hit a game winner against Denver. I feel like
he was the best player in that
I feel like he doesn't
series.
get enough credit for that. But I feel like since that time, I could be wrong, but just looking at him, I feel like he's mailed it in. And then those statements, furthermore, make it seem like he's mailed it in from this championship, like he doesn't want it. Like Riv said, LeBron's 37 years old. LeBron's averaging 26 points per game. This team looks better when LeBron's there. But you can only go so far with, I mean, we know how far LeBron can take you. But even LeBron said there was a point in time where I'm going to retire and this is going to be your team and you're going to have to carry it. And right now, he doesn't look like he's ready for that type of responsibility. Do I think he could carry a team? I mean, the numbers suggest that he can, but even in New Orleans, he was having success seasons where he was averaging 29 and 13 in a couple playoff berths, in a 6-seed upset over Portland that one year where he was amazing in that series. So we know Anthony Davis has his ability. It's just up to him if he can sustain that ability and sustain that greatness. So I guess my only question just in general is, Anthony Davis, do you really want to be a top 5 power forward, or are you content with how your career's gone right now? And if you're content with how your career's gone right now, bro, you're 28 years old. You still have a lot of time to prove and to add to your resume, which is already pretty impressive. People think you're a top 75 player, but in my opinion, he's going to have to do more to be in that top 5 power forward list for me. He's just going to have to do more. It's not going to be off talent. Anthony Davis has to continue to get better and just show that he belongs in those type of lists where people kind of see him in. I mean, I've seen him be compared to Tim Duncan. I think it's ridiculous. So Anthony Davis is 28 years old. He's still got time. Hopefully, he can change it around. He's a great talent, and I'm hoping he can turn his career around from what it's been right now. Like, it's been underwhelming, underwhelming for his standard, because he's that great of a player.
I just think as a great player,
it's just this season. It's this, and he's still averaging 24. And last year he was hurt, and when he was healthy, he was amazing.
Every guy, aside from the Luka and Embiid, probably for the most part, the top guys that he gets compared to, they have something. You know, an MVP, a DPOY, they have that magical season. Yeah, like Harden. The one knock on Harden, he doesn't have a ring. But in terms of with superstars and with players, you build up, you bulk up that individual life, and then you get the winning. Harden, for him, is just now that team win, that ring. His individuals, from an individual standpoint, he's cemented. He has nothing left to prove from an individual standpoint, but he has to get that ring. Mm-hmm. With LeBron, Curry, KD, they have nothing left to prove. You know what I'm saying? So it's like Giannis, he's individually, honestly, Giannis is more liable to say, I have nothing left to prove.
See, that
because he got that ring. He finished it off. You finished it off. You didn't assemble yourself.
Going hard.
And that's still going crazy. Feels like he has something left to prove.
He's 26.
So it's like, bro,
27, right?
Yeah, at one point,
Giannis is 27.
You got to take the challenge, man. You play for the Lakers.
I'm playing with LeBron. Man, I don't disagree with what you're saying too much in the sense of Giannis. If he were to say he has nothing left to prove, it would mean a little bit more than Anthony Davis, just for the fact that Giannis was the best player on his team, and he didn't even win Finals MVP. As great as he played, no doubt about it, he was fantastic.
Yeah, nobody's winning that over LeBron.
No, it's LeBron James. Yeah. And even still, a little bit of what you said, you didn't really say it openly, but I just feel like the general consensus is that Anthony Davis needs to be the best player for us to win a championship this season. I have said that he needs to be our best player, but the way that LeBron has been scoring, I feel as if it's not that essential for him to be the best player. But I think defensively, that's without question. He needs to be a 10 out of 10 on the defensive side of the ball, given the fact that our defense is whack. But in terms of Giannis and having nothing left to prove compared to AD, Giannis would never say that. Giannis is too humble, too dedicated, too respectful of the game, and even to himself, to say that he has nothing left to prove this early in his career. Giannis understands that where he's at right now, there has been a handful of guys in that position. Almost no one. I think Magic is the only one that was that young that won a championship that quickly with the resume that Giannis has.
Oh wait, sorry.
You understand? Like the DPO.
Tim Duncan.
Okay, that's another one. That is
Kareem did
correct.
it too.
Yeah, Kareem Bryant did it
but
too.
Think about the names that we're saying. These are all top 10 guys.
Legends.
So I understand that Giannis is at a different pace, and that's why Giannis is better than Anthony Davis right now. But I expected Anthony Davis to be a little bit more hungry. And
Giannis is at a different pace because he put in the work.
Correct.
AD didn't put. I don't think he put it. Well, I'm not going to knock him for the Pelicans because you know what I'm saying
he was still a great.
He was a great player. They did that to him, but I'm saying LA. You know, you got to put in the work. Giannis put in that work. You didn't expect Milwaukee to win. You know, you drop a couple luck, you get a couple talented guys, boom, championship. You know, it happens. Luck plays a part in a lot of championships. But Giannis put in that work individually to be one of the best players in the league. And I feel like AD just doesn't put in enough work in the offseason or on his spare time. We caught him playing the game and streaming and shooting at guys with Steph Curry jerseys. Talk about take that. Like, what's up with him? Like, he on some weird shit. But I just feel like he doesn't put in enough work as when these other guys, Steph at 33, still putting in that work. You know, Kevin Durant, he's in the gym. He doesn't even want to. He said he don't want to start a family because he's all about basketball right now. Guys like that, LeBron, he spends all that money on his body because LeBron really has nothing to prove, but he feel like he still has something to prove. Yeah, you still always have that. When you're a great player, you still, like MJ said it, you still always make up something in your head to keeps you going, to keeps you grinding, have that personal goal that keeps you pushing. Steph Curry has come out and said he feels like he has nothing left to prove, but he always has that personal goal that pushes him and keeps him going. And AD, I feel like kind of not like Ben Simmons, but kind of in that sense, kind of doesn't have that motivation and that drive because he just feels like
he won that championship and
he's talented. He doesn't he's talented, so whatever. Like he's gonna get his 20 and 10 off talent alone. But that cements the great players is that hard work. You know what I'm saying?
You look at Anthony Davis, the accolades are there. 8-time All-Star, 4-time All-NBA, 4-time All-Defensive Team, 3-time block champ, NBA champion. But like you said, he's missing that DPOY. Charles Barkley called him out on Inside the NBA on TNT. He told Anthony Davis he needs to be the one to play better, and he would hate for Frank Vogel to get fired because of AD's play.
Yep.
But you look at these numbers. Players are shooting 46.7% when defended by AD this season. That's 1.3% better than their usual field goal percentage. A career worst for him, and the first time in his career where players are shooting better when guarded by him. And among the top 5 shot contesters in the NBA, he is the only one allowing a positive field goal percentage difference.
You could just see it from the
So
eye
this
test.
this has been a different AD.
Yeah, you can see it from watching him play. He just doesn't look disengaged. And you mentioned he has the accolades to get into the Hall of Fame, but I feel like he just doesn't have those accolades to be considered put in that room with, KG, MVP, DPOY champion, Tim Duncan. We don't even got to speak about that. Karl Malone, he may not have the ring, but he's
OD.
He's different, back-to-back MVP. Not back-to-back, but he has 2 MVPs. Dirk, champion, MVP. Like, Giannis now walked into that room with everything. He doesn't have those to put, like, those MVPs and GP. Those are the separators from legends, like superstars and great players. You know what I'm saying? The difference between Paul George and the KDs, like those are the differences. You know what I'm saying? So he just has to get those. He's 28. He can still turn around. But Luka's coming. Trae Young's coming. Tatum is
Giannis
here.
is still here.
Like, Giannis is still here. These guys are coming. Luka, I feel like he's already better than AD. But these young guys are on their way. Jokic, he got an MVP. He could possibly get another one.
Zion's coming soon.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
like, these guys are on their way, and AD's letting the league pass him. The league don't stop for nobody. He got to continue to just put in that work.
JC, I want you to start off this topic because
What's it about?
it's about the Chicago Bulls. I think you should know what it's about.
Bulls.
They have been torn apart by this COVID dilemma right
7
now.
guys.
I mean, right now, Alex Caruso's playing power forward in the starting lineup for the Bulls. That's how bad COVID has hit them. Kobe White got it. DeRozan got it. Javonte Green got it. Derrick Jones Jr., Matt Thomas. You guys
Stanley
had
Johnson
to bring
got
on
it.
Stanley Johnson. You guys just brought him on.
Chicago got COVID.
Yeah.
The Bulls have a lot of people out right now currently because they're in league protocols. But when they were all healthy and playing together, this looked like one of the top teams in the East. Currently, they're the second best team in the Eastern Conference at 17-9 at the time of this recording. But what's their ceiling? Drew and Riv, you guys both have said you're picking them to make the Eastern Conference Finals. JC, you told Riv no way in hell they're going to get past Brooklyn.
Not even Brooklyn, Miami, or Milwaukee.
So in your opinion, what's the ceiling for the Bulls, and can they go to the conference championship?
All right, so maybe I was being a little too disrespectful to the Bulls. I mean, obviously, what they've been doing this season is really impressive. As far as them missing all their players, I mean, I think it could affect them in 2 ways. Maybe in the standings a little bit. You don't have DeMar DeRozan, who's been an MVP candidate. And then another thing, some players have lingering effects because of COVID. I mean, Jason Tatum last year didn't feel the same way. So hopefully that doesn't, mess with any player's health or long-term health. But, I mean, other than that, I think Chicago's a really good team. I like what they're building. I like the addition of Caruso and everything. They have good defenders across the board. I think their ceiling can be in Eastern Conference Finals. I think there could be a world where they might upset. I think they're more susceptible to upset a Brooklyn or a Miami rather than a Milwaukee. Just my opinion. But there is a world where they could get to the Eastern Conference Finals. But my ceiling for them, I mean, where I think they'll be is I think they'll be a competitive second-round team. I think anybody between Milwaukee, Miami, or Brooklyn, whoever plays them, they're gonna be in a dogfight with the Chicago Bulls because they are a very good team, and they are led by statistically the best 2-man punch in the NBA. Hopefully, this play transitions into the playoffs for DeMar DeRozan because we know he's had his shortcomings. Hopefully, Zach LaVine can perform great in his first postseason outing. That's gonna happen this year because they are gonna make it. But, I mean, other than that, I don't think this team's going to be any less than a second round team to an Eastern Conference team. I think that's where I have them at right now.
Can they beat the Nets?
I think the Nets beat them in 6 or 7. But that's how I feel about them.
Based off my team, I watched.
And I like using them in 2K.
I've watched almost every single game that we've played. And honestly, the only problem we have is we lack offense sometimes in a half-court set, and we struggle with bigs. Embiid, even Sabonis and Miles Turner, we struggled mightily with bigs. You know, Bam, we struggled with Bam a lot. But I just don't see a world where if we beat a team like Miami, it's considered an upset. I feel like we are on the same level as them. You know, I feel like we match up perfectly with them to an extent, especially from the guards perspective. I think
I agree.
we match up. Well, we have the guards that can defend them, and we have the wings that can. I think Milwaukee probably posed the most because Vucevic can't guard Giannis. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Pat will, if he comes back, he can't. They're just too imposing down low. But I think Brooklyn is a good matchup for us too. I just don't see a world where Miami is this universally so much better than us when I feel like we're a better offensive team than them, and we're probably not good on defense, but we're an elite defensive team ourselves. You know, we have Lonzo, we have Caruso. Zach is giving his effort on defense. Even DeMar, he's giving his effort on defense. Javonte Green is a really good defender. Like Derrick Jones Jr. is a really good defender. So I just like this world where we're not on the same level as Miami. I don't know. I don't really see it. You know what I'm saying?
What about Milwaukee though?
I think Milwaukee is better than us. I think Giannis is the main factor. He just separates them from us because we don't have any bigs. We don't have a backup big either. But I think we're right in that room with Brooklyn and Miami because we can match up with both teams. Honestly, I think, like you said, we do have to see Zach in a playoff environment. But the way he scores, you know, I just feel like it'll kind of like it's gonna shift seamlessly into the offense. And then they don't have anybody really to guard him because Jimmy can't guard everybody. You know what I'm saying? He can't. He's gonna have to either check DeMar.
How about
or
Oladipo
check
coming
Zach.
back?
That's a lot to ask of him.
It is a lot to ask of him, but like you said, new medicine. You know, this new day in the NBA. I'm not really. Oh, you don't need it no more. I'm not really worried. I just feel like Miami, we match. I think our ceiling is the Eastern Conference Final. I think we do have the talent. We have
That's
the personnel.
ceiling?
Yeah, I think our ceiling.
You can't be a championship. You can't go to the championship.
I don't think the first year it would be. I think we have to get that playoff. I think playoff chemistry is important. We have to get that in order. I think our team chemistry in the regular season, I think it's amazing. I think Lonzo, Caruso, Javonte Green has gelled. But I think, you know, next year is going to be a little bit better because if Zach comes back, we'll be more in tune. Pat will be back. But I think right now we're definitely an Eastern Conference team, and I think we're right in that room with Brooklyn and Miami.
I feel like the ceiling is going to the finals. I mean, it's definitely a possibility. I do think that Milwaukee is the one team I look at genuinely and think that's the number one team to beat. In terms of the Nets, I'm not sold on them defensively come playoff time, and offensively outside of KD, Harden you should be able to rely on, but we've seen what happens to Harden, when the lights shine the brightest. He has great moments for sure.
Oh boy.
But there's some moments that obviously he's not the James Harden that we're accustomed to. And then outside of those two guys, who are we really relying on here? Patty Mills.
Champion.
Maybe, I'm blanking on his name. Joe Harris, It's like these aren't guys that I'm genuinely happy with. Aldridge has been solid this year. We'll see what happens with him if his play continues to be this high, at this point in his career come playoff time. But Miami, it's an interesting team to me because defensively, when they're all healthy, this team is one of the best teams in the NBA for sure. Offensively, they've answered a couple of questions, but now the biggest question is health. You have Jimmy already in and out of the lineup with health issues. You have Bam Adebayo, who just had surgery, and he's probably going to be back most definitely by playoff time. But already we're getting the injury scare, and that's what worries me. I think Bulls ultimately are complete in the sense where they are a good defensive team and have great offense. But that's why I look at Milwaukee, and I just think they're the most complete team because defensively, they've shown it. They could be the best defensive team in the league. And offensively, they have Giannis, who could average 30. They have Middleton, who come playoff time, at least last season, could give you 22 to 25 points. And Drew Holiday is one of the best defenders at the guard position there is in the NBA. So I just look at Milwaukee, and I think they're the best team. But the Bulls are no slouch. I think LaVine is going to be spectacular come playoff time. I just think he has a different type of swagger to him. His confidence is at a different level. I don't think that he could be touched in that sense. I have no worries with him. DeMar doesn't have to worry about LeBron in the Eastern Conference Finals. And I don't know who really can guard DeMar DeRozan in the playoffs on the Nets. I don't think anyone can do it.
They don't have anybody.
I don't think on Miami, they probably do. Jimmy Butler, yes. And on Milwaukee, Are you putting Drew Holiday on DeMar DeRozan? I don't think that's a great idea. You'll
probably
probably
put
put
Middleton.
You probably put Middleton on DeMar, but then what's going on with Levine? It's like they have a lot of offensive pieces that could give a lot of team fits. And they have very good team chemistry very early on, and I haven't even mentioned the contributions of Lonzo and Caruso at all. Caruso has been huge for you guys. And Lonzo has been shooting very efficiently from three. He's been one of the best defenders in the league. He deserves a first-team all-defense this year. I just think that I'm looking at the Bulls, and I'm very, very impressed from what I'm seeing. And there is not a team that I can see that they cannot beat in a 7-game series. But they're not my number one team right now.
DeMar DeRozan isn't good in the playoffs. It doesn't matter if he's facing LeBron. He faced the Pacers. He averaged 18 points per game, shot 32% from the field, shot 17% from three. That was in the 2016 playoffs.
Did they win that series?
They did win that series in 7. But DeMar DeRozan...
He got locked up that year. PG locked him.
To be fair, to DeMar's credit, there hasn't been a season in the playoffs, at least, that he's averaged under 20.
Oh, yeah, but his regular season averages, those numbers are all down from his regular season averages.
But I think things are a little bit different now that he has another option next to him that can give
Kyle Lowry wasn't that?
He's
not equal,
Zach.
though. He's not of equal.
He's not Zach.
Offense,
He's not. I know he's not Zach, but that's still Kyle Lowry.
But
I understand, but he's not Zach on offense.
Correct.
I was wrong about the Bulls in the sense of they've been a little bit better than I've expected. That's pretty much it. And not even that, like, it's not like they've been better than I've expected. I was just wrong in the sense that they're not as good as the Knicks. Nonetheless, I mean, the Knicks aren't as good as the Bulls. Nonetheless, the Bulls don't frighten anybody. You guys aren't frightening anybody.
What makes you say that?
Am I worried about Vucevic, who's not that good of a defender? If I'm another team, if I'm the Bucks, no, or the Heat, no. I told you DeMar DeRozan doesn't perform in the playoffs. Forget about the Nets. I know you don't trust the Nets defense. Forget about them. Well, what if they face the Bucks? What if Drew Holiday's on DeMar DeRozan?
Oh no, Bucks are a bad matchup for us.
Bucks are scary.
DeMar DeRozan is going to be virtually useless in that series. What about if they face the Heat? If Jimmy Butler or PJ Tucker are guarding him. If PJ Tucker's guarding DeMar DeRozan, he has no chance. Let's just get that clear right now.
Didn't Jimmy just have a shit show last year?
It happens.
Oh, okay.
They need Hero.
That was
to
the first
be what he's
time
been
in
doing.
Butler's career this really happened to him.
They need Hero to continue doing what he's been doing.
I understand, but against Miami, oh yeah, they'll lock down DeMar for sure. The Nets, you're right. The Nets probably won't lock down those players, but I trust Harden and KD over anybody the Bulls got.
That's fair.
Chicago, you guys are going to have a great regular season. You're going to have a disappointing playoffs, kind of like the Knicks last year.
Here we go.
That's what you're going to have. You're going to have a disappointing playoffs. If you get to the second round, I'll applaud you. But depending on that first round matchup,
who can beat us?
Atlanta could scrape you.
Scrape?
Yes.
You're doing it again.
Now he just wants you guys to be the new Knicks.
You're doing it again. You walked in this year. I don't think you're going to be better than the Knicks. We're third seed. The Bulls would be 6. Okay, now you look stupid. 25 games in. Now we're the number 1 seed. I think we're probably 2 right now. We're the number 2 seed in the league. You're at the bottom of the barrel. Now you're saying, all right, I don't think, you know what I'm saying, wow. I was wrong about them being better than the Knicks. But now I don't fear the Bulls. Now you're saying we're not feared. Listen. You got to stop spinning your narratives every 25, 30 games. You keep spinning your narratives.
Let me ask you, Riv.
Talk to me. Scrape? You said scrape,
tell me
though.
who you would take in the playoffs.
All right, go ahead.
Nets or Bulls?
Nets.
Bucks or Bulls?
Really?
Bucks.
Heat or Bucks? Oh, Heat or Bulls?
Bulls.
You're taking the Bulls over the Heat?
You feel more confident about the Heat than you do the Nets right now.
Yes.
Because of Kevin Durant?
Yes.
The Bulls?
Yes.
The Bulls or the Sixers fully healthy?
Ooh, that'd be wait, what's fully healthy with Ben?
Let's assume Ben gets traded for a player.
I hate when you do
Without
that.
Jimmy or Bam.
No, DeMar. There's like
Sixers are a bad matchup for us.
Yeah, I know.
So I would say Sixers.
You didn't put the Heat in there.
Still good enough to win.
Heat, Nets, Bulls,
not
Sixers. Those are 4 teams that I think they can definitively beat you.
Wait,
in the playoffs.
say that list again.
It said Sixers.
Bulls, Bucks, Nets, Sixers.
Now, who can we beat on that list?
None, in my
You're
opinion.
dumb.
In my opinion,
You're dumb.
you can't beat none of them.
He meant 7. I'm sorry.
He said the Sixers.
No, he said
Sixers.
You think the Heat can beat?
He said the
Nets,
Sixers.
Bulls,
The team he
Bucks,
said
excuse
barely
me.
would make the playoffs.
Yeah.
He said the Sixers, the Heat, the Bucks, the Nets. The Nets and the Bucks. That's
And the
fine. You
Hawks?
can have that
You
assessment.
think the Hawks is
I think the
lost?
Hawks can. That's an evenly matchup.
You can have that. I don't know. I don't
matchup.
understand how you can say that's evenly matchup.
It's an even matchup.
How do you say that's evenly matchup? They're not as good as us defensively, and offensively we're better
Then who?
They're
than
better
the
than you
Hawks.
guys.
You're just saying that now it's just straight
So
emotion.
now,
Nah, defensively they're better.
Yeah, it's emotion.
but there are 5 teams that are better than you guys.
What's the fifth?
that
You
I
said
think
four.
at their peak are better than you guys.
The only thing the Heat definitively have over the Bulls
Nets,
is
Bucks,
defense.
Bulls,
Uh-huh.
Sixers.
Who's the fifth?
I'm thinking about the 5th. It might have just been 4. But
Don't
let's
say the
say,
Washington
but let's say,
Wizards.
but
You
let's
said
say,
Sixers.
let's say you get the 3rd
He
seed.
said Sixers.
Let's say you get the 3rd seed. Let's say the Bulls finish with the 3rd seed, and the 6th seed are the Sixers. You feel confident in that?
I feel confident, but that's a tough series because they have Embiid, and we struggle with bigs. That's
The
a tough
Bulls'
series.
ceiling is the 2nd round.
But I think,
Conference finals is not happening.
but you just hold on, because you're a spinner. You just said Atlanta would scrape us, right? And you think Atlanta is better than us, okay? Yet you had no fact to back that up. We just told you we're better defensively and offensively, but you just felt they're better. So emotion. You said the Sixers you would pick to beat us, yet you barely had them getting in the playoffs. Emotion. Now the Bucks, we all agreed the Bucks are
well,
bad.
use context to that. Why did I have Philly barely getting into the playoffs?
I don't remember. Why did you have Philly barely?
Because
Ben.
Embiid is
of Ben.
hurt a lot, and Philly was a top 5 seed until Embiid went out, and then they slipped in the standings.
Right.
So that's the reason why. But fully healthy Embiid, they're easily a top 5 seed in the East.
But we're talking. So Philly, you just think they're just better than us,
I think they are better than you guys.
and then you said Atlanta would scrape us.
Yes.
So you think Atlanta? You put that Atlanta in that conversation of teams that would beat us?
5 teams. Yeah, there are 5 teams in the East Conference that can beat you guys.
Okay.
So can
So we're
Atlanta
the
go
six-
to the
so-
ECF?
No,
So then
because they're not in that upper echelon for me.
So there's only 3 teams that can go to the ECF.
Yes, the Bucks, Heat, and Nets.
So we're the 6th
Where's
best
the
team
fourth?
in the East.
Where's the 4th team in the? Give me a 4th though. You're saying
I
3
gave you
teams,
4: Heat,
Now he's saying
Bucks,
any
Nets,
team.
Atlanta, Philly.
but that's what I'm saying. You're saying 3 teams are a lock for the ECF.
Nets,
No,
Bucks, Heat.
there's only 3 teams in the East that I think can make the ECF.
I'm sorry. Okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
So
we're the-
Nets, Bucks, Heat.
So we're the 6th best team in the East.
I'll say you're like 5A, 5B.
Cool.
You're around there.
5A.
Wow.
That's wild.
Yeah.
From what they've shown you this season, that's what you've come away
He
with,
hasn't watched us play.
bruh.
It's clear. It's very clear. It's mad clear. He hasn't watched.
They
us
got
play.
chemistry quick as hell on that team.
They're a great team. They're just not as great as these other teams.
Not as great as Philly.
I don't think you guys can
What
beat
is-
Miami, bro.
But what has
Now,
Philly
listen,
done
this
to
is-
show you
this
they're
guy-
great?
Is Levine?
they were the first seed last year.
They had Ben.
Yeah, with Ben.
Even without Ben, though, they were pretty good. And I think even without Ben this year, they were at one point the first seed as well.
Yeah, for like the first. You told me in the beginning it's too early. That was like the first seed for like 8
were
They
days.
9 and
got
2.
hurt. I mean, Embiid got hurt.
Do you think
Yeah.
and
someone?
Tobias was in COVID also to begin the year.
Yeah, I mean he came back and they're still 5-2 with him. They
But
haven't
who's
played anybody.
holding? Who's holding Levine on the Sixers?
I don't think anybody is.
Matisse.
I don't think
That's good
anybody
defense.
is.
Matisse.
But then you have DeMar, you have Lonzo.
Why do I care about Lonzo as a scorer?
He's still a great 3-point shooter.
Okay, I have to close out on him, but like in terms of him having the ball and doing something,
again-
I don't care what he
but then
does.
that's when-
Matisse could take out Zach. You think?
Possible. I'm trying to figure out who.
Jesus
I'm trying to figure out who. I'm
Christ.
trying to figure out
Matisse
who.
is like
Who's
that on
guarding
defense.
Embiid?
Other than that, I'm trying
Nah,
to
he
figure out.
acknowledged that nobody's
Yeah,
guarding.
but I'm
No,
not,
that's
but
it.
that's
That's it.
why I'm confused. I'm trying to figure out outside of Embiid, who am I trying to figure out? Who am I confused about? Like who am I worried
You
about?
have nobody that can guard Tobias, bro.
He started laughing at you. How about Maxi?
Oh God.
If you put Lonzo on Tobias, who's going to guard Maxey?
No,
Caruso?
no. I'm trying to. No. It's not even
Maxey's
that.
going crazy
I
on
swear to
you
God,
guys.
bro. Derrick Jones Jr. can guard Tobias Harris. Like I promise you, he can do it, bro. Like
I'm
you
not-
said,
I'm not-
Tobias.
I'm not-
Yeah, like,
I'm not getting in on the disrespect.
Yeah, like
He probably
yeah,
could.
like he said the Sixers. Like he's like what? Tyrese Maxey, Danny Green,
Seth
Seth
Y'all don't
Curry.
got to answer for Seth Curry, bro.
We have Alex Caruso, bro.
I don't know. Seth is one of the best.
I get it, bro.
of all time.
You didn't realize the Bulls would be this good, so now you have to backtrack. Now you have to make up
No, he's
another.
not- I mean,
you have to make up another agenda to fit the
Yeah.
purpose. I get it, bro. But come on, bro.
So you're telling me that you're making Eastern Conference Finals. You picked them to go to the Eastern Conference.
Yeah,
Finals.
we can make these. We're tied for the. We are. It's a 3A 3B between us and Miami. I believe.
Okay.
I don't think the Hawks. I don't even. I'm not. I don't. If we see the Hawks, we are not. Yeah. We won't get scraped in 5. It won't be embarrassing. We won't. No, we're gonna beat them in 5 or 6 games. There is no. Oh, we can't score. Randall. No, there is none of that. They're not gonna lock us up. They're not gonna do none of that. What they did. They're not gonna embarrass us at home. It's none of that. It's gonna be Zach and DeMar. We have Lonzo. We have Caruso for defense. And we're going to be fine. If we play the Philly, Joel Embiid is going to be a problem.
He's a problem for anybody.
Yeah, JC, I've acknowledged Biggs. He's going to be a problem. But outside of Embiid, we're not worried about Tobias, Harris. Like, we're not worried about Maxey. We're not worried about Seth Curry. We're not worried about Danny Green, Shake Milton. We're not worried about them. Like, what are you saying? And in Washington, I'm not acknowledging them. Charlotte, I'm not acknowledging them. Who else? Indiana, Cleveland. They may be in trouble, but I'm not really acknowledging them too much. He
said they may be in trouble.
It's the top. It's the Nets and the Bucks and Miami. I'm worried about everybody else. First of all, but the way our team is constructed, if we're worried about anybody else, we didn't do a good job in the offseason, in my opinion. If we can't beat those other teams, then this season is a failure because we put ourselves in position, we feel like, to be in that conversation with Miami and the Bucks and the Nets. So if we can't beat those other teams, we should blow it up. Honestly, I feel like, because we put ourselves in comfortable position. And you said, oh my God, DeMar's not good in the playoffs. Yeah, that's cool. Toronto DeMar. This is a whole different energy DeMar. Zach's been different. DeMar's different. You can see, I mean, if you watch the games, I don't know if you have, but if you watch the games, you can see it's a different type of vibe. The ball is moving. The game is solid. The pick and rolls are there. The defense has been there. DeMar is playing defense this year. The knock on him is he couldn't play defense. No, he's playing defense. So it's like different energy, different vibe. Chicago, we'll be all right, bro. You're a hater, though, so I don't know what you're going to do.
I'm just realistic. I'm realistic about your goals. I don't want you to be heartbroken. I know you
I'm
will
not
be.
you guys. We're not going to lose in the first round, bro. Unless
I never said you're going to lose in the first round.
No, it's possible.
I
We play
just
Miami.
said,
If we're 4-5 and it's Miami,
I just said ceiling is second
if it's
round.
4-5 and Miami beats us, would you consider that a failure?
No, because that's a team I think could beat you. Personally.
Would you consider that a failure? If we're 5th and Miami's 4, flip flop, it doesn't matter. Would you consider
That's
that
definitely a failure for your season.
I think
But
so
you just
too,
said Miami's
man.
better, so how's it a failure?
because you have to get past the first round.
But
with the moves you guys made, you got to get past the first round.
We think we can beat Miami, so we
I
would
just
consider
think
that a
getting
failure.
out in the first round, though.
We consider that a failure. But you said we are the 6th best team in the league, in the East. So a 6th best team isn't really looking to get out the
No,
first round.
I didn't say that. I said that in the playoffs, I wouldn't take out over these teams.
Oh, so do you think
But,
okay? So
but
Playoff
I said it in the regular season, you guys are going to be great.
well,
If you have to face the Heat in a 4-5 matchup in the playoffs, that means you didn't do your job in the regular season. So that means that is a failure. The Bulls should, with all the injuries to the Sixers, with Embiid being, with Ben Simmons out,
just got
with
Bam
hold
out.
on, with Miami Heat's injuries, Bam, Jimmy Butler, we know he's in and out. Yeah, y'all should be a top 3 seed in the East.
we just got 8 players on COVID.
That's a week. That's like 1 week clean.
We're already 1-1.
You're right, but guess who's playing Guess who's playing tonight though? Guess who's starting?
Zach.
Lonzo,
Zach and
Zach, and Vooch. So you got 2 All-Stars still on the court, plus a first first team All Defense guy in Lonzo.
I don't.
So you should still. That's not. It's not like you guys just have complete scrubs on the
That's
court.
not
now.
necessarily true though, bro. Because we're starting guys like
You have 3 of your top 4 guys playing. Still,
First of all, you can't even say that because you didn't even have Lonzo as a top 4 guy on our team. You thought Caruso was on the same level, so you can't.
I do think Caruso's
so you can't
on the
switch
same
up
level.
your take now,
no,
bro.
hold up. I do think Caruso's on the same level, but as Lonzo, I do think they're in the same tier as players. As they are in the same tier, but Lonzo is the starting guy. He's the one getting more of the
Our
load.
whole bench.
I don't agree with that. That whole Caruso's on the same Lonzo tier.
He's getting what load?
He's still the starter.
Oh, okay.
Listen, I love Caruso. Lonzo is a better passer than he is. Defensively, as great as Caruso is, Lonzo's a better defender. He shoots the ball better.
I don't think
he does shoot the ball
I don't know
better.
about that defense part.
defensively.
Is Caruso first team all defense?
He should
Yo,
be.
he's
Really?
He's OD.
I-
He's
listen,
a better defender than Lonzo. Lonzo's a better team defender.
Okay. That's tough.
Caruso's.
Listen, you don't have to tell me about how great Caruso's defense is.
guarding.
I mean,
power forwards,
you
bro.
are a guy who uses per 36 to defend your THT narrative.
Whoa. Now you're backtracking on THT. So now he was bad, now he was good, now he's bad again.
Look at Lonzo
Caruso's
and
playing
Caruso's
right now.
per 36 numbers, and you're gonna see one guy have better ones, and it's gonna be
All
Caruso.
right, let's see.
Yeah, Caruso's averaging 8 points and like 5 assists, and I don't know how less than less than
Lonzo's
25
averaging
minutes.
12 and 5. 12, 5 and 5.
Like if you're telling me if Caruso starts, he can't average 12, 5 and 5.
Were you asking me?
Nah, yeah.
I thought no.
All right, he's averaging per 36, 10, 5, 4.7.
With a lead
Caruso
defense.
Excuse me,
Or-
I'm sorry. 10, 5, 4.7.
With the lead defense.
Caruso.
Yes. He's guarding power forwards. He's 6'4".
Oh, listen, you have to tell me. I miss him every single day.
I'm just now. I don't know. I'm confused about the Atlanta man. Atlanta now all of a sudden.
Yeah, no.
I don't get it.
I'm out on that one.
Losing me with that one, but
He said Atlanta was scrape. Yeah, wow.
Scrape is.
Well, they get Bogey, DeAndre Hunter back. It'll be a formidable opponent for you guys.
Bogey is a mismatch.
He is their third leading scorer.
Yeah,
though.
Lonzo's per 36 this season would be 13, 5, and 6.
Lonzo and Caruso aren't stat guys, so you looking into the stats you're not gonna really know how valuable they are. Let's just
Lonzo's
be.
shooting 42% from 3.
Yes. He's a good 3-point shooter. Yes.
He's
I know what
mad
Lonzo
nice.
is, but bro, if they start Caruso, they aren't losing. Like, what are they losing?
Oh, no, I'm not disagreeing.
That
I'm just saying
same
Lonzo.
tier,
but,
though. That's what I'm saying.
that's where
Same tier. If you start one guy over the other and you don't lose much, that's the same tier.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I don't know. I feel like Lonzo's just a little bit above Caruso.
He's better.
I think he is better.
But they're in the same tier though. But he's better. You can still be in the same tier and
I
somebody be
understand.
better than
Okay.
him.
Like Dame
All right.
Kyrie,
All
you
right.
think Dame better than Kyrie when he's healthy, right? That type of.
Yeah, but they're in the same tier type
I
of
get
guards.
it.
You know what I'm saying? It's just
Fair
we'll see.
enough.
We'll see. This
Fair enough.
is another narrative we're waiting to destroy. You know what I'm saying? So I just can't wait. You know,
Bulls Nation, right?
try to be.
Let's get it.
We've been great. First of all, it's funny because he said we'll struggle during that dangerous run we had against those elite teams.
8
We
and
didn't
5.
struggle. Yeah, we didn't struggle. We played actually phenomenal. He was wrong again. He said, guy said Lonzo he wasn't that great of a perimeter defender. Wrong again. Dude's been elite. Don't know what he be talking about. Dude said Knicks third seed. Wrong again. They're at the bottom of the East. Don't know what he said.
Lonzo would be the 4th ball handler on the squad.
Wrong again. He's literally the 3rd. Vooch honestly shouldn't even get touches
No,
anymore.
I
sometimes.
said that Lonzo was going to be the 4th option.
He is.
And no, you said he'll be the 4th
Nah, you
ball
said
handler. You
fall-
said
No,
Vooch
I
is going to
said-
get more
I-
ball handling.
What I actually said was that Lonzo is going to be a spot up shooter in your offense because he's not going to touch the ball over Levine and DeMar.
And Vooch. You said Vooch. You did that. And he touches the ball more than Vooch, bro.
well, ball handle
I'm keeping 100. Caruso gets the
in
ball more
terms
than
in
Vooch.
terms of touches, who gets it more, Vucevic or Lonzo? Who gets touches more?
Lonzo.
Vucevic
Like
is
I know
averaging 15 right
Lonzo's
now.
gonna dribble the ball more, but in terms of touches and okay, you go do something with it. Yeah, bro, it's definitely Vucevic getting more
I mean,
touches
but
than Lonzo.
you made it seem like as if Lonzo wasn't going to be a point guard.
I made it seem like Lonzo was gonna be a 3-and-D point guard. That's what he's gonna.
No,
be.
you made it seem like he wasn't going to be like he wasn't going to have opportunities to play make to initiate the offense when he's been doing that.
Well, he does it, but behind 2 guys in front of him.
DeMar does and this is why I know you don't watch the games. DeMar doesn't even go playmaking. When he gets the ball, it's literally just go get a bucket. He doesn't.
Well, it's not about the play. It's about just having the ball in general.
But that's literally what you just said. It's not about just dribbling the ball. That's literally having the ball in your possession. And now when I say he's been playmaking, you're saying no, it's about having the ball in the possession. If that's the case, Lonzo is literally having the ball in his possession around the same amount of time.
Not more than DeRozan or Levine.
Not more, but he's having the ball in his possession. You made it seem like he was never going to get it. He's just going to stand in the corner all day, shoot a 3, and then go back and play defense.
But what is he doing with it? He's averaging 12 points and 5 assists.
See, but
those are mid numbers.
He's leading the team in assists, though.
with 5.
But still, he's leading
The
the
guy
team.
right behind him is at 4 who comes off the bench.
I mean, you said DeMar was going to be one of the leading. He's going to lead the team in assists because he was that type of playmaker. You said that, and DeMar hasn't. He hasn't. I'm not saying he can't. He hasn't
because he's taking that. He's fully embraced the role as a scorer.
We told you was going to happen. He was going to be that scorer.
I never said DeRozan wasn't going to be the scorer. I said because DeRozan and Levine are both going to have the ball, there's going to be limited opportunity for Lonzo within that offense.
Limited is insane. You have to just watch this.
And I told you, I gave you the stats. DeRozan and Levine are one of the better ISO scorers in the NBA.
You did.
And we were even arguing about how many players is DeRozan better than in the ISO. And I told you his numbers right now, he ranks within the top
you
5.
told me
And I told you what these guys' roles are going to be within the given construct of the offensive system. In terms of ISO, it's going to be DeMar and Levine. In terms of pick and roll ball handler and using screens and rolls with Vucevic, it's been DeMar and Levine over Lonzo. Lonzo, bro, 40% of the time, Lonzo was spotting up in the offense. 40% of the time.
40%. I mean, you told me.
No, that's an actual stat. Like his frequency spotting up is that much.
You told me statistically DeMar DeRozan was one of the best ISO players. You told me that, and I understand statistically. But this is where statistics don't always back up what you're saying. Because statistically, he may be one of the best ISO players in the league, but I'm sure there's more better ISO players in the NBA. Statistically, you might be right. But like I said,
what number would you say he is?
I wouldn't give it a I wouldn't give a number on it.
He never gave it a number.
But I'll say this. You're saying so you're right now saying that stat is flawed because you don't believe DeMar is one of the best ISO scorers in the league, or at least the number doesn't back up his ranking.
No, I'm saying yes, it's a little bit flawed.
Okay, but you're the same guy that not too long ago said Levine and DeMar are the best duo in the NBA.
Yeah.
And you think DeMar is better than Harden this year as well?
He's been playing better, yes.
Okay. So the numbers do back that up because this year he's been getting a lot of his production from exactly that. And he's been in the MVP conversation.
Well, we weren't talking about this year, though. You gave me numbers from his career. That's what we were talking about.
Yeah, but in Toronto, he was an all-star.
Yeah, but I'm saying, all I said was,
but
see, this is why you're trying to switch up what I'm saying. I'm saying statistically you may have been right, but I'm sure if we really sat down and watched guys, there's probably more, maybe 10 or 12 more guys where you could think, I think he's a better ISO player than DeMar.
So you're telling me there's guys that you'd prefer, but that are not definitively better.
No, see,
because just because you prefer a guy doesn't mean he's better.
Just because statistically it says one thing doesn't mean that's definitively the fact. Statistically, Andre Drummond is one of the best rebounders in the league, but that doesn't mean that's a downright fact. You have to look at offensive rebounds.
That is a fact.
You have to look at defensive rebounds. You have to look at rebounds that actually matter. Like,
wait, that is a fact though. Is he not one of the best rebounders in the league?
No, I'm saying I said statistically it may look like he's the best rebounder
you said
in the
one
league.
of the
No, I
best.
said he's the best rebounder in the league.
In
but
isolation,
it doesn't mean it's proven.
Let's go through it. You're taking James Harden, you're taking DeMar DeRozan in isolation.
Taking James Harden.
Jason Tatum.
But James Harden's numbers for his career have been better in the ISO than DeMar.
Right. Jason Tatum or DeMar DeRozan?
I'm taking Tatum.
I'm taking Tatum, but it's really a toss-up.
KD,
it's not a toss-up, bro.
KD is easy.
Taking DeMar.
I'm taking Tatum.
Yeah, I'm taking
Tatum easily.
I'm taking KD.
Paul George or DeMar DeRozan?
I'll take it PG.
I just want to hear all your answers.
Take it PG.
In the ISO, it's close, especially when the mid-range.
But you see what I'm saying, though, right? Statistics could tell you, like, eye test is really different from statistics, bro. Because you no way you look at it, you look at both of them play, and you think, no, I'm taking DeMar. No, you really go. It's PG, as an ISO player.
But you take PG as a complete player, there's no doubt. But as strictly in the ISO,
we're just strictly talking ISO. Right now. We're talking strictly ISO.
ISO effectiveness it's pretty close. It's like flipping apples.
Pretty close in terms of what?
Luka or DeMar in the ISO?
Luka.
All right, Dame. Bradley Beal.
DeMar.
Ooh, really?
I think it's close. I think that one's pretty close. I think you're splitting hairs with that one.
Probably
DeMar this year, though.
Devin Booker or DeMar?
Booker.
I'm going Booker.
Yeah.
Trae Young.
DeMar's a better ISO player.
Yeah, Trae Young. I mean DeMar.
SGA.
DeMar's
SGA.
better.
You taking SGA?
I'm taking it. That one's very preference. That one's preference for me.
That one is actually closer than people might think, but I think that's it. Of people like I would give.
We'll see, man. We'll see at the end of the year, man.
I guess LeBron.
We'll see at the end of the year, man.
In the
ECF, you know what I'm saying?
Why'd you say what though?
Huh?
Why'd you say what?
Oh, just to mess with him. That's all. Just to mess with him.
Who are you taking now?
LeBron.
Okay.
It's LeBron. You taking DeMar? Statistically, what you doing? You taking LeBron?
Taking LeBron all day.
Statistically, he might go DeRozan.
But you got this. This is where you gotta like.
That's facts.
This is where you have to know the specific of what you're talking about, because as an offensive player, there's no doubt Luka is far superior than DeRozan. But strictly as an ISO scorer,
Giannis?
moving out the way. Strictly as an ISO scorer, DeMar and Luka are very comparable.
I understand what you mean.
I get what you're saying.
Like there's not one guy that's far superior to the other. Same thing with Trae Young, because DeMar can't play make on those guys' levels, but none of those guys that we just mentioned outside of Kevin Durant can shoot the mid range as well as DeMar. Tatum can't do
I think
it.
PG can.
Tatum can't?
I think PG.
No. Tatum's not as efficient.
Tatum
from the
his
mid-range
difficulty
than
at the
DeMar.
mid range though,
Yeah.
his difficult shot making.
Yeah, he hits a lot of difficult.
And
I don't
Paul
know,
George
bro.
can?
I think Paul George.
Paul
can.
George, of course he can, but it's not as efficient as DeMar.
I think
DeMar's a top 5 mid range shooter in the
but
NBA.
I think, see,
Yeah,
and I
that's
think
true.
this
The
is-
only thing that takes PG up a notch
it's
is
his difficult shot.
no,
making.
it's just him that he can shoot from 3.
No, I see. That's and I think
If
that's
DeMar could shoot from 3 efficiently
hits a
on
lot
these
of
I
tough
ice
think
shots,
that's where we differ. I think that's where we differ because a lot of these guys take a lot of tough shots and they
DeMar
hit those
doesn't?
shots.
DeMar takes some tough
He
shots.
does, but his a lot of his mid range ISO 1-on-1s there aren't really tough shots. Like a lot of them sometimes are open or on a fast break where he catches somebody off guard. Like a lot of them aren't tough as tough. I'm not gonna say tough, but as tough as like PG or Tatum, who's one of the most shot.
I don't see PG in the post as often as DeMar
PG gets in
on those turnaround
Not as
mid
much
range
as
jump
DeMar,
shots.
though.
not as but PG gets in the post. It depends.
So we not just gonna act like all DeMar's ISOs are coming from fast break
I
and
didn't say
transition.
that. I'm just saying I don't think he takes his toughest shots.
Who
as
has a
these
more
guys.
refined post game, DeMar or PG?
DeMar.
DeMar. But I think it's close.
But he'll take you off. That's like PG is just better off the dribble than DeMar is just in terms.
That's ISO.
I'm not gonna lie,
No,
though.
for sure.
That plays into ISO.
For sure, and the fact that he can extend outside the 3-point range is
DeMar
why
do
I
be
feel
hitting
like
a
I
lot
take
of tough
PG.
mid-range shots.
Yeah, you
I
made
saw-
it sound like he didn't hit
I saw a
tough ones.
compilation
No, I
this
literally-
year of his tough mid-range shots. He
wait.
hit some crazy
Why
tough.
do you do that? I literally just said, let me not say he don't hit tough shots. He hits. I literally just said that.
He hits
I-
a lot.
But you
I
were
just-
talking about the other guy's degree of difficulty. Like
No, I said I just felt like
theirs are much more difficult than
just,
DeMar's.
no, I just said, let me not say he don't hit tough shots. He hits tough shots, but I just think they hit him at a tougher rate. That's all I said. You assumed.
Yeah,
and made it seem
Tatum
like-
hits a lot of tough shots.
Yeah, Tatum hits tough. Like I'm not saying DeMar hits tough
Sidestep,
shots,
like-
but like this is where you don't watch us. I watched almost every. You don't watch us, so it's like it's hard. You're just gonna say, "Oh yeah, DeMar hits tough shots." Yeah, I know. I have actual knowledge of what he's done because I've watched this play. And there's a lot of times where DeMar is open, but there's a lot of times where he does hit you with the. You're gonna see the highlight.
sidestep
You'll
mid-range.
see the highlight on Instagram when he hits you. You jump. He gets the and one, so you'll see that. Yeah, that's a tough shot. Yeah, he hits tough shots. But no, I'll see the consistent hit, open, mid range, or he gets a big back up mid range, but it's an open shot. Like I'll see. That's why it's like difficult. Paul George and Jason Tatum, in a sense, Kevin Durant too. A lot of they don't really care. Like they don't care who's
about
in front of you.
separation.
They don't care about separation. They're just gonna go over the top. DeMar doesn't always do that. That's what I'm saying. Like it's really just eye test and statistics.
So you're telling me that
Why'd your voice just
DeMar?
change?
Yeah, it got
Yeah,
mad
it was
deep.
yeah.
Yeah,
So you're telling
that just scared the hell out of me.
so you're telling me that okay, Paul George and Jason Tatum, they hit a tougher rate of shots because they can't create the separation DeMar can create.
Well,
Which
he said they don't. You said they don't.
that's what you basically said. You basically said they
No, I
hit
didn't.
tougher shots because they don't create the space DeMar creates.
Not necessarily. I said they hit tougher shots because they don't care. See, DeMar is looking for the mismatch. PG and Tatum don't care who's in front of them. PJ Tucker could be there. Kawhi can be there. They're gonna take that. They're gonna take their shot no matter who's in front of you. That's why I'm saying the degree could be a bit difficult. DeMar is looking for the mismatch. He's looking for the separation, or he's looking for the big. That's why sometimes it can seem like it's an easy shot. That's what I'm saying. The separation. First of all, PG's a better ball handler by far than DeMar. He's way more shiftier. He's way more smoother. So he's forever going to get his Tatum too. And you come on, let's not play dumb here. We know.
I know,
Yeah,
but it's
so
just
that's
you're
what
not
I'm
making
saying.
much sense.
No, I am. Everybody understands me except you. So I'm making sense.
No, because you're not making much sense.
No,
in
I
the-
am. Everybody understands me except you. So it can't be me. It has
And
to
the
be
fact
you.
that you're penalizing DeMar,
No,
you're
I'm
penalizing DeMar for getting more separation.
I'm not
Then
penalizing,
on the Paul George one, when you're talking about like the handle,
I'm not
I get
penalizing.
part,
I'm not
but
penalizing
that
him.
doesn't mean he's a better ISO scorer than DeMar.
No, I'm not penalizing him though. And you just
And then you talked about DeMar. He's getting his shots off a mismatch, bro. Every player in the league is hunting for mismatches.
no, but that's see you're trying to.
so
make
you're because this what you said in specific. You said Paul George and KD, they don't care about who's in front of them. I've seen DeMar go at other elite defenders. It's not like DeMar passes up those opportunities just because they're an elite defender.
I've also seen DeMar
The Bulls versus Heat game was DeMar not going at PG Tucker?
not all the time.
You were the one that just said, "Oh, PG, he don't care if PG Tucker's right there."
Yeah, but
DeMar ain't either.
DeMar didn't do that all the time. DeMar was looking for Duncan Robinson a lot. DeMar was looking for Tyler Hero a lot. So what are you talking about? But
DeMar goes for those matchups too.
No. You're trying to make you're getting emotional because you're trying to make it seem like I was penalizing him. I wasn't. I just felt like those two guys hit at a little bit more difficult rate. I literally said DeMar hits tough shots. I said that. And like you can go up. I said that. And I literally said DeMar gets separation. I said that. You're trying to penalize me for what I didn't say.
Would you say PG gets
I just feel like you're talking out your ass because you're giving.
I'm not because everybody
you're giving out
but you,
because
though.
you're giving out something that is just on your opinion on the few games that you've seen.
See, but like,
would you about 17, 18 games?
Would you say that PG hits higher degree difficulty shots because he's shooting threes and he's in isolation? Are you saying that because he gets actually on the block, he'll actually try and size someone up and he's making tougher shots?
Both.
I feel
even when he gets in the mid range, he's usually jab step. He doesn't even go on the block all the time.
The one reason why I will agree with you is because he can extend outside the 3-point range, and those are higher degree difficulty shots.
I didn't even
than
bring that up though, and that's a part of an isolation. But I didn't even need to bring
because that's mostly what I'm thinking.
I'm just speaking from a mid range perspective.
And Tatum, same thing. I feel like Tatum, out of the three players, takes the most difficult shots because he puts that on himself. He's mostly, I wouldn't say mostly, but like he enjoys being in the post, hitting post fades. That's just Tatum. So I feel like that's why he out of all of them hit a higher degree difficulty shots, but PG hits higher degree difficulty shots for me personally because he can extend outside that 3-point range and he'll try and size up any defender and he'll put up a shot. He doesn't care.
I just think it's difficult to measure something of that magnitude without having a defined statistic behind it. Like you can't tell me somebody hits more contested shots than somebody else. When
Jason Tatum
DeMar's career is made up of tough contested mid-range jump shots. That's what his career is made up of.
But do you have a stat to prove that?
But all you have to know is
you just have to watch all of his highlight tapes.
All you have to know is this: mid-range shots.
Hold on, wait. You just said there's no. You wish there was a defined stat to prove what we're talking about. Then I just asked you, is there a defined stat to prove what you said? You said you just have to watch his highlight mixtapes. That was your rebuttal. You see what I'm talking about?
That's basically what Riv said.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying, but I'm not comparing DeMar to another player in this instance.
But I'm saying that's what I'm just saying.
When we think about DeMar, we think him posting up and hitting mid-range jump shots on turnaround shoulders, and those are hard contested mid-range jump shots.
Yeah,
we praise DeMar because he is a top 5 mid-range scorer in NBA history, bro. Like this guy's that efficient from the mid-range.
But
I think over 75% of his baskets have come from the mid-range.
But I think the same way how you said that's the same way we could say about Jason Tatum and Paul George. Like we praise them really for their ISO tough shot making. Like the same way we could say. That's why I said it really just depends. I wish we can have a stat for it, but it really just. Honestly, that's really
there are stats for it. You just don't have it with you.
Let me take it.
But there are stats for it.
I mean, because it's like it really just
because when you talk about
because I asked you PG or DeMar,
when you talk about PG and DeMar, PG, he's a better player all around. He's a better player.
Okay, so
but if we're just talking about strictly like an ISO player,
who's better?
I think DeMar's a better ISO player than PG.
So you said DeMar is a better ISO player than PG, but DeMar only does one thing you feel like better, and that's the mid-range. 3-pointer is a part of an ISO. Getting to the basket is a part of an ISO. Post up, getting your separation of shot is a part of an ISO. PG probably does all that better than him. So how is DeMar a better ISO player? If you've admitted that PG probably does more in the ISO, but only DeMar is probably a better mid-range shooter. When PG is just probably not just good, but he's a great mid-range shooter.
That's the thing. Because I think DeMar, regardless of because he can't hit the 3-point shot, he's mastered his arsenal within the area. Like in terms of as a finisher, I think PG and DeMar are right there. Like I don't know who DeMar might have the edge slightly.
What separates them?
But I think PG is a better offensive player.
He is.
Like he's a better offensive player. But in terms of I want somebody to get me a bucket, whether I'm choosing DeMar or PG. I feel like I'm going to get a result that I'm happy with.
Well, that's PG's game. So you're basically saying they're on the same level because PG's game is an ISO.
They're not on the same level because PG on defense, it just separates him.
Well, I'm talking about just from an offensive standpoint.
If DeMar had Jimmy Butler's defense, we're talking about him as a top 10 player in the league.
That's a good point.
If he was two-way like that, like PG, he gets that nod because he's a DPOY candidate.
Are you saying offensively Paul George and DeMar are on the same level? Or are you saying that you would, because I feel like this is me personally, because DeMar's game is within the 3-point line, that's why PG has the edge.
I think PG's a better offensive player because he can handle the ball better and he
Correct.
can play make better.
Yeah.
But even as playmakers, they're very similar. I just think what DeMar does in the mid range and his shot creation within there is better than PG's in that area. I think Paul George is better 3-point shooter. That's why
that's his game.
That's
He
why
has
when
to be
we're
great at
when
that.
we're talking about
I understand.
that's why when we're talking about as an ISO player in general, yeah, like PG can shoot the three, but PG can't shoot as efficiently
But see, I think
as DeMar from the mid
But I
range.
think the gap between them as mid-range shooters and 3-point shooters it's just too big of a gap for you to say, I think I would take DeMar because PG is a better 3-point shooter by far. Like, it's not even close. So it's like the gap, and even the shots he takes from the 3-point line in his ISO, it's difficult. He still hits those, and DeMar doesn't take those. So it's like, but I get what you're saying. I definitely get what you're saying.
So this was episode 136. We asked you guys to ask us some questions on social media, and we were going to answer them on the pod right now. So we have a couple. A lot of these are basketball questions, but we're going to try to aim for some that if it's a basketball question or a football one, it's insanely interesting or something that's just about us. So first one, not related to sports, but how did you meet and what made you want to make a podcast?
I feel like we answered this question already.
Yeah, we get this question pretty often. I guess I'll give mine because obviously I was a late addition. Me and Joel, Riv I've known for a minute. We went to middle school together, but me and Joel, we were talking on Twitter one day. We're like, yo, let's play Xbox. We played Xbox. We used to just chop it up with sports. One day he just asked me to be on the podcast. But in terms of like you guys, I don't know how you two met, truthfully.
We all went to the same elementary school, so we've known each other forever.
You and Joel
all
went to
three of us, yes.
Oh, did you go to Parker? Hillers.
Jackson.
You're disgusting. I went to Jackson.
Jackson?
Yeah.
Went to
Did
Lily
you-
K. Parker.
No. I went to Fairmount because I'm real.
That one sucks. You had
What are you
you
talking
guys
about?
had a lunchroom in the basement.
Oh my gosh.
You guys ate like literally
It was
underground.
the first floor.
Nah, bro, because I remember we took a
The
field
high
trip there.
schools is on the basement.
We took a field trip there, and bro, it was literally in the basement. Like, we had to really go downstairs.
The
like,
high schools
your
is in the
window was
basement.
literally
Bro,
like
bro, bro,
it was
bro,
like your
bro,
window,
bro.
and then like I can see the floor, like the concrete floor,
Hello?
and then the
Hello?
playground.
The high schools?
I've never been
in
to the high
basement.
school.
Okay, well,
Calf.
see, then you're just talking out your ass there.
Yeah, I barely went to that.
Never
either.
went to the high school calf. But yeah, we I don't remember how we all met. I just know we all went to school together. So
I remember how I met Riv.
why you giggle like
Because
that?
you was being, because you was being an ass, bro. I remember
It's not new.
it was mad long ago. We was playing. I used to go to something called a program where like if your parents worked late, you would be able to.
Are you talking about after school?
Yeah,
program?
after school. Yeah. And I remember one time we was playing basketball. So I met Riv. It was like one of my first times there. We was on the same team. I shot the ball. I missed. And Riv was like, yo, bro, you suck, bro. Don't ever shoot the basketball again when I'm on your team, bro. And then after that, it was just like, I don't know. After that, like he was always in the after school program. Then, you know, we started growing closer. We always had a friendship, like not nothing crazy, like a crazy friendship, but we always remain in touch. This guy, I mean, I've been his friend since we was like in second grade. Like we've been tight. I mean, we live pretty close to each other. I live like a block away, so I've known Joel probably on a personal level more than probably anybody here. And then Drew, I went to school with Andrew, but I really never ever had a conversation. I just saw Andrew from afar. But yeah, I thought Andrew was like, I thought he was a pretty cool guy. Like
Thanks,
from what
man.
I seen from like
Joel,
a distance.
Joel said he didn't mess with me.
Yeah, he told me he didn't. But like, I mean, but Drew, I just thought he was cool. I mean, I didn't think much of it. Like we never really ever
Facts.
had a conversation at all
Yeah,
on any
nah,
type of level.
Yeah, I don't. On a personal level, nah, I don't like know all the guys. I know like me and Joel was always cool. We always went to the Y together, and me and JC we always hooped together. So there's always that hooper and friendship thing there. But like on a personal level, nah, I don't remember when I met you. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't even remember
Middle
you.
school.
To be all right, we met in middle school. I don't really remember. I don't vividly remember like a moment where I shared with you.
Yo,
honestly.
the first time I saw Drew a lot, it was not in high school, bro. It was in the us versus them game against the teachers, bro. I remember it was in middle school. I remember that because you guys was always a grade above us. That's when I first saw Drew.
You went to middle school with us?
yeah,
man.
bro.
Yo,
Yo, I
that's,
really
that's a
don't
rough
remember
moment
you.
for me
Wow.
personally.
I got blown out.
Now we got messed up, and I missed a wide open layup.
Yo, y'all let Mr. Gassion fry up.
Yo, he was
going
wilding.
crazy. Yo, he's
he
dead
hit
nice.
hella threes.
He was dead nice.
He was bugging out on us.
And then I had like some other.
I didn't even go to the
I had a
game.
block on Mr. Hansen. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Hansen.
Mr.
Tall
Hansen's like
guy?
6'5", bro.
Exactly why I was lit.
Yeah,
That's when I saw.
Yeah, so what made us do the podcast? We just used to argue on Twitter all the time, and
Or in person.
I was
all
just
day.
like, yo, let's do this on a podcast. And very next week we rented out a WeWork studio and we went and we recorded the first episode of the podcast. It got a lot of great reception, and then you've just been doing it
How
since
did
then.
Drew get on? I don't remember. How did he get on?
He just said that they were talking on Xbox.
No, on the pod. That's how he got on.
Yeah, and then Joel said you should slide through, and he came through to me on the podcast.
Wow. I thought it was like you were begging or something.
Come on,
Oh
that's
my
not me.
gosh.
That's not
Now,
me.
there's people that real life beg to get on. Like I was in the gym the other day, right? And I don't know who this guy is.
I was with you. I remember.
Yeah, he said.
I
"Yo,
never
what up?"
asked you.
Like, that was.
He never asked me.
Yeah, and he was like, "Yo, what up, Riff?" I'm like, "What up?" Like I don't know who he is, but I'm just like, "All right, you know my name, so I must know you." And then he was like, "Yo, you got to get me on your pod, bro. Yeah, I want to be up there chatting with you, bro. Yeah, I be chatting." I'm like, "Word. Like I hear you. Like I'm trying to play though. I don't really want to talk about the pod in the gym. I'm trying to hoop." He like, "Bro, get me up there, bro. Yeah, man, your man's be saying, yeah, I be chatting up there, bro. I know what I be talking about. I don't know who he is. I don't." He's probably gonna see this and be like, "Damn, Riv, you don't know me. I don't honestly, genuinely know him." But
There are
be
people all
asking.
the time that DM us and they ask to be on the
I was in the
podcast.
shop yesterday, and some guy that I barely know asked. He's like, "Yo, when you gonna let me on the podcast so I could talk about Jay-Z?" I'm like,
What?
"Bro, I was like, bro, we talking basketball and football, bro. We don't
Said
talk
Jay-Z.
no music."
So-
The GOAT.
This was on Twitter. This is from Mystic Mac, OG
Hey.
Illuminati.
That's my boy,
That's your boy?
Ernesto.
Oh, okay. Let me look at his profile picture. Okay. Was he with us at the Seton Hall game or no?
No, he wasn't.
Okay. Big fan of the pod and the preparation you guys put into it and your chemistry as hosts. Can we expect in the future more coverage on other sports like baseball and hockey and maybe some MMA/boxing too?
All right, I'll shout him out real quick. Ernesto, really cool dude. Me and him and my brother were boys in high school, and we met through Twitter. But he's big into MMA, so I figured that he was gonna ask something related to that. Listen, I would love for us to get into baseball. I know baseball is probably gonna be my thing, and I might do a little bit of that on my TikTok. If you guys want to follow that at Handrew. That being said, I would love for all of us, Handrew with 5 A's. Can't forget that. Handrew with 5 A's, all platforms. I would love if we could talk baseball or just get like a general, like one topic. We talk about the biggest thing of the week, and that's really it. Hockey is tough.
No.
Hockey is tough, man. Like
I do boxing.
outside. Oh, MMA.
do
I'm
MMA.
down to talk MMA.
Nah, yeah, MMA, I'm down to do
You
that.
could do
I'm-
MMA.
I'm
I
more
just-
than
the
down.
hockey losing me. I just
Hockey's
can't.
tough, man. I can't even front. Like
And
it
boxing
is,
is like the same 10 guys.
boxing is actually
Boxing is fun, bro.
interesting.
But it's like to
It's
talk
fun to
about it.
watch.
I'm like,
because UFC low key is the
It's
same.
fun
Like
to
it's
watch, bro.
basically the same thing. But like if you're
Tonight,
really a fan-
Poirier and Oliveira.
I feel like with
are
UFC, you
gonna
can talk
fight.
about, jiu-jitsu, you get the MMA guys, the wrestlers. But boxing is just like, who's the better striker? This guy. Or like, who's going to fight? Fury, you got Gervonta Davis, you got Wilder,
He's dumb nice.
Anthony. Like, it's like, I know,
There's
like,
a lot of good
it's like the
boxers, bro.
same dudes every year. With UFC, at least it's like,
Like a
Man,
Terrence
people-
Crawford and like
Yeah.
who's that other guy that they've been begging? Terrence Crawford's been trying to fight for a while. God, I
Beats me.
keep forgetting his name.
I think the next sport we'll branch into is MMA.
I'm with that.
If that. But I think that's
Combat.
going to be the next one we branch
Y'all
into.
gotta
Yo, I don't
get
know
into
any. I don't know
baseball, man.
anything
It's so
about
feel like
MMA.
I just
so
feel like
it's brand
baseball's
new.
dying.
That's why we gotta save it.
what you mean we?
I don't think we say
I just,
I ain't
think,
watching
yo,
it.
I just
Could,
think baseball's
man.
boring, bro.
It is
It's a
boring,
3-hour
so.
game, 9 innings, little to
Bro,
no
it's only
action.
fun when somebody hits the ball, or like a
160
home
some
run.
odd games. I'm just not really a fan.
Your
But
team sucks.
I'm a Yankee fan
Shut
though.
your mouth.
Your team sucks.
Your team just lost the World Series. Y'all suck.
Oh my God, we lost the World Series. Your
Congrats.
team lost.
Yeah. have
Losers.
one ring.
Y'all are losers.
Hey, listen, man. I just became
I
a
was about to
fan.
say, I have one ring.
Yeah, y'all suck.
I seen it.
Yankees.
We just,
Yo,
we
the
just
Mets,
beat you
the
guys. You
Mets
guys
are
can't
looking
beat us.
scary though.
They say that every
Oh,
year and they tail
oh,
off.
Y'all can't beat
Mets.
us. Hold
All
on,
the
Drew.
time.
Drew,
Low-key.
y'all can't
All
beat
the
us.
time. Oh,
Y'all
Yankees.
be cheating.
We didn't cheat
All right,
last year.
This
So,
this
I-
trip,
what
y'all
I
didn't
tell
see
you?
us.
What I
Y'all
tell you?
didn't see us.
You didn't get far.
Whatever, man.
We didn't cheat. We still went to the World Series. So what are you gonna say now?
Yo, Jayhawk was getting me tight, and Surge. All they're doing is shitting on baseball.
To end off the show, I just want to give a shout out to our listeners and our fans that have been watching. Thank you guys so much for watching the live stream. We are going to answer some questions once we end the audio recording of the podcast. So we'll still be on this stream, and we'll answer some of your questions. But let me just quickly say, 10,000 subscribers, that's a gigantic milestone. We just started getting on TikTok a couple months ago. We're at 60,000 followers on there. We've been on YouTube for a while now. We're at 10,000 subscribers. And this is just an amazing feeling. 2 years ago when this podcast started, we never thought it'd get this big. This whole room used to be red. You know, I redid it. I got the equipment, and now
we used to sit like
look,
right over there.
Yeah, and now we look, you know, semi-professional. You can kind of still see it's a basement. But the next step for us is getting a warehouse and being on some Pat McAfee stuff, having, you know, a basketball court in the warehouse, a bunch of other festivities.
Like screaming OD in his podcast.
His podcast is fire though.
I was watching. I was crying. He was so funny. Like he just be. One time they was wrestling in there.
But yeah, this has been an amazing journey, and despite all the negative stuff that might come our way, it never will outweigh the positive when we get to wake up and talk about sports, and we have people to talk about sports with that view the content and also respond and give their reaction to whatever we say, so we can always hear their input on who wins debates, and I think that's always fun. So thank you guys so much for getting us to this point. It's a big milestone, and we got to plan something out for like some celebration one of these days.
I'm with that. I'm more than with that. 10K is crazy.
What do you got in mind?
This guy's he's lifeless. That's what it is. Man.
I didn't even say anything.
You're
we should go. No, we should
hit Miller's. I'm with Miller's.
You just want to drink.
What are you talking about? They got great wings.
Millers suck.
That is stupid, man.
We should go to Bahama Breeze.
Yo, say less.
See, look, you was about to downplay me.
When y'all trying to go?
You can do that.
I'm with it whenever.
You was trying to downplay me. You said you was just going to
downplay
me.
After Tuesday, it's lit.
Why you
I ain't got no more school after Tuesday.
That's
what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly. That's messed up, bro. I'm a first responder. You gotta dap me, or else you're against first responders.
Nah, we lit. Yeah, we could do something though for sure. I'm mad as hell I missed that Seton Hall game, but we could definitely do something.
Man, that Seton Hall game was a movie.
That was a really great game.
It was a movie.
Seton Hall is always lit, no matter how bad they are.
Prudential
it's always lit,
is
bro.
always lit up.
But thank you guys so much for listening. You can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Pick Aside Podcast, on Twitter at Pick Aside Pod, and we'll see you next time.
We're accepting calls, right?
So that's the audio. I actually don't think we should accept calls.
Okay.
The only reason why I say that is because I'm the only one operating it, and whenever somebody new calls, the ringtone rings over the person talking. And it creates a kind of like chaotic thing.
All right.
So what we're going to do is that we're going to answer your guys' questions in the chat right now. So if you have a question, put it down on the questions, put it down in the chat, and we'll answer them.
I'm going to piss real quick.
This guy did me so dirty.
Serge said if the Colts will make the playoffs, even though they play New England, Arizona, and the Raiders.
I mean, the Colts have been playing some of the best football in the NFL right now. I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility that they do make the playoffs. It's not out of the realm of possibility that they beat New England next Saturday. Arizona's going to be a tough game, but I think it's possible they do win. Raiders, I think they got. I think that's an easy one for them. The way that they've been playing both sides of the football, the way Jonathan Taylor has dominated that one side has been amazing to watch. And defensively, stopping the run and their secondary has been great. It's a matter of if Darius Leonard's ankle is going to hold up. And, I mean, up until this point, it really has. I mean, I trust the Colts. I mean, they've been – if you watched our last episode for football, they were my second-ranked team in the AFC for power rankings at least. I do think they're going to be a playoff team.
I think the Colts are making the playoffs too. You know, I think they started out slow, but you look at these games, they can beat the Raiders, they can beat New England, they can beat Arizona. Those are tough games, but I think they can beat them. Knicks or Raptors, who's the better team? I think the Knicks are better than the Raptors.
You think they beat you yesterday?
Yes. Huh?
They beat y'all yesterday.
I know that they beat us twice already this year.
You saw Julius Randle's miss?
Yeah, Julius Randle's been horrible, bro. Would trading for Ben Simmons be beneficial for the Celtics?
Yes.
Why do you think that, JC?
Okay.
It depends what they're giving up. If like they're giving up a Jaylen Brown or like what are we talking about? Or are you just adding Ben Simmons in?
See, but that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're gonna trade, or if the Celtics are gonna trade for Ben Simmons more often than, or most likely, it's gonna be for Jaylen Brown. We don't need, like, the Celtics definitely don't need that.
I think it'd be beneficial. I mean, Ben Simmons is an elite defender. He can run the point guard positions, which they have lack of. Dennis Schroeder, Marcus Smart aren't really good playmakers. Wow. But I think the addition of Ben Simmons would help Jason Tatum so that, when Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum come up, it wouldn't have to be a whose turn is it type of offense. With Ben Simmons, he's equal. I think he's younger than Jaylen Brown or around the same age as Jaylen Brown.
Yeah.
He still has very high upside, great passer, and you're not losing anything on defense. You're gaining something on defense. So I think Ben Simmons would be beneficial to the Boston Celtics.
So where does Steph Curry rank all time?
Damn. If I had to do a list real quick, I'd probably say he's in the 15, 18 range for me.
I would say he's probably 12 or 13.
I'm being generous. I didn't want to, I think outside the top 10, you got guys
you're being modest. That's what you're doing.
Yeah. Outside the top 10, you got guys like Bill Russell. For me, Wilt,
Wilt's not
Kevin
top 10
Durant.
for you?
No, I think that he's right outside it.
Wow.
Who's better, the Bulls or the Suns?
Suns, easily.
Yeah, the Suns
Suns are better
Yeah.
right now. Drew, who are your top 3 favorite baseball players?
Bro, type them all up.
I know I did. So my favorite baseball player ever, by far and away, I don't think anyone will ever surpass this, Alex Rodriguez. I mean, he's the reason why I love baseball as much as I do. I went to his final game in Yankee Stadium. I cried tears that day. It was a really emotional day for me. Me and my dad went. It was awesome. First at bat, bro just smacks a double. The place was going probably the craziest I've ever felt it. It was really amazing. Probably number 2, Aaron Judge. I mean, there's no better person to fill that void of Alex Rodriguez retiring than Aaron Judge. Literally just came in and was a beast right off rip. He's been clutch for us in the playoffs. He's been great. And then probably 3, who I'm pretty sad that we didn't sign when we had the opportunity, was Bryce Harper. I mean, he's coming off an MVP this past season. Bryce Harper is one of the more exciting young players in the league, and he has a whole career ahead of him. I just think that he is just nothing but great for the game, and he's so exciting to watch.
Now, rank these teams: Red Sox, Rays, Yankees, Blue Jays.
I'll tell you what, this is very tough because I do think that the Blue Jays, if they can get pitching, can be the best team in the MLB. The young core that they have, you lose Simeon, which definitely hurts, but Vladimir Guerrero, I understand what Ohtani did was special, and people are going to say that I don't know baseball if I say Ohtani isn't the MVP. Vlad was borderline perfect this season. I mean, he batted over 300 this year. He had over 40 home runs. He had over 110 RBIs this season. I understand his glove isn't the best, but in terms of hitting, he might be the best hitter in the MLB at this point in time. I look at everything the Blue Jays have. Robbie Ray's coming off a Cy Young. I don't know if Robbie Ray's actually going to be on the team next season. I actually think he's leaving. Either he's going to the Rangers or he's going to the Mariners. I'm not sure off the top of my head. But they just brought in Kevin Gausman, who's like top 3 in Cy Young. He was really good last year. They just need the pitching. But if I had to rank them, I'll be biased. I'll put the Yankees 1, even though it really solely depends on our pitching. But hitting-wise, we could be number 1. I'll probably go 2 the Rays, 3 the Red Sox, and then 4 the Blue Jays.
So next question: what team is the most likely to make a trade for Ben Simmons? Just name the team.
Portland.
Yeah, Portland.
Interesting.
Indiana's not here.
I was gonna say Indiana. This is tough, actually. I don't want to see him go, man. I wish he wasn't a bitch.
Wow. Yo, you good, bro?
I'm sad. It really upsets me. Like, bro just needs to. All right, I say that. All right.
That was crazy. That was crazy.
I also have to understand that he's claiming that he's having mental issues. So if that's the case, I apologize, Ben Simmons. That was very
I
rude
understand
of
your
me.
emotion came out of
Yes,
you.
that being said, like, get it together, man. It's like
You'll be all right, bro.
it's upsetting. Like, he's really
Ben
just.
for Westbrook?
I would do it.
What is Scotty Barnes' potential? And is Miles Turner a great fit for the Nets?
I would say
Miles Turner is a great fit.
Yeah.
I would say
he is. Just don't go there.
his what? Yeah, don't.
Don't
We
go
don't
there.
need it.
I say Scotty
I
would be a low end superstar.
Okay.
So, like, just out of the top 10 type of player one day?
I think the league is so it's like 15 superstars. I
Yeah.
would say like he's out top 15ish. Definitely a franchise. Definitely the best player in his franchise. Like the guy, the leader.
Yeah, I think he can be a franchise player. It's very early in his career, but my draft comparison for him, I thought he was like a 15-5-5 player. He's doing that in his rookie season, so he's gonna be better.
I feel like if he really, really is everything that everyone thinks that he can be, I feel like absolute best case scenario.
You think Jimmy Butler's a superstar?
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Jimmy Butler.
But like he's not top 10, so it's like
I think he's borderline top 10.
yeah, sure.
Wow, that's
what I said.
Did
Yeah,
you think
borderline.
that's where I was going?
I kind of had a
Because that's
like guys like Jimmy Mitchell, Trey Young, they're not top 10,
Devin
but they're
Booker.
Devin Booker. They're like franchise players, so I think Scotty can definitely do that.
So we're going to stay on here for about 10 more minutes. So, guys, keep on asking us questions. It can be about anything. Doesn't even have to be sports related.
We was at like 140 at a point.
Rev, do you think Luka's a good defender?
He's getting better.
You think Garrison Matthews can play defense?
Yeah, he can.
Stop asking me about him, bro.
Garrison Matthews. He's nice.
Serge
Yo,
said,
Rev,
who gets the number 1 seed in the NFC?
Does he talk about anything other than football?
Arizona.
Oh, my goodness.
Arizona.
I think Arizona does get it, too.
Oh, Garrison Matthews got 39, bro.
Is he really?
No.
Oh.
Is Cade Cunningham an average role player? This
No.
can't be a real
That's
question.
the dumbest take ever in my life. That's the dumbest question I've ever
He's a
seen in my
franchise
life.
player.
So Bradley Beal's averaging a career low since 2016, 22.5 points per game.
Oh, the real Bradley Beal's
Beal.
coming home. Nice.
He's nice, though.
I do have a question for y'all, though. This is obviously a long-term question, but Cade Cunningham, LaMelo Ball, who would you take?
Cade.
LaMelo.
I'm so biased, though. Please don't
Yeah.
ask
Cade
me.
is dumb nice,
Yeah.
though.
I love Cade.
Yeah,
Cade
his
is
game is
mad
really
nice.
I would say right now, though, obviously, well,
I'd be keeping up with Cade. I'm not going to lie.
I think LaMelo definitely is the better facilitator.
yeah.
Oh,
I think he's a
100%.
point.
Easily.
I think Cade is probably going to end up being a better scorer than LaMelo.
Yeah, I can see that.
What do you think about De'Aaron Fox missing those 2 free throws?
It's
Paul George vibe. Gave me a Paul George moment, had a great game, and then just folded in the end. Everything good just went bad. Yeah.
Are the Wizards frauds?
You don't have to ask me that question.
I don't think they're frauds. I just think, they got
They're
a little
cooling
hot.
off.
Yeah, they got a little hot in the
They're the
season.
4th or 5th seed right now. What are they, the 5th seed?
They're 15 and
They're
11
frauds.
right now.
They're
They lost
frauds.
today. They lost today. They got
The
smacked
Sixers
today.
are lower than them.
But
The
Dante
Hawks are
funny
lower
as
than
hell.
them.
Yo, he's
What about
dumb tight at
Vooch?
Vooch.
Yeah, Vooch, he's aggravating. I'm not giving up yet, though. I would say Miles,
Dante's like, I want him gone by tomorrow morning.
he's not. He's a Knicks fan, though. That's what's killing me. Like,
That's what I was going to ask him.
because he's a Lonzo fan, so he converted. I swear to God, if Miles Turner's on the table, I would dead give up Vooch for Miles Turner.
I'm not going to lie. Wizards are 15 and 12.
So, Joe,
They just
this is
got
for
packed
you.
today.
If next playoff format stays the same, will the Padres make the playoffs?
They were very underwhelming last season. I feel like that's mostly in part to Blake Snell not being who they brought him in to be.
His name is Blake Snell.
Blake Snell, he was amazing, and he just was not amazing last season. And Yu Darvish, he was great, but then he kind of cooled off towards the end of the season. I feel like if they allow more teams to get in, I think the Padres for who they are, talent wise, lineup wise, they have Fernando Tatis, who's top 5 player in the
I heard
MLB.
he's nice, yeah.
He's mad nice. And Manny Machado also, he's very good. They got a guy from the Pirates who was a All-Star last season. I'm blanking on his name. Adam Frazier. He's really solid also. They have a really good lineup. Jake Cronenworth, he's mad good too. I mean, I think it's possible, but I just think they need more pitching, truthfully.
Magic or Steph, who are you taking as your point guard?
That's
I'll take the Magic.
Steph.
I can't be a Laker fan and
It depends
not
on my
say
team, though.
Magic.
I'll take Magic.
I think it generally depends on who my team is. I don't think Magic for Golden State. Nah.
What can he legitimately do to pass Magic? I think that's the question I'd rather ask.
Just continue being him. Maybe another ring, another MVP. Magic did a lot, bro.
I
Like 10
know.
years.
I think he needs a finals. He needs another
Definitely.
championship and the
Magic
finals
got
MVP.
3.
As a rookie, he won that shit.
Yeah.
He has 3 finals MVP, you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's OD.
I think Magic universally. I think everybody knows Steph is probably the better player, but I think Magic is greater. It's just different. I don't know.
You think Steph's a better player than Magic?
To an extent, yeah. You can make an argument for
Magic's
Magic,
an
though.
amazing all-around player.
Magic's the better passer. Magic's probably the better defender.
Better rebounder.
Yeah, that's obvious. But scoring-wise, you'd take
it's
Steph.
100% Steph.
Defense, I'm taking Magic.
I think
like,
Steph
in
for
all
his size, though,
regard.
is no slouch on rebounding.
But Magic wasn't, like, I'm not saying he's on Steph level, but Magic still averaged 20 for his career, so he was a pretty good scorer, just not to the level of Steph.
Steph, in terms of defense, I think he's a better team defender than Magic. Like he gets in the lanes, he gets deflections, and he's been pretty
Yo,
good.
Magic's number 2 all-time in assists, right? Behind John Stockton, right?
Yeah.
I just
So
think
this is for me. Joel, what do you want the Knicks to do now? Blow it up or what? I think
Fire.
the next step we should take is trying to trade for De'Aaron Fox. I also do think that Julius Randle, if he continues to perform at this level, we should just trade Julius Randle. I think it's tough because the Knicks right now are in a position where we can either make the playoffs or be a play-in team and not get a high lottery pick, or try and get a high lottery pick in a class that looks very promising. I don't know. If it was me, I'd probably blow it up. I feel like the Knicks right now are kind of staying like in the same place. They've gotten worse from last year, but they might just be stuck in mediocrity if they let it continue this way. Who has had a better peak, T-Mac or Damian Lillard?
Tracy McGrady, I think.
Dame.
I'm going Dame.
Peak in what?
That's
Just one
exactly.
season? Singular season?
Nah, peak is like at your best.
I think Tracy McGrady is better than Dame at his
I mean,
best.
Dame, come on. Like, why are we disregarding the 30 and 10, though?
I think with Dame,
T-Mac averaged 33 one year.
Tracy McGrady never made it out the first round.
It wasn't his fault though. He performed excellent in all those playoffs. I saw his stats the other day. He performed
I get it, but
phenomenally.
bro, you got to get out one time.
Technically, I'm not trying to be he did with the Spurs, but he wasn't really a rotation guy. But
I don't know. I feel like you got to get one. You got to get out one time. Like a first. I understand the finals. I understand.
But you know he played great in a lot of those series, right?
Yeah, but it's not. You got to get out of one.
I just think Tracy McGrady
Dame
is
his
better than
peak.
him at his peak, bro.
Dame at his peak. I don't know. I think they're probably.
I mean, this is a guy that Kobe said that was like just as good as him, but 6'10".
You believe
that's
that,
the ultimate
honestly?
Praise. If Kobe Bryant says it, yeah, he doesn't say that
But
about
I'm
many
actually. Did you
players.
believe it honestly?
He had a little Kobe in his game. He's just 6'10". He had great footwork, good
I
3-point
don't
shooter.
think. I don't think.
He was literally at his peak unguardable.
I don't think
he was
T-Mac
dead
is
unguardable.
ever as good as Kobe.
No, he wasn't. But he was a top 5 player for a couple seasons.
Peak T-Mac is def better than peak Dame.
It's kind of like that's violation.
I don't think that's violation.
Overall though, Dame had a better career
Wait,
because he
how's
stayed
it
healthy.
violation though?
Because Dame's never been a top 5 player.
Dame was just voted on the
T-Mac was a top 5 player.
on the 75th anniversary team. Dame was
I don't
just
think
voted.
I don't think he deserved it though.
But I'm saying though, Dame was just voted. This
T-Mac was a person that they considered a snub.
Dame wasn't no snub.
He should have been. He should not have gotten over Dwight Howard.
Now they should have all got it, but to not include T-Mac in there is
T-Mac
crazy.
was OD.
Or Ginobili, that's crazy.
Well, Ginobili or Tony Parker?
Yeah,
I'm saying, who are you taking
Parker.
there?
Parker.
I'm taking Parker
I like
easy.
TP.
All
Take
time.
TP.
Serge just asked what do I think about Denzel Mims
Peep that.
and if he's gonna be on the roster next year. I don't think he will be. Joel and JC, who do you hope the Jets draft this year? I'm hoping Derek Stingley and Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah.
Riv probably won't admit that he is.
What?
No, he's talking about Elijah Moore and Devonta Smith. That Serge said that.
He also said that he wants you to admit that Vucevic isn't good.
Who?
Oh, Dante.
Yeah,
Facts.
Vucevic isn't good right now.
This year.
What did Serge say? Elijah Moore's better than who?
Devonta
Smith.
Smith.
Serge said that? He's such a fuck. Excuse my language. He's such a flip flop, bro. He's so annoying. Goodness gracious. He sees Serge is the type of dude where, okay, JC, say we were both receivers, right? And from week 1 to 5, right, you have like 300 yards. You were playing like shit. From week 1 to 5, I have like 600 yards, right? And then in 2 weeks, you bump up. You have like 200-yard games, and I play like shit. Oh, my God. He'll text Drew. I was so wrong about JC. JC is definitely better than Riv. Like, dude, bro. Like, what the hell?
Nah,
bro?
to his credit, though, Elijah Moore, since I think week 9, has been playing really
Elijah
well.
Moore is better than Devonta Smith right now. Easily. You're not gonna agree with that?
Come on, bro.
I think Devontae Smith's slightly better, bro.
Elijah
better
Moore's
all-
going
come on,
crazy, bro.
No, he's on IR
So
now.
he's out for the season.
He's on IR.
Yeah, he's on
man.
IR, but he's been going crazy,
He
bro.
has been, but that's so tough for me.
It's not
Man.
He's
tough,
good,
bro.
bro. Elijah Moore's good.
Elijah Moore's good, but Devontae Smith is nice, bro.
You don't watch this game.
Well, no, Elijah Moore is
Not a lot
nice
of
too in
people
his
do,
own
bro.
regard.
Nah, I mean that's the thing.
Not a
I
lot of
watch
people
both
do.
of them very actively.
Oh, so tell
It's-
us who's better.
I'm going to the Saints Jets game tomorrow.
Is Kamara playing?
Yes, he is.
Yes.
That's very cool to go to, because AK is mad fun to watch. I know for a fact.
See Zachary.
Oh my God, he's gonna feast on
He's
the
gonna
Jets
go
defense.
crazy.
Oh
Hell
my
no, we gonna
goodness.
lock him up, bro.
Stop it.
Lock
Don't
him
manifest
up.
that, please. Don't manifest that. We need
Man.
him to tweak.
We locking him up. Bro.
No, we need him to go for 200 all purpose.
Why somebody just said I can be an All-American?
Take that.
What's that even mean?
Oh, the show.
Yeah, the show.
I don't know, bro. He's saying you got that type of.
Maybe he thinks you're an actor, or you could act.
Be a comedian.
Nah, I wouldn't want to be a comedian.
Do you think it's unfair that Steph's playoff flops don't get as highlighted as Harden's, even though Harden statistically outplayed Curry?
It's a part of the game, bro. No, yeah, it's part of the game. When you win, that's
Cures
everything.
everything.
Yeah, it cures everything. You should know that.
Happened with Dirk. Dirk was labeled a playoff choker, and then he won a championship, and now he's like
Cures everything.
he's.
It's definitely not fair, though.
Oh,
I feel the same way about Damian Lillard too. I feel like his shortcomings get swept under the rug too.
Why though?
Yo, you're like, what are you, like
Yo,
a
you
Dame
love
fan?
Yeah,
Dame,
no,
bro.
no.
Yeah, like,
It's not that I'm a Dame supporter.
where
I
is this
just feel
Dame
like
love coming from?
JC just overly hates on
No, look,
Dame.
Damian Lillard. I will say it. He is not a player that I like. I respect his game, but throughout his career, in terms of getting to the second and third round, he underperforms dramatically. In the first round, he's elite, though. Don't get me wrong, he's elite. But in the second and third round, if you look at the drop off statistically and everything, it's bad, and it gets swept. Like, you don't know a lot of his shortcomings in the second round. Like, there was one season with the Spurs where he came in short in the second round against the Grizzlies.
Against the
I wouldn't say
2013, 2014.
I'm not going to say the Spurs was a.
That's what I'm saying.
But you have to perform well, bro.
Here's his
Yeah,
short,
yeah, but I'm not
here's
gonna
his
say-
shortcoming.
Against the Nuggets?
Pelicans.
I'm not gonna say
Against
no.
the Nuggets?
Against the
Nuggets
That's
that
this-
one year.
past season.
Last year though, he played great.
No, the year that CJ
That's fair.
backpacked.
That's fair. You
And
can say
in
that
the
one. I'll
Western
give you that
Conference
one.
No, it
Finals
was-
against the Pelicans too.
Bro,
He's
that-
had a
no,
lot of
You can take
shortcomings.
that, but you can't. I can't
All right,
give you the
listen,
Spurs.
hear
I
me
can't
out.
give you the
Why
Spurs.
can't you give me? Why can't you give me? Spurs?
No,
Because that
Spurs were better.
Kawhi was on him. That's number one, and that was
Kawhi was his primary
that
for
was
real.
Yeah, that was an elite defense. That was the Spurs' elite defense.
How about the Grizzlies?
I can give you that one.
Okay,
I just can't give you that Spurs one. I can't
he
give you that
performed
one.
so shitty that. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
I can give you the Pelicans one.
No,
So
though.
wait,
the
wait,
Pelicans
wait.
I will give you.
That's for Harden too, though. Because Harden played really bad against the Spurs, and you harp
I don't
all over that.
I only
one,
harp
though.
over that game. The game.
Where
the
he had
one
12
game.
turnovers?
Yeah, that's the only one I harp over.
See, and that
Dame
one
was
against the
terrible that
Nuggets, he
series.
was great that whole series.
and that wasn't the same team he played.
Which one last year?
No, the first time they won against the Nuggets that it won 7, he was trash in Game 7. That was it. That was the only game he didn't
Nah,
play
he struggled
well.
throughout the series.
No, he did. He did.
I'm almost 100% positive Dame was on go every single game.
Game 7, CJ went crazy.
Yes,
in
no,
backpack.
no, 100%.
And in
You're
the
right.
WCF, without Kevin Durant, Portland had many leads that they blew a lot of double-digit leads, and Damian Lillard severely underperformed and got outplayed by Steph. Steph's obviously better, but he got outplayed crazy.
Sure, beef with Dame though. He
Do
has
you-
2 game-winning series enders.
He's clutch as hell.
A lot of guys don't have that.
You know,
Do you think Jason Tatum will ever be a Laker?
I could see it, yo. I could see
You know
it.
what?
If the Celtics continue to be ass, he's leaving.
He probably will be a Laker. It's so aggravating.
Yum yum.
This
So
would be like
aggravating.
Kobe.
Yum yum.
Right
You're not-
now, it's 10 p.m. right now.
It's a good time to call it.
Yes, it's a good time to call it a night. Got to watch this UFC fight, Poirier
What time it
fighting
starts?
Oliveira. It's 11, I think so. I think
That's the main event.
Yeah, the main event
It'll
is
be
like
on
at
later
11 or
tonight.
11:30. One of
Yep.
those.
People texting me, Andrew Wiggins is going
So
crazy.
thank you
right
guys so much for watching our live stream 10,000 subscribers special. We are going to do something even better for you guys coming soon. We're gonna ask you guys a lot of questions on to give input on our content, what you guys want going forward. Thank you guys so much for supporting us and getting us to this level. It means the world. And all 61 of you guys that have stuck through this entire live stream, you guys are goated.
All right, believe it or not, I do want to give a quick shout out to Cosmos Italian Salumeria in Hackensack, since we reside in
Wait,
Hackensack.
what's going on?
Bro, let me plug these guys because
Yeah.
we're from Hackensack, and I love the city of Hackensack, and Cosmos is definitely a big part of the town in itself. They brought a lot of popularity and a lot of pride to Hackensack. It's their 25th anniversary today, so that's why I'm wearing the Cosmos shirt. Went today, celebrated with them. It was good vibes.
What do they sell?
Basically, it's all sandwiches. No, it's Italian food, but their most famous thing is a chicken cutlet sandwich with a mozzarella,
about to go there.
balsamic, roasted peppers. It's called the Enza. I actually got a picture with her today. It was really cool of them. They're an amazing place, so I just wanted to give that quick shout out just so we have that. And so hopefully we can send that to them and they can put it on their Instagram.
That was awesome, bro. Behind you right there, you can go to the mouse and go to the end stream button
All right.
to end the stream.
All right, y'all. Be easy.
Yeah, bye. This guy.
He's
Hey,
going to
Dave.
end the stream right now.
Bro said I hate Dame. You admitted it.